The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey.
What?
Let's go!
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
Ah!
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers,
You pig! Damn it!
Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Sport!
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Trenches Wednesday, October 4th, 2023. This program starts right now.
Football
is happening tomorrow, but today the conversation is going to be glorious. We are packed to the gills with guests. We have General Bob Carpenter joining us in about 29 minutes to give us his updated top 5 in college football. Can't wait to hear his little gimmicks that he's going to bust down. We got JJ Watt, the newest member of the Houston Texans Ring of Honor.
Hey.
Will be joining us about his thoughts, not only on his celebration down in Houston this past weekend as they beat the dog shit out of the Pittsburgh Steelers, but also his thoughts about the NFL as a whole. This has been a conversation I've been looking forward to every single week. Seems like he does his due diligence. He knows what he's talking about, and he's JJ Watt. Then we'll have Harrison Smith coming off a historic day for the Minnesota Vikings, where he had, listen to this, 14 tackles, 3 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, and a game-winning forced fumble for the Minnesota Vikings. A man who's been an all-pro, 12-year NFL vet out of Notre Dame. Nobody ever talks about him as a great. He is. Can't wait to chat with him. I believe his nickname is the Hitman.
Oh, yeah. Whoa.
Not Brett.
No. Okay.
That's the best there is.
What?
Best there was.
What?
And the best there ever will be. Bret Hart, not really my guy. I was more of a Shawn Michaels guy growing up, but did have respect for what Bret Hart did in his entire thing. This is the hitman, Harrison Smith, who's a dog for the Minnesota Vikings at safety. One of the greatest disguisers, allegedly, in the history of the NFL, which is why he's been so damn good. And then Scott Hansen, 7 hours of commercial-free football host on Red Zone every single Sunday, will join us at 2:30. I got questions about his bladder. I also got questions about the narratives that he builds. Throughout the Sundays. You know, I've been watching a lot more of the Red Zone channel as I've gotten older, and as the games have gotten more electrifying and stacked on top of each other. The NFL will say, all right, we're going to have 2 games at 4 o'clock. We'll have 45 of them at 1 o'clock. Hard to keep track of them all. Scott Hansen's the guy that we're spending our Sundays with. I want to know about the pressure of him building the narrative of each team throughout the day and how he's able to keep track of it. And also, congrats. Being the face of something that has really innovated and changed the game. I think every other sport is looking for their version of the Red Zone. Will they be able to do it? I think the NHL is doing it next week for the launch of the NHL here on ESPN. Cannot wait for that. We also have a big man, former big man in the studio today who will break down the best offensive line play from around the NFL. Ladies and gentlemen, 12-year NFL vet, Super Bowl champion player coach, AQ Shipley.
Let's go, baby.
Good to see you, AQ. Like that we got you back in that corner. One half of the hammer, Dahn. Cowboys Tone Diggs is here. The Toxic Table is here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. Connor, tell me about the shirt today, pal.
Cat Kong, I believe, is what the descriptor is. It's kind of like what King Kong was doing in New York, kind of climbing the Empire State Building, causing havoc. And this is exactly what that is depicting, except it's a cat, Pat, not a giant gorilla like the movie, if you remember.
So it's Cat Kong.
Cat Kong.
That's on your chest. Does that make you feel a little bit more powerful, a little bit more today on this particular Trenches Wednesday?
Yeah, a little bit more feisty, a little bit 9 lives. I'm not just going to get pancaked once and go down and die. I got 9 of these things, so you got to do it multiple times just like a cat.
I love that. The Patriots made a move today. We'll chit-chat about that, as did the Broncos, as did a couple other teams. There's a lot of stuff happening on this Trenches Wednesday, including our guy here for the final day this week, host of NFL Matchups on ESPN The Ocho, ESPN News, ESPN 6, ESPN 5, and ESPN Plus. The Man-to-Man Podcast, Everything DB. Ladies and gentlemen, Darius J. Butler's here looking very cool. Saw him doing pull-ups in the Hawk House earlier today.
Really? You can still do those?
Not still. Yeah, he is the picture of you weigh 165. Okay, 185 pounds.
That's debatable.
The exact.
Maybe after breakfast.
Dude,
Those easiest.
Are you a little bit worried about not being as jocked as you were last season, though?
Nah,
Yeah,
not
because
at
you got into golf and Butler birdies.
That's right.
So you try to keep that fluid swing. You stop working out. Now you get back in here, you start seeing all the guys moving weights. You know,
Yep.
Connor's in that gym every single morning doing push-ups,
damn
moving
right.
weight around. AQ's doing his thing, trying to lose all the weight.
He's lifting. He's running around the Thunderdome. I see Mitten there getting yo. I see everybody getting yo.
Yeah, we're trying to be a fit crew here.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's a beautiful time. We're trying to survive. You know, I think it's all we're trying to do this football season because we're still very early in it. Yeah. I will say it's the first time since we got into the Thunderdome where the police have reached out to me and said, hey, there's a weird man running laps around your building.
Oh.
This is not something that's been normal since you've moved into the neighborhood. Is everything okay? That man was AQ Shipley. AQ, I appreciate you kind of saying hello to the entire community this morning while you're running laps. I appreciate you bent over in front of our door after doing that through the glass so we could all see that you've kind of wore yourself out. We're appreciative that you're here. Let's start diving into some stuff that maybe you can chat about that not everybody else can. I think whenever Jason Kelsey started chit-chatting about the hate that the tush push, the brotherly shove, the hey, right cheek, left cheek, bunch of dudes, let's move a yard, came into the conversation, Jason Kelsey said, how come there's never a conversation about the talent that it takes to actually do this? You have said that you don't even think if there was pushers, they'd be able to make it happen. This past weekend, numerous teams tried to tush push, and it failed. We've seen it on consecutive. This is 4th and 1, fourth quarter. The Chargers are going to charge her. This is with a guy who has a broken left middle finger, a hyper-extended fingernail, all that stuff. They didn't do this last week. They don't pick it up. Patriots, I believe, didn't pick it. The Giants didn't pick it up. How come this isn't something that is just an automatic situation? And why are the Eagles so much better than everybody else as a person who has been at the bottom of a couple of these shoves, AQ Shipley?
Low man wins. That's what it comes down to, and that's what not a lot of people are talking about. This thing takes talent. We have seen it. 3 teams this week tried it. They all failed. The reason is they didn't get any movement. We are in a business of moving bodies, and if you can't move bodies at the point of attack, that's what happens. You get failed things. So we have to give a lot of credit to this Eagles team that gets underneath people, keeps the legs churning, and moves. And also,
So you're saying, hey, old-ass Peter King. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
Take it
instead
easy.
of just saying,
Pipe down.
Shut up, Peter
Yeah.
King.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, is that what you're saying? I didn't say that.
No, that's
No,
right.
no, no,
exactly what I'm saying.
That's what AQ Shipley's saying because Peter
Put it
King
on me.
wrote a scathing article
yeah.
numerous
Scathing.
times about how bad he hates it and how terrible it is for the game and how dangerous it is and how boring it is and everything like that. And obviously every football guy was like, that's football.
Come on.
That is kind of how this whole thing been. But Peter King's been around football for a long time. And I think Jason Kelsey and the Eagles also took a lot of do you know how much we work on, you know how much pain you know how hard it is to execute this football play, and we just make it look easy. That seems to be the problem because how easy it looks for them. 92% success rate, although they have had a fail this year. That we don't know how that's going to affect the percentages. It's a real talent, and I'm thankful that we're seeing other people fail almost because it kind of shuts up the people that aren't respecting the big guys. And also, Jalen Hurts is fat ass. That guy is so strong. That's a massive piece of the puzzle as well.
That's what I was just going to say. Listen, there's quarterbacks that know how to sneak it, and there's quarterbacks that don't. We saw it for years in New England. You thought, he was so good at quarterback sneaks, and there's a talent to that instead of just standing up there, guys jump over the pile, and boom, you get stuffed, right? But when you're able to kind of find those creases and get below and get underneath and get behind your guys and find those creases, that's a huge piece of the puzzle.
So what we're saying is you're watching masters at the craft.
Oh, yeah.
So instead of trying to ban it because how good they are, let's look around and see how everybody else is doing and recognize what we got happening. And it might not look pretty, but I'll tell you what, as football is a tough sport.
right.
I love watching it.
Me too.
Absolutely.
I do. I really enjoy it. Whenever they're in 4th and 2 or less, it's
Here it comes.
it's time.
Do it.
It is time for Jalen and Kelsey
Right.
and Lane and the boys
Right.
to go see if they can get under. And the other team knows it's coming.
Oh, yeah.
Stop
That's
it.
the best part.
Stop it. You know it's coming. Go ahead and stop it. Feels like teams have defensive lines. I saw a D tackle going sideways
Yeah.
on one of them to kind of, they're double teaming it almost. So now we're adding, both sides of the ball are adding elements to this thing. It's not just as simple as grab a cheek, push a cheek.
No.
There's a lot of stuff going on, which I think we're kind of realizing.
The Commanders versus the Eagles this week when it happened, Kelsey and whoever was the D tackle was, their helmets were literally touching before it even snapped. It was awesome. Like, there's so much man meat in that play.
Oh, yeah.
So much.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah. Debo, you know what we're talking about. A lot of man meat in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you DBs are staying out of there.
Out of that. They have a couple wrinkles off of it, too. I saw them.
Oh, yeah.
Hurts run like a little sweep to the left, and I'm sure they'll probably have a pitch off of it, maybe even a pass. So, like you said, it's an art to it.
You know what's coming?
What's that?
The snap through Jalen's legs. So Jalen will be right underneath.
Oh, yeah.
It'll come snap through Kelsey's legs, through Jalen's legs to somebody that'll be going off the side there. And that's beautiful.
Yeah.
That is what we appreciate about the game of football, and that's football IQ. So I'm happy that you said, hey, I would like to chit-chat about this. Another thing we need to chit-chat about, Jason Kelsey involved. You know, he has a podcast.
Oh.
He has a podcast with Travis Kelsey.
Really?
Yes, he does.
Called the New Heights Podcast. Travis Kelsey was a member of this show yesterday, not here, but certainly a character.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that thing certainly made its way around the internet, and we had no idea that was coming. And boy, got a good pop out of me. That was a solid joke.
Great.
It was. It's a great
It
joke.
was a
Top
solid
tier.
joke. Now, obviously, there's people on the internet that did not appreciate the way Aaron cracked a joke at Travis's expense because of a vaccine, especially with Aaron
Sure.
working for Johnson & Johnson currently at the New York Jets. So, which, by the way, in the moment, as he says that, we all realize all those things are going to happen immediately after, which is why we laugh even harder, which makes it an even better joke. But Travis Kelsey was asked by his brother, what was the conversation like with Aaron on the sideline? Because Aaron wouldn't tell us what it was. He said, hey, would just rather leave it. We don't have the conversation. Okay, never mind. We do not have the video. Anyways, Travis Kelsey said, I was just telling him like how bummed I was that he wasn't playing. Like, I don't like whenever the greats are out. Like, we're all hurting with you. We all wish that you were playing. And I'm like, damn, Travis Kelsey baby facing real hard right now. Don't know why Aaron didn't want to say that, but I hope that Aaron and Travis still friends going forward after the Mr. Pfizer situation happened yesterday, Ty Schmidt.
Yeah, I don't know if they are. I don't know. I mean, I think, Travis, obviously, he gets it. I mean, he understands that was a joke. Everyone kind of involved, I think, got a good chuckle out of it. But I don't think we can discount the fact that, hey, listen, before the whole Travis and Taylor Swift thing happened, Raj was at MetLife 3 nights in a row for Taylor Swift concerts. She was kind of the apple of his eye. And then, boom, here comes this guy with the mustache, sneaking in and kind of taking his glory. And then, I mean, it's almost like rubbing salt in the wound, too, when he's saying, like, man, I wish you were out here playing. I really wish.
So you
were
think
out here."
Aaron, because there's a lot of people on the internet saying that Aaron is mad at Travis Kelsey. Because obviously, Mahomes, my auto, that's
Right.
State Farm, which Aaron was staple of for a long time.
Yep, exactly.
You know what I mean? And then obviously, Aaron's the guy who had a 500-page report on why he's not getting vaccinated.
Right.
That we happen to be a part of. And then he got, he became the face of the non-vaxxers.
Oh, yeah.
And the anti-vaxxers, and I don't know if it's every vax, but the COVID vax we'll talk about.
Sure.
He was getting, the president came out, I think, and said some stuff about it. So Aaron will always have that trenches mentality about the vaccination, and he is going to continue to look into the stats and analytics to justify himself. That is just human nature for Aaron. So whenever he sees Travis also do that, he couldn't wait to get it. I still think Aaron loves Travis. I think he has great appreciation for him. I think that he just appreciated the fact that he can call somebody Mr. Pfizer and then keep it moving because they were laughing on the sideline.
Yeah, I don't think there was any malice with the Mr. Pfizer joke, but I think maybe there was a point on the sidelines on Sunday night where he was like, oh, you son of a bitch. Just get out of my face.
Kind of felt like that when we asked Aaron yesterday.
Absolutely.
Oh, geez. So maybe
Did it not?
a little bit
But
right.
Aaron said we should probably keep that to ourselves.
I don't know, because Aaron's like a weird dude when it comes to that type of stuff where he's like, I'm not going to be the one that's going to say what we talked about or whatever. But I don't know why you wouldn't say, like, Travis was just telling me.
Yeah, exactly.
He just said he wanted me to play.
Yeah, he was telling me how bummed I was about
Nice.
it. Whatever, we found ourselves right in the middle of another situation, which seems to be the case with this particular program. The stats just came out. The ratings just came out for our show. We appreciate you all for watching.
Oh, yeah.
This show could have been an abysmal failure. We had no idea what was going to happen whenever we came over here to ESPN. I know our people were not happy that we necessarily were coming to ESPN. They were calling me a sellout. I was getting terrible things said about me, to me, from our people. Okay, these people were telling me terrible things. These people that are our fans were just, I mean, the messages I was getting from people about how much I let them down and how big of a fraud I am and how big of a sellout I am and everything. All these things were terrible. And I knew in my heart of hearts that we weren't going to change whenever we go to ESPN. Maybe we won't say the F word, okay? That's just because we're going to be good business partners with these people who are about to give us a platform that is massive. That's how you do business together, by the way. They're giving us creative freedom. Okay, we will respect that, and we will try not to ruin everything for you guys. We won't say the F word. Everything else needs to be fair game, though. They go, cool, let's move along. We did not know what the ESPN people were going to think of us because although we weren't going to change, we thought our people who said they were never going to watch, never going to listen, hate me forever, I'm the worst type of human, they wasted their time supporting me and our show over the last 3 years. Okay, all right, okay, I got those. We thought there was a chance they would come back. But since we weren't changing, we thought there was also going to be a chance that the ESPN audience, boy, we thought they were going to hate us. Now, there's still a long way to go, but it does feel as if what we are doing is potentially working a little bit, and we are incredibly grateful for all parties. And I'd like to say to the boys, everybody included, JJ, Aaron, Coach Saban, D-Butt, AQ, everybody in here, thank you, boys. It feels like we're doing it.
Absolutely.
It really does feel like we're doing it.
Yeah.
It really does feel like we're doing it, and it's bananas to think about.
Yeah, and I mean, it is cool to see all those numbers. Who knows? Who
Yeah,
knows
what's real?
What is real? Yeah.
I've had to sit in a couple Zoom calls and a couple things, like as these numbers are out there, and we've always been the show that has said, that's not real.
Yeah.
That's not real. That feels fake. Oh, you're telling me that 1 in every 4 humans in the entire planet are listening to your guys' stuff? Like people, the way people cook numbers and everything like that just have been bullshit since the beginning. Always have been. Now, where we come from, strictly YouTube, which we are still live on, and that is our big shout out to our YouTube.
Love YouTube.
Shout out to our YouTube community. There's a scoreboard on there. You know, like, hey, here's how many people are currently watching. Now, I guess there have been people in the past that have cooked those somehow, but water will always find its level. So if it's not necessarily have a scoreboard on with how many people are watching, we've always wondered what's real, what isn't real. From what we've been told, this all feels real. What does it mean? We don't know, but everybody seems to be pumped about it, so we're pumped about it.
Yep.
And we thank everybody, honestly. Now we move on, and we assume that all these numbers will crash to zero at some point.
Absolutely.
And when it does, we will sail off into the night and say, it's been a fun run. But I hope what we're doing right now potentially opens some doors for other shows of the future to get a real chance in sports media. Because there was a time where we were battling against, you know, these sports media shows, these program shows. We had no rights to anything. We had no access to anything. We were getting people banned from coming on our show. People did not take us serious. We would try to get a guest who would be a friend of our show. Their agent, their publicist, their whoever team would say, don't go on that show. It's stupid. Now that we're kind of in a level playing ground, it feels like we are...
Got some knockout power.
Yeah, but we're not the only ones. There's a lot more people that are more talented than us. I hope that what we have done not only opens the eyes of decision makers who are like, hey, you can potentially do something that isn't like curing cancer sports coverage, and you can have fun with sports. And I think potentially we might be a little bit of a gateway to what a future looks like. And I am incredibly proud of that, honored about that, appreciative of that. And we'll just move on. And if you hate us, don't say anything. I got enough people telling me they hate me every single day of my life. But we appreciate the hell out of all of you, and we'll continue to do our thing.
Hell yeah.
With that being said, shout out to The Rock.
Yeah. Love you, Rock. Thank you, dude.
Shout out to Dwayne Johnson and Aaron Rodgers. That Colorado show, I guess, is one of the largest in, like, I don't want to say like history for new shows, because like back in the day there was only like 4 channels.
Sure.
So like it's hard to judge and all that
In
stuff.
the new era.
In the new era. I
the
mean,
new book.
The way you can phrase these numbers and analytics and stats are on that thing. But that Colorado show, I guess, is going to be one that is deemed historic. And would like to say shout out to Moana.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Shout out to Terramana.
Right.
Shout out to Prime.
Right.
And those glasses.
Right.
And Aaron Rodgers off the painkillers. Fresh off his thing. Say, yeah, I'm playing next week. Like it's been a fun first month. Let's continue to grow. And I'm proud of all of you. Honestly, we are a bunch of slappies that should not be doing what we're doing. We're very appreciative of Jimmy Pitaro, Bob Iger, and the powers that be, Burke Magnus at ESPN, for affording us this opportunity. But like, let's just keep enjoying the hell out of this. And the day we don't, we'll stop. We promise you that. Now, we'll be at Texas State Fair on Friday. Come join us.
Got me nuts.
Hell yeah.
I thought we had some guests lined up. Apparently, those have not been confirmed.
Nice.
Might have 0 guests in Texas.
Okay.
But if we're at the State Fair, we'll find something.
We got
just
2
fine.
million guests.
Should be a blast. All right, let's move into some sports talk, shall we? This weekend, the Buffalo Bills are taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars over there in London town. 2 weeks back-to-back where we have 9:30 football games. This past weekend, Atlanta and Jacksonville,
Stunk.
Jacksonville jumped off the roof.
Yep.
That was
Pixar.
sweet.
Yeah.
Toy Story was cool whenever it was working. The clips were awesome. This week with the Buffalo Bills being a wagon and the Jacksonville Jaguars maybe finding something last week, we should be able to enjoy our first Sunday football game this upcoming Sunday. Now, with that being said, the governor of New York,
What's that?
I said, listen up. I understand that the Bills Mafia likes to booze. And 9:30 a.m. is a tough starting time.
Yeah.
But we want to let you know, we're directing the state liquor authority to extend the deadline for special permits so sports bars and restaurants can start serving you booze as early as 8 a.m. This is a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
This is a government looking out for its people. This is very rare in the modern era. But the fact that the governor, who I assume has a lot of other stuff going on, I'm not 100% sure, but it just feels like in that world, always having stuff going on, to do a babyface pop like, you know what, you guys want booze while the team's playing overseas? You got it. I love this, Connor, and I can't wait to get the videos of the 8:30 a.m. Bills Mafia doing what the Bills Mafia has always done, which is show up, show out, and have a great time watching the boys.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that they don't decide to take the tables out of all these restaurants and sports bars, because if they do, we're going to miss on some, fantastic moments. You mentioned it, Bills Mafia. This is just a massive hat tip to them. I don't know if any other state has ever done this, but this is just a massive show of respect. Hey, Bills Mafia, we get it. You're one of the best fan bases. Governor Hochul?
You tell me, buddy.
Yeah, Governor
Miss Kathy. Governor Miss Kathy.
Miss Kathy, yeah. That's my president now. I'll tell you that much. I want Miss Kathy in the Oval Office tomorrow. And if she's not, so be it. It's gonna be bullshit for
Election
the rest of my
season's
life.
coming up. Not a bad idea there by
Hokel?
Hochul. Kathleen Hochul. Hochul. 57th governor of New York making it happen. This is not normal, though, for politicians to be humans.
No.
This feels like a human move. We appreciate Governor Hochul doing this. Tone, dude.
No, when I saw this come across, I was like, oh yeah, that makes a ton of sense. And I didn't know it wasn't normal, because when I remember the one time I remember definitely was when TJ Oshie scored 8 shootout goals, Team USA versus Russia, and that was like 8 a.m, and that was awesome. I didn't know that teams didn't do this every time they went to London, but if they don't, they sure should.
Well, the thing about Buffalo is I think they have last call at like 4 a.m. too. Buffalo is one of those. Yeah,
they have bars that open super late too.
Yeah, Buffalo is a come on and have a good time town. I've been up there 2 times, and those nights really turn into mornings quick, and it's just kind of normal. Like, how there's some people that don't go out till like 11 or midnight or whatever, and they say nothing good happens after midnight. Like in Buffalo, nothing good happens after like 3 a.m. because the bars are open till like 4. Notorious beer pounding town, and I love that the governor had a good read on it.
Good politics right now. A lot going on in politics right now. This is good politics. So I'm with Connor. I vote for it too.
Yeah, okay.
Write her in.
Hey, Miss Kathy, maybe a run at the presidency. I love it. I enjoy it. Let's talk about some news that happened this morning. So let's start with the New England Patriots.
Bummer.
The New England Patriots. Why is that a bummer?
It's fine. No, it's fine.
You're a Patriots fan.
I am a Patriot.
You're
And I love
eager to watch the Patriots the rest of the season.
Oh, man, I am not. But I'm excited to watch football for the rest of the season.
Yeah, Celtics start when?
Celtics start in about 3 weeks. See you in the finals. That's what I'm already looking. I'm already looking at Tatum to save me right now.
Yeah, so Patriots fans obviously down on what their team is going to be, especially after what happened this past weekend against Cowboys, where they got boat raced by a Cowboys team that was going to come out with a vengeance because of what happened the week before, where they got embarrassed and everybody questioned if they were going to be good. I don't think we're all out on the Patriots just yet, but it feels like Patriots fans are out on the Patriots.
Yeah.
But a sign of the dynasty still being real, the Patriots let a guy go, he goes and gets paid somewhere else, isn't worth a damn, and then is able to come back on the cheap. That just happened with J.C. Jackson returning to the New England Patriots from the Los Angeles Chargers after being a healthy scratch last week, not really doing much throughout his entire tenure, and the Chargers are paying a bulk of his salary this year. So Bill Belichick gets a great player back in his building that earned a contract elsewhere and doesn't have to pay him. This is Belichick playing chess. That doesn't make you excited a little bit that maybe the dynasty is back?
No, I'm glad that Bill still has it. I think a lot of people, especially now, are claiming that Belichick has lost it. He's not the same guy that he was before, and this actually proves the opposite of that. This is to a T. You mentioned, like, Dynasty Belichick. This is what he did over and over again. Now, when you look at it from a football perspective, though, you're getting a corner who is – he's not fourth string, right? He's fifth string if he's being healthy scratch, and we're down our top 4 corners. So absolutely, I'm pumped about the name J.C. Jackson coming back. But if he's not who he was before after he tore his knee 2 years ago or last year, then there's still a chance that he takes a step back. I just don't understand the thought of hope when it comes to this football season for New England Patriots fans. I truly don't. I've talked to people who think – seriously, I've talked to people who think that we're going to beat the Saints this weekend. It's like, who cares? We played I think you can call the Cowboys a Super Bowl caliber defense. We played one. We saw what happened. You know that you can't compete with those types of teams.
It's only week 4.
Yeah.
Michael Lombardi had this to say about the J.C. Jackson trade. Chargers are paying the bulk of the remaining $12 million this year and no guarantees left in the future. Qualifies for the get him out of the building type of trade that I wrote about in Football Done Right. This is what Bill Belichick has done since the beginning. J.C. Jackson, for whatever reason, did not work at the Chargers. I think he had a warrant out for his arrest, too. What was that, like last week?
Yeah, he missed a point or a court case trial kind of check-in for probation.
In Massachusetts. So maybe this is Bill Belichick being dogged bounty hunter saying, all right, I'll get him back in town so you guys can arrest him. But let's assume that the court stuff is kind of all settled.
We know Bill doesn't operate like that.
Yeah, never. Bill, that is not how Bill Belichick. He'll say, actually, let's go hide you in Connecticut. We'll do practices down there. But what are they getting in J.C. Jackson back? And is he done?
I wouldn't say he's done, because we saw how good he was in New England. That's why he got, all that money he got to go out to L.A. But it doesn't always work out when you go and switch. You go to a completely different system and scheme. We saw all the players, the big names that they signed in L.A. just didn't work out for whatever reason. And we kind of talked about it yesterday, why the Patriot way doesn't work a lot of different places. And that's because, these guys aren't head coach and GM. And this is Bill with his GM hat on, getting a low risk, high reward potentially if he does get back in that system. Because nobody knows him better than Bill. He was a guy getting 5, 6, 7 picks a year. That doesn't just disappear. So I think hopefully we get him back in his form.
Let's stay in the AFC West. Another defensive guy that was signed to come in and hopefully battle against Patrick Mahomes is what the AFC West is trying to do, because that is the Chiefs division, obviously. Randy Gregory, out of the Denver Broncos. He has been released. He is signed a $70 million contract out of the Dallas Cowboys to join the Broncos less than 2 years ago.
Last year, yeah.
Allegedly, he was the one that asked for his release because of the lack of playing time and did not feel like it was a good fit. And Sean Payton said, you know what? You got it. We're going to focus on the young guys anyways. Randy Gregory now back on the market. Is this guy a player? I guess he wasn't playing that much for Denver. Do we know if he has anything left, and where do you think he ends up at, AQ?
So I know he's had some issues injury-wise, but when I was coaching and he had a monster year, which got him paid in Denver. Watching him on film, he was so good. So it's there. And if I don't know if this is going to happen, but I bet he ends up back in Dallas.
So this is J.C. Jackson ending up back in the New England Patriots after getting a bag elsewhere. Randy Gregory potentially ending up back in Dallas after getting a bag elsewhere. This is not a bad play. Hey, listen, you pay. Okay, yeah, he stinks. All right, come right back. Let's do it again, and then earn another deal somewhere else, potentially business-wise. Randy Gregory will end up pocketing roughly $27.5 million from the Broncos for 10 games of service. $1 million of pressure, which obviously did the math Ferrari there before he could even finish the tweet. But yeah, this is wild to me, and it's all happening on this particular Wednesday morning. The AFC West is making moves, and I don't think it's something that Patrick Mahomes is certainly upset about, but all their home teams are excited about, I would assume.
Yeah, and that one's interesting because I remember when he did sign the deal with the Broncos, I believe earlier in the day maybe or the day before, it was reported that he had signed a deal with the Cowboys and they had a deal done, and then he changed his mind and was going to go to the Broncos. So he was definitely somebody that the Cowboys want. I wonder if how Jerry's going to feel about you.
Bygones be bygones. You did what you had to do. We do what we had to do. You didn't do anything that you do here, up there, when you do. So you can come on back. Speaking of the AFC West, let's go ahead and complete the rest of the division outside of the Chiefs. Chandler Jones is now out of the Las Vegas Raiders, and all these guys were brought in okay, to try to stop Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs.
Yes, they were.
And for one reason or another, it's just not working out. The Chargers are the only one that aren't a brand. I mean, I guess Staley kind of new over there.
Yeah.
You think about Sean Payton, new regime. You think about the Raiders, new regime. I guess you think about the Chargers, newer regime. And these three guys don't fit, don't work. Why is that the case, Darius?
Obviously 3 completely different situations, but we always talk about it, breaking that season down into like quarter points. And once these teams get to this point and say, all right, we're gonna make some decisions. Either for the Broncos, hopefully this doesn't mean like they're tanking or anything like that. But they said he wasn't getting the play time out there anyway. And didn't they kind of move on from Von Miller? I know he got hurt.
Chubb.
Yeah, they were
Chubb as
thinking
well.
like, hey, go with the younger guys. So this is, I guess, their pattern of behavior.
Why are they making like players? Why don't they just put pads on Wednesdays? Because that changed. That's going to do.
That's what Mike Tomlin said they were going to do for the Pittsburgh Steelers offense that has been the worst in the history of the NFL almost at this standpoint. AQ, you were going to finish up something there?
Yeah, scheme matters. We talk about this all the time. Like when you take a guy like Randy Gregory, who's an up-the-field, single-gap guy in a Seattle-style defense that he was playing in down in Dallas, and then you put him in a 3-4 style, now he's stand-up, he's got more responsibility. He has to two-gap. He has to drop into coverage at times. Now it's a completely different animal, and people don't realize that enough. They think we can just plug and play these guys. Oh, we'll take this D end who's had his hand in his dirt the whole time. We'll put him stand up. Now he has to do both things. It's a whole different animal. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, well, Randy Gregory will find. This is what I assume will happen. Some team that's going to go on a run to a Super Bowl, and it sucks for these fan bases. Sucks for the Broncos. Sucks for the Chargers.
Of course.
And the Raiders, I believe Chandler Jones is out. He was FaceTime with AB this morning. They were both taking a dump.
Yep.
Yeah.
I believe it was a dump FaceTime for both.
talk.
Did you see that?
I did not see that.
Oh, yeah.
Anytime,
Sounds like a good conversation.
anytime the FaceTime is going straight up and the guys are shirtless,
Yeah.
I'm just going from personal experience. You dumping? Yeah, we're both dumping. Chandler, though, out of jail because he got, who knows what happens there. But I assume Randy Gregory is going to go have a great season somewhere.
Yep.
And the Broncos fans are going to be like, whoa. And then I assume J.C. Jackson's going to go back to New England, get the court thing handled. He'll have 4 or 5 picks this year, and everybody's like, whoa. It just always seems to happen that way. Makes no sense to me. I don't fully comprehend it, but it just feels like that's how these things normally work out.
Yeah, and for Randy Gregory especially, like I understand he might go back to Dallas and he might go to certain places. Why wouldn't you just go to the Chiefs? Like if it didn't work with the Broncos, why wouldn't you just say, okay, I tried to play against this guy, he's too good, no one's gonna beat him. I'm just gonna go join him, jump on the defense side, and
yeah, why not
win.
ring chase right now? But
Bingo.
Dallas would be a place to potentially ring chase if you had belief in the entire team. Last thing before we dive, what's that?
Is he 30?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So
30 years old?
should have some tread left in the tire.
Hell yeah.
Sure.
Good hang time, too. The hair looks incredible.
Great hair.
Last thing before we dive into the general Bob Carpenter top 5, Jason Light was on a podcast with Peter Schrager called In Season, and he complimented the hell out of Baker Mayfield and chit-chatted about how Baker Mayfield has become the Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback. And don't look now. Tampa's the team in the NFC South, and Jason Light said he pretty much knew all along.
Now, as it turns out, Baker, he's a very, very smart person. I knew he was smart. We did our due diligence on him coming out. We weren't looking for a quarterback that year, but knew that he was smart. I didn't realize just how incredibly smart he is. And he was targeting us. I mean, maybe more than we were targeting him.
A little flirtation, if you will.
He saw this as an awesome opportunity for him. And we told him from the beginning that this is going to be you're going to be in a competition here because we really like Kyle Trask. And he didn't, as you know, Baker, he didn't flinch. He accepted that, and he just ran with it. And it was a good competition. But we saw a lot out of Kyle that we love to see too. He was did a hell of a job for us. But he is such a, even as I go around town, people go, "What's Baker like? Is he a good guy?" It's like, I don't know where this started, that he wasn't a
parking
good
lot,
guy.
I think. But.
And I think you can point to a few things that maybe people got the wrong impression of him, but he's a freaking awesome dude. He is a dude. And the players saw it right away. I mean, whether he's taken the lineman to the Bahamas, during on our break during camp before the first, after final cuts.
That's
To
awesome.
go golf. Or he's spotted around town at dive bars with a different position group. With
That's awesome.
Mike Evans, with Godwin, with these guys. He really knows. He's not doing. It's not fake. He really knows how to be a dude with the team, and they love him.
I love it. I love hearing this. Shout out to Schrags and shout out to Jason Light for joining him on that podcast. But like Sean McVay said, Baker, very, very smart.
Oh, yeah.
Now you got Jason Light saying very, very smart. We never heard that for the whole entire time he was at the Cleveland Browns.
Nope.
And whatever happened at the Cleveland Browns, we still don't know what happened to Cleveland Browns because he leads the Browns to win a playoff game for the first time in an eternity against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then all of a sudden, they want him out of the building. Now we're seeing in Carolina, he was beloved, wasn't playing, but he was headbutting teammates. And now in Los Angeles Rams, McVay's like, this guy's really smart. Like however McVay says it, and he's able to operate. He gets down there to Tampa, is like, I'm willing to compete. I'm willing to do this. Taking the boys to the Bahamas. What are you hearing out of Tampa Bay about Baker Mayfield? Feels like they all love him. And to be honest, how could you not with what we just heard there from Jason?
They do love him. I mean, I got the text from Hainsey, a couple days before.
Center for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah, that he was going to the Bahamas. So that's a true story, 100%. He definitely took him. They had a great time, played some golf. But here's where he wins it, right? It's the 3rd and 6s, and he scrambles for a first down and doesn't slide. He takes the hit on the shoulder, gets back up. His shoulder's banged up. You see him on the sideline getting the stuff. But that is huge. Like when you see your quarterback lay it out there and dive for first and things like that, it's awesome.
Yeah, I love Baker Mayfield kind of having a resurgence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I've been a fan of his since Oklahoma. I think we all enjoyed his moxie.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
We're all very confused about what happened in Cleveland. Then he gets down to Carolina. There's like 5 different quarterbacks down there it might be. He goes to L.A. first week, does well. Now he's got Tampa in the driver's seat of the NFC South. I don't think any of us could have expected that. Congrats to Baker.
Yeah,
Playing good football too. All that other stuff is good, and attitude and locker room guy. But if you're playing good football, everybody gonna rock with you. Players, front office, fans, and that's what he's doing. Out there in Tampa, he got his guys rolling right now.
You can get away with a lot whenever you're playing great football.
Yeah.
But if you're also being a great dude while playing great football, now we got a chance for real magic. Congrats to everybody in Tampa, seemingly getting it right. Joining us now is a guy who gets it right every week.
Oh, yeah. Yep, every week.
We have been incredibly pumped about this segment since what's the word, the super sophisticated from birth?
Conception?
Yeah, from conception.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as this thing was seed egg,
Right. Yes.
as soon as it was even thought of, we said, need it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the General Bob Carpenter's Top 5 College Football Program. General, how you doing on this beautiful Wednesday? I can't wait to hear if there's been any movement in your top 5 and what you got cooking. Let's get started.
Oh, Coach, I love it. It's beautiful out here. We got a little shakeup in the top 5.
Whoa!
What?
Couple gimmicks at the end you're going to like. And we're going to start off quickly here with number 5. And this is where that shakeup begins. And this isn't due to the fact, that Florida State slid out. It's really more the fact that LSU was their best win, and it's looking rougher and rougher. And so we're going to go out west. I thought this would happen. I think the most complete team out on the West Coast is going to be the Oregon Ducks.
Oh,
Wow. What they're able to do. Yeah, Coach, they've got Dan Lanning out there. He's a defensive guy. They've got Bo Nix, who's leading the charge in his 17th year of college football. They're rushing for over 200 yards. And they're one of the few teams that I've seen that is able to play in a multitude of ways. They can beat you running. They can play with defense.
What?
They can air it out.
What?
They got everything.
Okay, let's talk about them doing what they did to Colorado and Dan Lanning wanting that pregame speech out, kind of calling his shot and manhandling people. I thought maybe we were going to see Wazoo there.
Oh.
I thought maybe, the Pac-12 has an absolute wagon of a slate of teams over there. Oregon, you think, is going to be the one that's going to be able to survive through it all?
I like Washington. I love Michael Penix Jr. They can score the football in a big way. The problem that I have with them is they don't play great defense. That's their main issue, is the fact that they can score, but can they get in a running game with you? Can they play defense? Can they stop anyone? They're, to me, just a better version of USC at this moment.
Okay, let's call you back. Yeah, Washington seemingly like the Miami Dolphins.
Oh, yeah, very much.
Penix right now is unconscious.
Ballin'.
He's able to put a ball everywhere. Don't look now, though. Those Wazoo birds got the teams flying around out there. I know that the Wazoo fans aren't necessarily the biggest fans of mine
Sure.
because they attacked my guys.
Right. Yep.
who were very good to them for about 20 years.
Long time.
But through learning why they were so upset about Lee Corso's joke about them, they think their football program is going to be gone after this year. I had no idea that was an actual fear. That is what they are actually, I think they are very, very worried because Oregon State and Washington State are the only ones that haven't had a home since blame my naivety. Is that a word?
Yeah, naivete.
Naivety, whatever it is. I didn't even think about that being the case. Like, hey, you got a great football team. Your fan base, obviously very passionate. I've been seeing that in there. They seem to believe that there's a chance their football program is going to be, like, they're not going to exist anymore. Now, is that Lee Corso's fault for making a joke? Is that Game Day, who's put the Wazoo flag up there for 20 years, fault? Or is that potentially AD, president, commissioner's fault? Nonetheless, not the fans' fault. So I would like to let the Washington State fans that I've heard what you have said. I'm sticking up for my guys. We'll do that to the day I'm in an actual coffin. I thought you guys sounded like ingrates the way you were attacking Lee. But the only reason they were doing that is because they legitimately think that there's a chance that they don't have a program anymore. So I would like to propose this. Hey, Oregon State, Wazoo, let's get to the Big 12.
Yes.
Seriously.
Come into the Big 12. There has to be some conference that would like these two teams to join them. I didn't even think about them not existing anymore, but that's where their fans are right now. That never even crossed my mind. So I would like to apologize for potentially feeding to the narrative that you guys aren't going to exist, but that is not how I view it at all. You got a good football team, great fan base. 2023, somebody is going to bring you in. I just didn't appreciate you attacking 88-year-old man, Kirk Herbstreit, and Game Day that has put your team over forever. So I apologize for that to the Wazoo fans.
I viewed it the same way as you because they do have great football teams right now, and they do have great fans. They sell out almost every home game. I heard that about Cal and Stanford because those are teams that don't have great fan bases right now, don't have great football teams right now, and those are schools that pride themselves on academics over football for sure. I thought they might, but I never thought that about
Me
Oregon
neither.
State,
Never even crossed my mind. Like where I'm like, wow, like I'm just talking to people that were talking shit to my friends, people that I'm very lucky to be a part of and everything like that. And I'm like, these people don't even have any appreciation for what Game Day has done for this flag. And ESPN has helped that whenever Wazoo and the flag wasn't there. So then now I'm reading through like the messages that are coming. They're talking. I appreciate what they're saying to me.
Wow.
I like a good banter and everything.
A lot of rude comments.
But a lot of rude. They're saying I'm rude. I'm sticking up for my guys, always going to do that. But they're at a real point of fearing for that. And it's like, I go back to what I said literally at the beginning of the season. It's like, this is the greatest Pac-12 that it's been in a long time. The fact that their commissioner could not get a deal done, it's ineptitude. Almost. I don't know if we're necessarily the people you should be mad at. You should maybe be looking at the suits that are handling the deals. But just know this, Wazoo fans. I would never appreciate you attacking the Game Day people for everything the Game Day has done for you, but I will certainly become a person that will campaign for your school and your team to join the Big 12 so that you can come into West Virginia's conference and have, just like the Big Beeve at Oregon State as well. It feels like football is on a rise. Great football is on a rise. There has to be a deal done somewhere, and just know that my naivety, I apologize for not even thinking that is something going through their minds, but it is, and I'm the asshole that's helping kill their program, is how they're saying. It's like, I want more football. I don't want less football. Football is good for the world, so I do apologize for that.
Well, and, I can understand the passion. You got to respect that. You want your football team to be good, but there's an old saying, what goes around comes around. So if you want to act like an asshat and tweet things at people and be mean, guess what? That's not going to help your karma. You need to go out there, appreciate the football team, appreciate the people who are talking about college football, not just Game Day. I mean, across the board in general. And the more grateful you are, typically good things kind of come back to you because you appreciate.
They're scared to death, though. I did not know that. I had no idea that was even a real thing. So and I'm on Game Day. I guess I should know that. But I don't. I just, as a person who, I like to say this a lot, but it's real. I've negotiated hundreds of millions of dollars in contracts. Whenever you have something that people are spending money on, I just assumed they'll find a home. Easy. Like this will, with how good their team is and their fan, this will happen. They don't look at it that way. And I don't think I think you need to look at your president and your athletic director and say, hey, how have we not got a deal done for the future almost? And then they blame ESPN for not getting a deal done. It's like, that ain't how this goes. That's literally what these humans are supposed to do. So once again, to the Wazoo folks, call it ignorance, and you can't plead ignorance in court or anything like that. I didn't even think about that, but they love their football, and their teams are currently the last two standing in a conference that is having its best year right now. Let's get back to the General, shall we? The General is here. I think Oregon, I agree with what they did to Colorado was impressive. I like that they called their shot. They also have a very mature team. I think their defense is going to be able to do their thing, but it is a gauntlet over there in the Pac-12. If they're able to survive, I can't wait to see what they're able to do in college football playoff. Go ahead, General. Great to have you back.
Well, thank you. And Oregon on a bye next week, but then after that, Pat, you'll get to start to see some of those great matchups. They got Washington in 2 weeks, so we'll find out who I think is the king of the Pac-12. And by the way, on Washington State, I think they're the third best team right now, and they have a chance to move up as they continue to win.
General.
Yeah.
You follow college football all day, every day. You have a talk show in Columbus, Ohio, which is, if you look at the ratings for like all those college football shows, like Columbus is like 70% of Columbus is watching College Game Day because of how much they love college football. I'm an idiot for not even thinking about Washington State fans thinking their program's just going to get kind of disappeared because they haven't been able to sign a deal yet. Did we all know this? I don't think I knew this.
I don't know if it was going to disappear, but they were looking at maybe, Pat, like, think about it, you've been playing Division 1A football, FBS, for a long time in the Pac-12. All of a sudden, you're looking at maybe joining the Mountain West, or is it that important? Do you have a place to fit? Because if you don't have anywhere to go and there's no one feeding your program, like, you eventually start to die. And you've kind of felt that. West Virginia was trying to find a home. They slid into the Big 12. So it was all well and good. But we've seen some of these programs that are kind of worried, and they're sitting there thinking, what do I do? And I can understand why their fans, there's a little bit of trepidation there.
Yeah, me too. Honestly, I didn't even think about that. I just assumed it'll get figured out. But apparently they don't believe that's the case. And I guess if it hasn't thus far, we need to get them to the Big 12. Right? Why not add them 2 more teams to the Big 12, especially with how good they are right now?
Or the Big 10. Like, they're already grabbing these teams, and you got, like, Rutgers out there. It's like, hey, guess what? Washington State would beat Rutgers by 75 points.
Oregon State, too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, like, it just, that part makes no sense. You would imagine that one of these conferences would be able to find a couple slots.
But, like, Brock Heward sent me a tweet. Ryan Leaf sent me a text. Like, there's been Johnny Hecker hit me up. Like, all these people that I know have sent me and been like, yo, this is why people are feeling this way towards you. And I'm like,
Ryan Leaf's really concerned. I mean, you got to think, man, Ryan Leaf was a great college player. Imagine your school where you went to, Pat, no longer having football after having such a proud tradition. So I understand the anxiety there.
But I didn't even think that was even feasible in 2023 with how hot football is as a whole, college football is, and how good their team is. But I guess that's the reality of the situation. So I will always stick up for my people. Always. Sorry about it. Okay, sue me. Don't actually. Speaking of, Brett has got a... He's going to have to...
It's going to get loud.
Anyways, nonetheless, let's get to number 4. General Bob Carpenter, I appreciate the hell out of you.
All right, they've slid down a little bit. I still think they're really good, but when you give up 200 yards rushing for the first time since 2018, the Georgia Bulldogs have got to slide down my rankings.
Whoa.
I get it.
Still undefeated. They're still really good. Carson Beck, their quarterback, I think is starting to come of age. But Brock Bowers had to basically bail them out against Auburn. You were waiting for them to pull away the whole time, and they really didn't. Not to say they can't climb up, but right now I'm trying to figure out in the SEC who's really good, because I know a lot of these teams struggle in the non-conference. And, Pat, we just took for granted for so long that the SEC is always the best conference. I think the Pac-12 is better this year, and I think the top end of the Big Ten is better as well. So Georgia, they're going to have to start stacking some wins against quality opponents.
Desmond Howard said on Saturday, he said, I think there's like 3 teams that I would take out of the Pac-12 over any team in the SEC right now. And I said to him, well, Georgia's still Georgia. And like as it came out of my mouth, I was like, are they though?
Yeah.
I just assumed that they are. I think that's like kind of what we all just assumed, to your point, because this decade and a half of just dominance. Since the college football playoff has started and become a thing, it's like, hey, Clemson had their run, but this is an SEC show. This is an SEC thing. And now it feels like with the NIL, okay, and everybody talks about the NIL is only going to help the good teams and the rich get richer with this whole thing. Feels like it is becoming a much more diverse parody of college football, and I think we're going to see more of that.
Not that this matters in the end scheme of getting to a national championship, but they are 0-5 against the spread, so that also puts a sour taste in people's mouths that they have not performed how people would think they would.
Yeah, when you put Georgia at 4 there, I saw a face of a man who's lost a lot of money betting on the Bulldogs and Tone Diggs. Who's number 3, General?
All right, number 3, we're going with the Michigan Wolverines. They're standing pat. They've been playing good football. Jim Harbaugh's been back. J.J. McCarthy's looked pretty good. Their running game's still rolling up over 200, 250 yards each week. The defense is playing well. I liken them a lot to Oregon, where I think they're an ultra-complete team right now with what they've been able to do. And they're a hungry squad because they've gotten into the CFP, but they haven't performed the way they want. So you can taste that they're trying to go hunt that national championship.
Yes, I quietly here, this Michigan team.
Yeah, they're good.
Oh, yeah.
Quietly, and I say quietly for as quiet as you could possibly be. The conversation was Harbaugh suspended because he had a cheeseburger.
Yeah.
Of course.
Right? How stupid is the NCAA?
Can't do that.
How is this a thing? And it was like, well, it was a self-imposed penalty. It's like, well, the NCAA should have said, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Don't worry, just give us like $25 and then we will move on. In this NIL world, they run the rock.
Yeah.
They stop the run.
Play D.
They're
Take care of
old
business.
school.
Yeah.
Feels like they got chips on their shoulder because nobody's talking about it. It's like, this might be the year that Michigan does it again. And now will they be able to make the big run? I guess that's the only question mark we have about the Michigan team in general.
And you know that Jim Harbaugh is going to celebrate by drinking a giant glass of milk. I mean, that dude, if there's anybody that drinks a gallon of milk a day, it is definitely Jim Harbaugh.
I would dump my pants.
Oh, my God. He's drinking whole milk, too.
I love that.
He plays no games.
Love that guy. Wins the
I
Indy
thought we
500
talked
every
about
Saturday.
that last week, dude. You dump in the shower, not in your pants. Let's get that corrected.
Hey, I almost dumped on game day when I was puking. I had those khaki pants on. It was almost attic and basement in that Duke Divinity building. What a time that would have been. I had nightmares flashing through my brain. Congratulations to the Michigan team, though, being all the way back. Who do you got at 2, Big Bob?
Number 2, I think the team that's been the most explosive all year, and you'll find these old BCS metrics when they'll try to still show the computer rankings of where they'd have teams ranked. And Texas is sitting right up there at the top. New York is playing good. But the guy that I'm really impressed with, their running back, Jonathan Brooks, man, against Kansas, he was rolling up yards, over 200 on the ground. They've really played some good football. They have a win over Bama. They beat a ranked Texas squad. They've done some good things. And then this week, we will find out everything we need to know about the Big 12 as you see Red River coming to town.
Yeah, and Dylan Gabriel and Oklahoma are all the way back. What they were last year, obviously, people wondered, is Oklahoma going to be able to do this? Is Venables going to be able to do this? This year, this weekend, it's first time since 2009, I think, where both of them have been all the way back.
Damn.
I'm excited to see it. Now, if you look at Quinn Ewers' stats and, like, the breakdown, they're talking about him being an NFL guy. Like, nobody's really chatted about Quinn Ewers being the third guy being drafted. Caleb Williams, Drake May, who's number 3? Michael Penix Jr. potentially because his accuracy, and everybody's seen what's happened with Tua. And offense will be very efficient with him. Bo Nix, who's doing his thing in Oregon, could potentially do it. Shador Sanders, his dad's Dion, mentor Tom Brady. I know that doesn't mean much for a casual fan, but general managers, whenever they know that it's a generational player, legacy player, knows what it takes, and the people that are going to be talking to him in his ear have the right stuff it's chatting about. Nobody's talking about Quinn Ewers potentially being the NFL guy. I guess a lot of people that have dove deep into the stats are like, Quinn this year, you start looking at it, you see a guy that probably can play on Sunday, and also a guy who's matured, it feels like, can lead a program to the top. Congrats to Sark and the boys down there in Texas.
Yeah, and one of the big, like, kind of storylines before we did the field pass game at Alabama was like, hey, Quinn Ewers he's got the most to make, financially from this game or lose. It's like, hey, if they get pounded by Alabama, he's probably going to have to come back to school next year and run it back. But if they win and look good doing so, which they did, it's like we're going to start talking about this guy being a top 10 pick in the NFL draft.
Hey, how about Sark? How about Sark going and winning in Texas? They said it was going to be impossible down there because there's like numerous people in charge. It's tough with the amount of money and counselor. I don't know if it's counselor, chancellor.
It's
There's
a committee.
some-
They have a committee. There's
Regions,
13.
Board of Regions.
There it is. There's like a bunch of people who have their say. And if you don't do well, they're like,
Bye-bye.
Out.
and if you look at the record of Texas for like the last decade and a half, like not that good. And it's like, well, maybe that's because it's impossible to win there. Sark's been able to figure it out. Quinn comes back, does his thing. The tight end got hurt last week, though. Sanders, I believe is his name.
Ankle. Yeah, he's day to day.
He got hurt, which is not good. He's their number 1 receiver. But you talk about A.D. Mitchell and Xavier Worthy. They got all the pieces. And on defense, they got size.
Yeah. Man.
So that's a team that can hunt for sure. Who's the number 1 team, General? Who is it?
Oh, they got some dogs up front for sure at Texas, but the number 1 team coming off a bye, taking on the Maryland Terrapins this weekend is the Ohio State Buckeyes. Kyle McCord locked in, feeling good. Marvin Harrison coming back. The running game's starting to be impressive, and they're going to be tested by a Maryland team that has the best pass offense with Tulea Tagovailoa to his younger brother. He's been slinging it for 350 about every game. So the secondary for Ohio State will be tested. It'll be a nice opportunity for them this week at noon to see what they can get done in the horseshoe.
I was talking at Reese Davis because he lost his voice, and Reese Davis responded a couple different times. I think if you look at that Maryland schedule, who they've played, this is a big test for them versus the teams that they've played and had success against, which is, hey, that's not their problem. They're not the ones putting the schedule together. But this is going to be a massive are we or are we not for Maryland. And for Ohio State, we go back to that Notre Dame game, okay? And I don't want to be the bearer of negativity, but if Old Cuz catches that pick, Kyle McCord can't do it, Ryan Day can't do it.
Yeah.
No, you know what I mean? Like, it's amazing how these narratives kind of change.
Real.
Because I'm all in on Kyle McCord. I love the moxie. I loved him walking down the field whenever he had to do it. I liked Ryan Day getting pissed. I like him kind of following up with it again yesterday in his press conference. But I'm at one pick, whole different story. College football is beautiful, General.
It is. And you'd rather be lucky than good sometimes in college football. You need some bounces. You look at all the teams we're talking about. Georgia's gotten some bounces so far. Texas has got a couple breaks here and there. You have to have those to win a national championship, and that's all part of it. I got a couple gimmicks here for you, Pat, one that you're going to love. I was down on my guy Lane, got beat up by Alabama, but the Visor King returns. Look at my man right there, the Night King, rising up, Ole Miss, getting it done. If you look at what they were able to do over LSU, 55-49, Jackson throwing darts, slinging it all over the place. Right when you were ready to bury him, he just rises right up out of the ashes.
Jackson Dart throwing darts. I respect that. He was leading them in rushing and throwing.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
Hell of a football player. Great moxie, too. You see the video of him celebrating afterwards?
He's got pizzazz.
Love what they got cooking. Well, who else? What other gimmicks we got there,
Looking
General?
good. All right, Coach. We've got the Crocodile Hunter. If you go look at the history of Florida versus Kentucky, Kentucky has been washed in this. But my guy, Mark Stoops, I know they're not crocodiles and they're alligators, but it's been all the way back to 51. That's 1951 since Kentucky won 3 in this. Florida had won 31 straight since 87 to 17, and Mark Stoops has won 4 of the last 6 and 3 in a row. Kentucky might be coming to football school, Coach.
Yeah, I think so. And Stoops from Youngstown, Ohio.
Okay.
Ohio guy. I believe Paisano is well in there. Might be a little bit of a day walker with his name. I got a chance to chat with him at game day. Love his style. Love the toughness that he prides himself in his football team. Last one here, Coach.
Absolutely. Listen, they got Kentucky and Georgia this week, so that's going to be a nice one for everybody to ultimately see. And my last one, Pat, sometimes I got to tip a cap to a guy who just goes out there and plays injured. My Andy Bernard Boot and Rally Player of the Week. That's got to be yours truly, Mr. Pat McAfee. He's going up on the side. He's almost crapping his pants. He's doing everything he can to stay out on the desk. Kudos to you, good sir.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, that was certainly a memorable Saturday.
Yeah.
You know, I will say. Swallowing puke, scared that I'm going to poop myself. And I will say, I'm making the declaration. I'm never eating apples again.
Smart.
Okay. All right.
Okay, that's what it is. I think it's just all apples.
Good
The
move.
fruits got me. I don't know what it was. A little bit of bacteria probably in something.
Yeah. What if it was a
Little E.
10-week-old apple?
Oh, dude. That 3:30 a.m. wake-up call in my room was code red, almost all over the and then I thought I was clear, and I only pack a certain amount of clothes, only had khakis. What a nightmare. I appreciate the tip of the cap from you. You're the man. Ladies and gentlemen, the General, Bob Carpenter. I absolutely love that.
So fun, everyone.
And I don't know if everybody is starting to use that. I think people are still like the AP poll or something. I think they're still using that.
Come on.
Fools.
And everything. We need to get the General's poll as the poll.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People need to start referring. You know, the General had Texas at 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't
That's
forget.
a big jump, especially going into Red River rivalry for the General. This Texas team's legit, though. I haven't been to college football playoff. I said that this past weekend. Real deal. They are built to go on a run.
They are, and it was awesome. He brought up the old BCS poll. The old BCS poll has Miami as number 1 right now. That'd be hilarious.
Georgia's 17, I believe.
I like Miami one. I still got a couple question marks about old Quinn Ewers out in Texas.
Okay.
Well, we're going to find out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
We're going to find out this weekend. Venables, he does a lot. His defense does a lot, so I'm excited to see how Quinn handles it. We'll be back on the other side with A.J. Hawk. Also, J.J.
Watt.
Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. It might change their life. Go on and take 3.
In an abandoned warehouse, Arthur Isaac Fischel, the world's AI authority, has summoned the Earth's most influential doofuses for an emergency meeting about the terrifying powers of artificial intelligence. Antonio Margherita, influencer from Italy. Vladimir Borobashnakovsky. Chad Speed. Jim. We catch up with them mid-dinner as Artie Fish tries his damnedest to get the influencer's attention.
Yes, that'll work. Thank you. Scram. Let's get down to brass tacks, boys. The real reason we're here. AI is it's a problem. It's gonna kill us all.
It's hard to take you serious with the way your face looks right now.
I mean, you look like a fucking asshole. What are you talking about?
Oh, the only thing artificial is those fucking balls you call balls.
You look absolutely absurd.
You guys don't understand. You're not listening to me, okay? I'm wearing this because AI can hear your thoughts. It can get into your brain, guys.
You ain't got no fucking brain.
Once again, struggling to take anything you say serious. My team told me I should come to this. You look like a joke.
Like an absolute jerk off.
Does this look like a joke? Huh? That's a nuclear bomb.
Nah, that's fake.
Just fucking like Batman puts marbles in plastic
You need a guma, my friend.
You guys aren't listening. This right here, AI gave to me. A nuclear freaking bomb. Told me the only way to save this screwed up world is to blow it up. This guy awake? Idiot.
Wake up, asswipe.
You wouldn't hit somebody with a
No, yeah, fuck.
No, don't you worry. This one is foolproof.
I doubt it.
I brought it here, boys. Not just for show.
What?
But because I'm gonna blow up the world right now!
Holy shit! That's Jack Carr!
Turns out, that was an actual nuclear bomb. Arthur Isaac Fischel was going to blow the entire world up, and Jack Carr saved us all. It was his actual first shot. And Artie Fish is actually dead. Forever. Thank the Lord.
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey, let's go!
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for. The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pig! Damn it!
Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Sport!
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Trenches Wednesday, October 4th, 2023. Hour 2 of this program starts now.
Football!
Is happening tomorrow, but football storylines never die because football never sleeps. The Toxic Table is here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. One half of the Hammer, Dahn Cowboys Turn Diggs is here. Great cat, pal.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Going down to Texas on Friday.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Gonna get a new one?
Yeah.
Bingo.
Oh, you're getting a new cap down there. I don't know. That one looks good, pal.
Well, I now have all the colors, but I mean, you go down to Texas, you don't leave without a cap and a belt buckle probably, and probably a new pair of cowboy boots.
This Friday, we will be live from the Texas State Fair. I think 11 Local, Central Time?
Yes.
Yeah,
I believe
The
so.
11 a.m. local. We will be starting and we'll be there for all 3 hours from the game day set. I guess it's going to be absurd, is what they say. Cannot wait to get there. Speaking of absurd, here's a Jackie Moon character, coach and player, Super Bowl champion, 12-year NFL vet, host of In the Trenches. Ladies and gentlemen, AQ Shipley's here. 9-year NFL vet, host of Everything DB, the NFL matchup show, and the Man to Man podcast. There's Jay Butler is here. D-Bud, you look super cool.
Appreciate it. You too, man.
Great coach.
That jacket looks sweet.
You too. Those golf pants?
Yeah, these are golf pants. I was going to wear shorts today, but then I lost too much weight.
Nice. Hey, congrats.
Congrats.
Let's go.
Yeah, I don't like losing weight in the ass and legs, though, because, like, my dad used to have some real, and then now I just kind of alpha him with the size of my legs. So I'm kind of worried about not having the biggest legs in town anymore. But it does feel good to be able to fit into pants. Like, these pants could not fit into them like a month and a half, 2 months ago. And not because I was just overly fat, but because, you know. Cannon. I got a dump truck coming around here. Join us now. Speaking of dump truck, this guy's head is that. He's the all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, a Super Bowl champion, a college football national champion, a man who's the current president of Ohio, father of 10. Ladies and gentlemen, AJ Hall. AJ, how you doing on this glorious Wednesday, pal?
Doing great. You look good in those golf pants, man. Those things look pretty comfortable.
Yeah, they are. You know, these are like.
Are those capris? No, they're full length.
Yeah, just you know the calves. You know what I'm saying. People don't understand, but those who do. You know, it's not easy to wear the joggers, but they told me I wear this, I'll get better at golf. I hope so, because I am absolute crop. Let's talk about some people that aren't crop. Have you heard about the moves made this morning? J.C. Jackson has been traded from the Chargers over to the New England Patriots, back where he was a dominant corner. He leaves L.A. Bill Belichick gets one of his guys back. What are your thoughts on that move this morning, AJ?
Well, when I heard that the Chargers are picking up the majority of his contract, right? Like, what does he have, $12 million left?
Yeah, so this is Bill Belichick's move. Like, hey, the Giants, you're paying for Joe Judge to coach because you fired him? Sweet. He'll be our offense coordinator. Hey, Lions, you're paying for Matt Patricia? Okay, sweet. He'll be our assistant offense coordinator. Hey, Chargers, you're paying for J.C. Jackson? Sweet. We'll bring him right back in there. This is how Bill has kind of operated. It does make sense, but why doesn't everybody do it, AJ? Why doesn't everybody do this?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the Patriots have that, whatever that lure they have, whatever it is, where people can go back and, yeah, they may have gone off, got paid by somebody else. Hey, yeah, you'll be back eventually, and you're going to play some of your best football when you come back to us as well. Like, that's what they seem to have, some kind of crazy ability that other teams just don't have.
Who are some of the guys that have done this in the past, that have left, got the bag, and came back to New England?
Jamie Collins.
Jamie Collins.
We've been there a few times.
Kyle Van Noy. He got a bag, and then he left and then came back after the Flores Miami debacle.
Trey Flowers.
He's another guy. Yeah, Patrick Chung, of course. He had two. I think he had 2 or 3 stints.
The Jamie Collins situation is my favorite one, though. Not only because I saw Jamie Collins jump over a long snapper while we were doing an extra point. It was one of the most scared I've ever been in my entire life, watching him fly through the air. But allegedly, he wanted a new deal whenever he was at New England, and he walks into the team meeting and goes, we getting paid here or not? Next day. That's funny. You're getting traded to Cleveland.
Yep.
Cleveland does pay him, doesn't pan out. He ends up back in New England, would love to be there, where Bill goes, well. We are getting paid. Yeah. Not from me, though. I told you that from the very beginning. Somehow, Bill's always able to thread the needle on this. Another player that went and got paid somewhere else, potentially going back home, Randy Gregory in the AFC West, continues to make moves. The Denver Broncos, they release him straight up. Allegedly, he asked for his release yesterday, and Sean Payton said, sweet, we're working on younger guys anyways. We don't want to spend the money on you. He is now hitting the open market, this guy. 4 weeks into the season, Randy Gregory can basically pick wherever he wants to go. Made $27 million, played 10 games, had 27 pressures, $1 million per pressure. Hell of a business move. Now he's on the road again. Where do you think he ends up, and what are your thoughts on this move for the Denver Broncos and for Randy Gregory?
I mean, Randy Gregory, is he healthy right now? Like, where is he at health-wise?
I think so, yeah. J.C. Jackson, healthy scratch last week. Healthy, ready to go.
He's been playing 50% of the snaps, so I assume he's healthy. I looked it up earlier.
Man, with Gregory, though, I would sign it. Wherever anyone that needs any kind of outside presence, any kind of rusher, you would think they'd be looking at him big time. And I mean, I think he's going to get some cash, too. Like, he should get paid decently well, I think.
I'll be excited to see what offsets what Like,
Yeah, that number that he has to stay below.
yeah, the next team could potentially try to do a Bill Belichick thing here, where because he was released. It's not a trade; it was a release. So
He's got to go to a good team, right? You'd assume he's going somewhere that's one of the handful of teams that can go chase a ring.
yeah, that's what I would be doing if I'm Randy Gregory, but I'm not Randy Gregory. Very
Where
clearly,
he's just rushing the passer, like AQ said earlier. You don't want to be in a situation like Mathis was when Chuck first came over. Now you go from a 4-down and rushing off the edge to sometimes you got to drop in cover. You see Watt do it, TJ Watt do it out there in Pittsburgh. Sometimes like, nah, put me on left or right side. Let me get after the quarterback.
So Robert Mathis actually figured it out a little bit. Dwight Freeney, though, did not. Dwight Freeney was like, nah.
It's too late.
It was awesome. Dwight Freeney's like, what are we
He's got
doing?
his hand down. You don't want Dwight standing up. He puts his hand in the ground. Like, he has an iconic three-point stance on the edge that you see Dwight. Like, you don't want him standing up dropping.
Yeah, and Chuck and I would love to know the conversation whenever he told him, like, so that's what we're thinking. Whenever you're on strong side, you're going to have to drop back and you're going to have to cover the flat. You're going to have to do your thing. And Freeney,
No.
spin move, power, quarterback. Yeah. And Robert Mathis like, whatever you need from me, obviously I'll do. And Freeney was like, all right, I'll try it. And then a couple OTAs happened. He's standing out there, who am I? And then he would only play third downs. He was making $17 million, and he would only go out there for third downs. The rest of the plays, he would just be standing on the sideline with us, clapping. Like, this guy, Hall of Fame status already, not in Hall of Fame yet. Hey, Mike Chappell. Okay, Mike Chappell is the guy that is in there pitching for players for the Colts, has been for a long time. Get your shit together.
That's ridiculous.
Okay, the fact that Freeney's not in the Hall of Fame, figure it out. Reggie Wayne, figure it out. There's a long list of guys from that great generation of Colts that haven't been in there, and all eyes are on you, Chap, okay? And I like Chap. Now, he doesn't know what he's talking about when it comes to punting and stuff like that, but I like him. Freeney needs to be in the Hall of Fame, not only because of what he did on the field, but also as a teammate. That particular year, I think it showcased what type of human he is, because he could have been very, very salty about not doing exactly what he did for his entire career, which is I'm going to line up, Robert Mathis is going to be over there, and we're going to terrorize the quarterback. Mm-hmm. Instead, he was only on the field, I think, like 12 times a game, 13 times a game, and Irsay wasn't going to let Chuck cut him, like, no, brother, this is a Colt here. And then he would go on to have an incredible career in L.A., in Atlanta, and continue to do his thing. Arizona, he would still do his thing. So sometimes those defensive schematic changes work out, and sometimes they do not. And Randy Gregory, seemingly in Denver, did not work out.
Absolutely not. But 30 years old, that's a ton of tread left on the tire. Hopefully he goes to a contender. We see him late in the season, in the playoffs, making plays.
Joining us now is a man who's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, a man who is now in the Houston Texans Ring of Honor. Ladies and gentlemen, JJ Watt. Hey, congrats to your Burnley team getting the first Premier League win yesterday.
Thank you.
Who'd we play?
Pat, I'm fired up. I'm fired up today.
How come?
A lot of reasons, but you just hit me on one. Freeney, Hall of Fame. Reggie Wayne, Hall of Fame. Andre Johnson, Hall of Fame. Shane Leckler, Hall of Fame.
Easy as that.
Put those four in.
Bingo. I don't even know what we're voting for. We just voted. All in favor of those four going in, say aye. Aye. Easy. You're welcome.
Also fired up your ratings. I mean, it was fucking
JJ! You son of a bitch, JJ! Yeah. You win one game in the Premier League against Luton.
Of all people.
Take him out of the Ring of Honor!
Yep, no Hall of Fame.
Take him out of the Ring of Honor now, Houston!
Update it.
I'm sorry.
Wow.
Anyways, the ratings through the roof.
Yeah.
Hello, ESPN.
Yeah, well, now you're trying to.
Yeah, too late.
Now you're trying to. You know what I mean, Jake? We have to, before we go any further, please, we have to update the marquee. This is just how this goes. There it is, JJ. Hope you're happy. Hope you're pumped up. Hey, those ratings are awesome. Let me drop an FCC fine in here. Thank you, JJ. Honestly, though, we appreciate the hell. You're a massive piece of this.
Thank you, JJ.
I mean, that was disgusting. Let's not make a habit out of what you just did right there. But
no, it was.
We do appreciate.
Mostly, I'm fired up because I'm in New York City and I had to go lift in a gym and a guy took my rack. I was pretty pissed about it.
What you do? Did you start adding weight on there and say, "Oh, is that right?" Okay, you want to?
Well, I had three options. I could one, do nothing and move on. I could two, politely say, "Excuse me, that was my rack," and three, I could absolutely lose my mind and just go pure alpha gorilla on him. And I'm getting soft. I've realized I'm getting soft. I retired. I went option one. I just said, "People are looking at me. People know I'm here. I'm going to just move on and go to a different one. And I do not like my decision. I do not like it at all.
No, this is good.
Good.
This is good.
I feel bad. I feel bad and just, I don't feel good.
So the guy that took your rack knew who you were, you think, or no?
Well, he had just walked in, so I don't think he knew I was doing two things at once, which you can say that's good or bad, whatever. But he walked straight into this machine and started using it. And I was just looking out the side of my eye like, is anybody going to say that my machine? And nobody came to my defense. So I was like, all right, let's move on.
What machine? Legs?
Hey. No, we were near the end. We were doing some pull downs. Just getting the back, hitting the back, the lats.
And now that you mention it, you do look small, doesn't it? Your back
it changed.
Yeah,
looks smaller.
Is that a medium shirt?
Oh my God! Because we saw that.
It's a small.
Hey, it looks good. Clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose. Love everything about it. That jacket they gave you, the red one. Congratulations, buddy.
Hell yeah.
What was that like? Was it emotional for you? Honestly, you get back into Houston. You are the conversation of the entire city of Houston again. And you obviously wanted to play for the Cardinals and have done a lot of things post your Texans career. Getting back in there, being the belle of the ball, was it overwhelming? Was it awesome? How would you describe the weekend back in Houston?
It was incredible. It was incredible to have my entire family there, to have my son there, to be able to spend it with everybody. Saturday night, we had a private dinner. The Texans did it first class the entire way. I mean, they brought everybody in. They set up a private dinner for just my family and I on Saturday night. They brought all the legends back in to be there for it. Every single thing was done first class the whole way. And it really, really was special. That's my first time being back in that stadium in over 2 years. So it just felt really good to be around the Houston Texans fans, and it was very, very special. I appreciate it very much.
Well, congratulations. You've definitely earned it and deserved it. And they asked me to cut a video for it all. And my only thoughts were like, it makes sense that your name is going to be on that stadium forever, because every time I was in that stadium, because of you, it was the most electrifying stadium I'd been in. I know people say Seattle's the loudest stadium. I didn't get a chance to play there. The loudest stadium that I'd ever played in was Houston. And it had 7 different names, but every single time we played down there, it was for the division pretty much. It was prime time, and you seemingly would have a massive game. Only time all year where my eardrums would hurt after the game. Never got talked about much as how great the home field advantage was for Houston, and I think it's all because of you. So you've earned it, you deserve it, and I appreciate the fact that you tried to get everybody's hand, even though you only had one. What a moment that had to be for you.
That was tough.
Yeah.
That was tough. A lot of legends, a lot of great players there, and I was trying hard. We did rehearsal the day before, and I didn't have Cole with me, so there was no problem. I got out there, and they opened up those doors, and I was like, oh, no. What am I going to do here?
Oh, no. And then there's kids at the end. Imagine if you don't high-five the kids at the end.
Oh, no. The kids, I was like, I got to leave these guys hanging. I'm sorry, but through my head, like, you know NFL halftime, it is 12 minutes on the dot. Like, they will not mess around with that 12 minutes. So the lady had already told me, like, keep your speech to 2 minutes. Do not go over 2. And I was like, all right, I don't know. What do you think I have in my head? Like, I don't have a clock. So, and then the handshake thing happened, and I was like, this is going to take a half hour. I'm screwed. I'm not gonna And it was great. But I do want to say you've always been incredible to me throughout my whole career. I always remember the top 100 thing when you spoke and had great words to say. So I'm very, very appreciative all my career to you and everything that you've done. So thank you, sir.
Go to hell. All right, let's move along. Let's dive in. You've earned it. We're proud of you. We can't wait for the Hall of Fame celebration. What was your speech? Houston, it's an honor to go in to the ring of honor.
It is hard to speak to 75,000 people, and it's impossible. Like, you want to say heartfelt stuff, and you know that they can't hear you. Then they start chanting, and I'm just like, all right, I'm just gonna say I love you, and let's get the hell out of here.
So I go out there for WrestleMania this year in LA, and I haven't spoken a stadium, in my life, I don't think. And I start talking. I'm like, "What's up, Snoop?" And then I hear. I'm like, oh no, I got a lot to say. It's like I started like talking slower. I'm like, well, that ain't the right answer. This whole thing. I'm happy you battled through it. I'm happy you're in there. It was a great weekend. Let's talk about that game. I thought there was a chance that because it was your mom's birthday, because happy birthday, Mama Watt.
Happy birthday.
You were going into the Ring of Honor. I thought TJ was maybe going to feel the juice of that. I thought maybe this was going to work against the Houston Texans. Instead, that was not the case at all. What did you see from the Houston Texans live on the field that make you say, hey, this is a different team than what it's been for maybe like the last 5 to 10 years, JJ?
I mean, they did an incredible job, but it all starts with the quarterback. C.J. Stroud is playing unbelievable football right now. I mean, he's literally having one of the best starts in history for a rookie quarterback. I mean, he's not throwing an interception yet. He's playing lights out. And the offensive coordinator is doing a great job of keeping everything simple and keeping the scheme safe to put him in position for success. And you got to remember, he's doing all this with a second/third string offensive line. He hasn't made any excuses. He hasn't complained. He's just gone out there and balled. So anybody that wants to make excuses on other teams for, oh, well, we got these injuries, we got that injuries, CJ's standing back there doing it with a backup offensive line and doing it well. This is a perfect example of what CJ can do for you right here. This play, TJ wins off the edge. It's a play action. He wins immediately. He's right up in CJ's face. All CJ does is sidestep out of it, and he uses his legs to get some space, finds an open guy, and fires it downfield. I mean, the composure that he has in that pocket and the way that he's leading these guys, it has to give you incredible excitement if you're a Houston Texans fan. And I mean, between him, D'Amico, Will Anderson, these guys, they really have something special brewing.
How is Will? We haven't talked about Will one time, I don't think. Everything's been about C.J. Stroud. How's he doing? How's he appreciated in the building?
Will's good. I love talking to Will. He loves ball. I mean, when you talk to that guy, you can just tell he's dying to learn about the game. He wants to get better. He wants to improve. And also, he's a physical freak. And when you put those two things together, you got a recipe for real success.
Go ahead, AJ.
TJ, what do you think when sorry, JJ.
Oh, geez.
Wow.
I mean, what? Is this the bit?
I caught myself
is this
too.
the bit now?
It is. I think
no, maybe it will. It might turn into one. JJ.
Right.
But TJ's coach, Mike Tomlin, said they're going to have more padded practice. They're going to start banging a little bit more in season. How do you think they're excited? And have you ever had a coach kind of publicly let you guys know, hey, this week's practice is going to be pretty fun?
I personally was a guy that liked that because, I think that you have to find some way, whether it's working harder, whether it's, making changes, whatever it is, you have to do something. And I believe that you have to let people know, this is unacceptable. And if that's saying, hey, we're going to have a tough week, and if you don't want it to be this tough, fix it, figure it out. But the one thing I'll say is Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season in his entire career. So if there's one person that I trust to, I'm going to give that guy time to figure it out, it's Mike Tomlin. He's pretty damn good coach.
See, what you just said there is what a lot of people in Pittsburgh have been saying for a long time. This year seems different.
A little different.
Because he's been standing by Coach Canada. We're not going to put you in a position because obviously you're literally with TJ just a couple of days ago. But there does come a time where some defensive side of the ball players, I'm not saying TJ would, that they see the offense just struggling and struggling and struggling. It's hard not to get just defeated by that, right? Especially if you have a great defense.
Yeah, and one thing that I'll say, obviously I was in that stadium. I was watching that game. I could feel the momentum. I could feel everything with the game. And this is something that not just with the Steelers, but with a bunch of teams that just gets at me, man. 4th and 1, you go in the shotgun. And, oh, my gosh. Now I get it. We can show the Giants play where they put the offensive lineman back there to push, and they still didn't get it. But, man, I would go with that 1,000 times than going out of the shotgun and trying to throw the ball on 4th and 1. I was in that stadium, and you just knew at that moment, you were like, oh, this is over. That was your 4th and 1 play? This is crazy.
Yeah, Ben Roethlisberger said, I see him jog out there, and I go, oh, they're trying to draw him off sides. That he going in shotgun, they're going to try to draw him off sides, and then they see it get snapped, and Ben's like, well, how is this what we came up with? Especially at that point when Najee, I assume as a defensive lineman or even as a secondary, you see the guy in shotgun, it's like, hey, earmuffs here, obviously they're not actually going to do this. And then when they do, excitement, I would assume, out of your eyes.
Yeah. And that's Najee. That was one of the best games Najee's played. He had a very good game. He's one of the only guys out there that had the great game. And give him the ball or sneak it or something. Not only did you drop back to pass, not only did you take a long time to drop back to pass, you also got your quarterback hurt. Like, it was the culmination of just a bunch of crap together, and it was just not good.
Did your mom have the split Watt jersey on? What was the costume for the Watt family?
No, but it was the box was a weird place because, I mean, I'm obviously a Texan. I'm being honored by the Texans. We're all excited for everything with the Texans, yet we have blood on the Steelers. And, like, we are going to see my brother after the game, and we are going to have a conversation. So, like, a big play would happen on either side, and we knew the cameras might come to us any time. So we're like, I don't know what to do with my hands. I don't know what to do with my hands.
I don't want to disrespect Houston because this is very nice. I mean, this whole place is putting my name up there. But also, brother and I worked on that this offseason. We're happy. Let's talk about another guy who tied your brother in one game. Khalil Mack had 6 sacks in one game out of nowhere. At some point, you would think they'd be able to stop him. He's an OG now at pass rushing. Obviously, he's had a lot of records. What did you see from him this weekend that makes you believe he's still got a lot of juice in the tank?
Man, let's go through them all real quick. 1, nice TE game. Right up the gut, Khalil Mack, easy right out of the gate. Number 2, right around the edge, push. Doesn't even have to tackle him. A forced fumble sack is the best because he didn't even have to do anything. It just got the ball out. Number 3, that's just the TFL. Nice play. Nice TFL there for Khalil. Number 4, doesn't count as a sack, but this one does. Strip sack. I mean, strip sacks are the greatest feeling on the planet. Number 4 coming up, if I can count correctly, just run right by him. Why don't you? Just run right past him. I mean, number 4, I'm just getting pummeled back there. Not fair. Number 5, I think this is my favorite one. But yeah, he chips the chipper 65 miles out of the screen, comes flying back in, gets a sack. Don't worry, we don't need to see the end of it. And then that was just, I don't know.
Pressure.
Yeah, number 6, boom. Just go ahead. Don't even have to bring him down. Dude, 6 sacks in a game. We talk about TJ had 6 sacks in his first 3 games, and we were talking to each other like, dude, 6 sacks in 3 games. That's a hell of a run. 6 sacks in one game. I had to check my phone 3 times and be like, is this correct? What a run.
How many have you had in a game? What's the most you've had?
3, I think, yeah.
Oh, half.
Close.
Yeah,
nice.
This guy's sorry. Hey, McNair, take that red jacket back. This guy only got 3 in one. I just saw Khalil do 6.
What a joke.
Let alone some other.
If I got 4 in a game, I'd probably leave the stadium. I'd be like, it's good. I'm the best player in the history of football. I'm good.
I want to talk about, let's stay in the AFC West there, and congrats to Khalil Mack doing his thing. Randy Gregory was just released from the Denver Broncos. He has 27 total pressures for the Broncos. He earned $27.5 million, played in 10 games. Sean Payton said they're focusing on the future. Whenever something like this happens where they change schemes, and Randy Gregory, what he's able to do in Dallas, he wasn't able to do in Denver. What do you see from him, and how do you think he responds on his next team?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's clearly something there where it's just a separation of either ideologies or philosophies or the way he fits, and they're ready to move on. And now it's a chance for him to go somewhere else and do something. I mean, I know he signed, I believe, a 5-year, $70 million deal just last year. So he's still getting pressure. He's still doing things. It's a chance for him to go somewhere else, maybe to a contender, and help and get a fresh start. And I mean, the guy can rush a passer. I know that. So somebody's going to want him. Those guys are few and far between in this league.
Did they ever tell you, hey, we need you to drop back into zone coverage in your life?
Very, very rarely. And I may have done it poorly on purpose a few times in practice so that it doesn't get asked of you again, you know?
Oh, you're the guy on punt team. First time. Hey, Pat, just want to let you know, going to let this guy go right by me because I never want to do this again. Okay, well, thanks for the heads up. I will certainly avoid it, but it's like, can you try a little bit? It's like, do not want to do this all year. You do not want me to do this all year. So we just got to do one bad tape thing here, and then let's move along. Be who you can afford to be. I appreciate the fact that you were a guy that was able to do that. Go ahead, AJ.
JJ, are there any teams or coaches, like head coaches out there you wish you may have played for? I say all the time, like I'm always intrigued at what it would be like to play for Bill Belichick and the Patriots and like their whole situation they have going. Is there anything like that you wish you would have got to see?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a fascinating one because I'd love to see what that building is like and just what, I mean, I've had obviously Patriot way type coaches before and Bill O'Brien coming from that tree. So that's an interesting one. I've always said it would be very, very interesting to play for Tomlin just because I have a ton of respect for him and all that he's done. And hearing TJ and Derek talk about the way he goes about his business and daily, you know, Tomlinisms and things like that, I would have loved that. My first coach, Coach Kubiak, I mean, my first 2 years in the league, Coach Kubiak is one of my favorite coaches I've ever played for. He He played in the league. He understood what it took to be great in this league, but he also understood what it meant to be a player and how to handle that juxtaposition. And I loved Coach Kubiak, and obviously he went through some health things throughout his career, but he won a Super Bowl up there in Denver. Coach Kubiak's a great coach.
That happened whenever you're playing us, right? Didn't that halftime?
It was we were playing the Seahawks. We were 2-0 on the year. We started out 2-0. In the third game, we were winning at halftime against the Seahawks. And as we were walking into the locker room, Coach Kubiak had a stroke. And we walked in the locker room, and he wasn't there. And some of us had heard about it, some of us hadn't. And it started to go through the locker room, like, Coach just had a stroke. And you go into halftime, and your coach has a stroke. You're not coming out like – the second half is weird, man. It was weird. And then we threw a pick six on the very first drive of the second half, and we lost 14 straight.
Yeah, well.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Kubiak's all right, though, right?
Yeah.
Kubiak.
Yeah, he's great. He's the greatest, man. He invites me out to his ranch all the time. That is like a salt of the earth. Just great, man.
Hey, you're
close.
You started with the we almost heard it again. Yeah.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, your love, your emotion was really getting into it. Ty has a question for you.
Yeah, JJ, speaking of the Seahawks, what do you do if your offensive line is like the Giants on Monday night and you give up 11 sacks and just can't block anybody? Like, we've had multiple teams this year giving up 8 sacks, 9 sacks, 10 sacks, and then 11 on Monday night. Like, how do you fix that when defensive teams are going into a game against you and it's like, oh, okay, hey, D-Butt mentioned it earlier in the week, like, guys are talking like, hey, this is going to be a career night. Like, we're going out here just trying to pad the stats right now. Is that fixable?
Yeah, and it's a little bit of a, cause and effect type thing as well, because as you start to give those up, that means that you're losing possessions. That means that you're not scoring points. And when the other team is scoring points, now the score is getting out of hand, so you have to throw the ball. The defense knows you have to throw the ball. So it just kind of creates this recipe for even more sacks, and then it just gets crazy. But, I mean, I think, Armstead or somebody said it, those are the games you dream about as a defensive lineman. You see a team give up 11 sacks. I mean, watch this pocket right here. This pocket just absolutely breaks down. I mean, it's like a wet paper bag right here. And, like, this free. Like, you got a guy up in your face. He's 1 second into the rush. You got another guy swimming on the B gap. Where do you want him to go here, and what do you want him to do? Now, they weren't all on the offensive line. I mean, there's plenty of different things happening here. But you got 4 guys in your face immediately. That is just brutal. And it all starts, I mean, you have to be able to run the ball. You have to be able to keep the game in a situation where it's not so predictable that you're going to just drop back and pass. But as a pass rusher, man, oh man, you just tee off and have some fun.
Yeah, and last week you said something that was awesome. You said there's some times where we're hoping that the offense turns the ball over so I can get back out there and do my thing. I think that's that dog mentality that people talk about. Feels like Seattle's got a lot of those guys.
A lot of them.
Pete Carroll's one of those guys. We talk about coaches that you would like to play for and experience. He's one of those guys that I see, and I'm like, man, that guy's energy is infectious. And this past week, I've been saying, I think the gum had him. Don't you think the gum had a little bit better showing against his mouth than it has in the past? We need to watch that, JJ.
Smacking it, yeah.
But it was fighting back. It was fighting back this time. Normally, he's winning. That one, it was a little bit.
How was it fighting back? How?
You just watch. Just watch the.
Thanks for asking, AJ. Thanks for asking. I didn't want to stop. I didn't.
Had to know.
What does that look like?
Are you kidding?
Yeah. What does it look like? Can you demonstrate, please?
Okay, so normally, Pete Carroll, big, quick. This time, at the peak when it was closing, the gum was holding on to his teeth a little bit longer.
Oh.
You know what I mean? It felt like he kind of lost his fastball a little bit with his teeth, but on the sideline, he still had it. I mean, his energy seems amazing. That team's
What flavor are you going with? If you're chomping gum on the sideline, what flavor are you going with?
So there was a run there where I want Big Red, where I like the cinnamon taste, but now I'm mint.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm a mint guy now, though. I just need the mint so it's like I have a little fresh flavor. How about you?
Big League Chew.
Oh, smack the bag, yeah.
Yep.
Man, I'm convinced nobody eats Big Red for fun. That just sounds like that Big Red just hit.
They still make it.
If you smoke cigs, you chew Big Red to try to cover up the ciggy smell.
Amen, brother.
That's what it's for.
Damn right.
I thought I saw a commercial for them.
Big Red is like putting one of those, what was those red balls that you could...
fireballs.
Fireball.
Yeah.
You talking about the shot?
Yeah.
No,
that's
well,
getting
it does kind of
fireball.
taste like that too.
Well,
yeah.
that too.
Hey,
Yeah,
that
it
kind of
does-
had its run too. That fireball thing had its run too.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody,
It
looks like
It
this
pops
should
up
have
every
been.
once in a while.
Yeah.
You get fireballed, yeah.
Well,
You
Hey,
have
JJ,
to.
you better watch yourself around us. We'll be just pumping these little ones towards you.
Yeah.
And you know how people get iced? You know, like, oh,
Yeah.
you got iced. We try to make that into oh, you got fired.
Fired.
We make people just chug these fireballs, and boy, after about the third one, you start seeing the sweats.
Oh, yeah.
And the I mean, it is.
there's antifreeze in it. That's why.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Is that allegedly here?
No, I'm
No,
pretty
that
sure.
is real.
I think that's real.
It's part one of the ingredients.
Wait.
They had to change the formula.
I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
have
they
you on,
cut it with
JJ.
antifreeze.
Yeah, that's
At
real.
least-
That's
I feel
real.
like we could have like a defamation thing here. If you
No,
clarify
God, we
what
don't
it
need you
was.
to spotlight it,
Guy
JJ. We've
hates
already
good
been in a
times.
couple of those.
Allegedly.
Okay, we just Googled fact check on the spot. No antifreeze in.
Oh,
Not
come
anymore.
on, Fred,
Definitely.
that-
Used to.
Not anymore.
They
Used to.
used to.
They used to.
When I
Yeah.
was in college.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, so it
Them
was like...
sons of bitches
it was-
had
That's
antifreeze.
like
Yeah, it
Four
was like what
Loko.
happened with Four Loko.
Four Loko was,
Whoa.
I mean, that was the OG. Like, you want to get messed up, you pop a Four Loko.
I thought about running a Nucky Thompson operation with Four Loko whenever they banned it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I don't know if you know who Nucky Thompson is.
No.
So
No,
whenever
I thought that was...
So whenever he was a guy back in the day during the Prohibition era who was selling alcohol to people,
Yeah.
he was the guy. So whenever they banned that Four Loko in Pittsburgh, there were still like 4 to 5 liquor stores that had the OG Four Loko. So Nick was a whole new human on his Four Loko. I've never seen Nick Moraldo operate the way he was operating on Four Loko. Four Loko was the super Nick. I would just come back for a weekend. Nick Moraldo would be on top of the bar having a time of his life. I'm like, who the hell is this guy? They're like, that's Four Loko Nick. And I'm like, I love Four Loko Nick. And then obviously he was hungover for 3-4 days because the amount of alcohol and caffeine and everything in that. But next weekend, lo and behold, Four Loko Nick is back. So then they start banning Four Loko. And I'm like, I'm never going to see my friend how I've seen him in his best light. So we thought about buying all of the Four Loko in Pennsylvania, having an underground store. Turns out we could have went to jail for a long time. We looked into it. We decided not to do it. But yeah, Four Loko and I guess Fireball had a different start. Fireball removed the chemical from its recipe in
Propylene glycol. That's right.
Is generally recognized as safe when used in food at levels not to exceed current good manufacturing practice, but nonetheless, Fireball has removed that from its recipe. Hey, thank you, Fireball.
Thank you.
Removing the
are
grit.
we doing, man?
We're trying to have a good time.
Yeah, exactly.
Humans have been trying to do this since the beginning. You have no idea. How do you think people started like smoking the back of toads?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Bingo.
Like there's a thing now that people do. You smoke the back of toads and DMT goes through the roof. It's like, think about the experiments people have been doing for a long time trying to get messed up. De-ice some
There's people on
planes.
this show that I've heard like to experiment a lot. I heard that was like a big thing around here.
That's just AJ drinking his piss and semen.
No, I don't think he's talking about that.
Oh, easy.
I don't think you weren't talking about.
We just opened up another door that I got to hear about.
Well, that was so he didn't waste any of his stuff. AJ believed everything that went into his body deserved to stay in his body, so that's why he played so well and became the all-time leading tackler for the Packers. You're talking about ayahuasca? Is that what you're talking about?
Oh yeah. No, I was. Yeah, you guys.
You going to the
make
jungle
a lot of
anytime
headlines
soon?
Talking pharma.
Wow.
I mean, I'm retired
big
now, so I
pharma.
can do a lot more.
Big Pharma Show.
Could you imagine J.J. Watt was an ayahuasca enthusiast?
Oh, a shaman?
Imagine your big-ass laying in one of those teepees down there.
Yeah.
Just all over. That would be awesome. Hey, JJ, you ever go down in the jungle and do that? Please invite me. I would like to be there. Tone has a question for you, JJ.
Yeah, it'd be like The Rock in The Rundown. But JJ.
Great movie.
Great movie. One of the best. he
Stifler's
has.
in that one, right?
Oh, yeah. Great movie.
Yeah.
I
Christopher
want to
Walken.
talk about the Titans defense and going against Joe Burrow. How does the defense react when they know that the opposing quarterback is hobbled and most likely will not be on the move during the game?
Yeah, there's definitely more things that you can do when you don't have to worry about keeping the guy in the pocket as much as you normally do. As a pass rusher, sometimes coaches will tell you, hey, we got to keep this guy in the pocket because he's very mobile, so you have to keep your rushes limited. When a guy can't move as well, you can definitely open it up. You can, whether it's a spin move underneath or whether it's taken a little bit higher up the field, you have a little bit more liberty to do things. But man, I mean, it's tough right now to watch that and to see that offense and knowing what they're capable of and seeing them the last couple of years and to watch them now. It's really tough, and you want them to be able to get it going. I mean, they have so much talent, especially at the skill positions. And then they bring in a guy like Orlando Brown Jr., and he's supposed to protect that edge, and sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't. And this is just a great job here by the Titans defense. I mean, just straight around the edge, strip sack, and they're just assaulting the pocket. And I mean, that's just a clean, easy sack right around the edge there. They're just dominant.
27-3 at that time. You know what I mean? It's gotten ugly. There's a lot of stats that are not good for Joey Burrow right now. If you were Joey Burrow's coach, and we think Joey Burrow's not going to let them bench him or whatever, but there's been a lot more conversation about resting Joey Burrow for later. But then if they lose too many games, they're going to be out of it anyways. How do you balance that, you think, with Joey, a guy like him?
Yeah, I mean, we're at a point in the season right now. A lot of coaching staffs will look at the season in quarters, which was a lot easier to do with 16 games. You know, we're football players, not mathematicians. 17 divided by 4 is pretty tough. But first quarter of the season is done now. So if you're sitting there at 1-3, you got to figure it out quickly. And that's the tough position. Do you sit him down and make sure he's 100% healthy, or do you say, hey, we are better with Joe Burrow at 70% than we are with his backup at 100%, which I think is what a lot of coaches and teams say. At that position, it's sometimes harder to do than other positions because of how instrumental it is and how movement helps a lot. I mean, the ability to move, especially when your offensive line isn't playing at their top level, is so important.
Yeah, that's what AQ basically just said to me via my ear. It don't matter who's playing quarterback. Bengals offensive line is terrible, pretty much, is what he just mentioned there. And that's a reality, too, that I think hasn't really been chatted about because the combo has been around the calf and he can't move. It's like if somebody could run a 4-2, I don't think it's really going to matter at this stage. This has been 3 years in a row now where that has been a talking point. Last year, they were able to figure it out like week 6, week 7-ish. This year seems to be the same old problem. How come teams can't get offensive lines right, JJ? What do you think?
Oh, I mean, I've seen people say, well, they passed on Penei Sewell and they drafted Jamar Chase. So now they can throw the ball, but they can't protect him. Well, they brought in Orlando Brown Jr. this offseason, a big acquisition to try and protect that side, and it's just not working out right now, and they're getting sacked and they're getting pressure and they can't.
You know, though,
we
right?
know what it looks like.
Hey, going into a game if the O-line stinks, right? Like you guys are watching film, like, hey, we got some out here. Right? You know that.
You certainly know when opportunities await. Yes.
And what is it? Is that a communication, their technique, how they go about doing things, or is there just, hey, this guy's a fish, right? This is the guy that we are going to be going through. What is it mostly, usually?
It is. There's certainly, if there's a guy that's a fish, you know that. But then there's also scheme. Like if a team is going to only block with 5 and they're not going to protect, they're not going to chip with the running back, they're not going to keep a tight end in, that's what you really thrive on. Just as much. I'd rather have a one-on-one against a great guy than a chipper or a edge or like a tight end helping with a fish. And I think AQ can speak to that. Like, there's some offensive lines. I remember when I was playing the Bills one time, and I talked to some of the guys after the game, and they said, our coach told us all week, we're not going to do anything special to try and block him. We're just going to go out there and we're going to be good enough. And then I had 15 quarterback hits that game, and he was like, I think we should have tried something special. Yeah. Like you, if you want to stop somebody great, you have to put 2 or 3 guys on them. But the problem is, if the rest of your line can't handle their one-on-ones, you can't afford to spend that much capital and then not have guys out in routes. So, I mean, AQ,
why don't you do it? Why don't you guys block better, AQ?
There's so many things. I mean, we've talked about this so many times, but like when you get JJ, when you get Aaron, like they're the only
Donald.
2 guys that in the history of my playing career where we actually like called the protection 99. Like it was like, hey, this is 99 protection. Who gives a shit where everybody else is? Find him. If he's walking around, we're sliding that way. Back, you got to hold up if they bring a linebacker. And at the time, like it was LA, and they had there was a pretty good linebacker who rushed the passer a lot, and that's what they would do. They would put him opposite Aaron. So
Robert Quinn?
No, it was
Leonard Floyd.
No, it was an off the ball backer. Beside the point, but they would always set him off.
Pretty big part of the story.
I know. I'm trying to
But
think.
we would slide there. But then you
paint
would,
the picture for me a little bit more.
I'm trying to think who it was.
It wasn't Bobby
Chris
Wagner,
Long?
right?
Littleton? Was it Corey Littleton?
Gardeck.
Singleton?
Corey Littleton, I think, is who it was, but he was a bigger backer that you would put on the back.
With 4 sacks, AJ. 4 sacks.
Killing it.
Gardick's a dog. Gardick's a dog. Anyways, Gardick, you sorry.
Yeah, but like they would
so
always.
we don't know who the guy is.
Yeah,
Well,
not
It was
sure.
Corey Littleton. That's who it was. But they would
Okay,
put
good.
him
Are you
opposite,
sure?
and they would blitz him, so the line would slide this way, and then you'd match up a 250-pound backer on a back and make him have to block. That's the issue, right? Like when you slide to here, now the back has to hold up, and we saw some clips of backs getting blown up this past
Hey,
week.
that Madison block.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw that.
God. That dude.
That's what you don't want to have happen.
I don't think we have the clip, but I am very thankful for Madison, and so is Kirk Cousins and the 2 old people that work on Kirk Cousins every single week, because he actually took a human bullet for Kirk Cousins with his face and his upper body and got absolutely crushed. But it's not as easy as just, hey, block this guy, because everybody else's job is going to get heightened.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. And then the beauty of that for us is if I know, like he said, there's teams that Mike 99. So if a team is going to Mike point me and slide the line to me, now we just schedule all of our games to play against that. So we know where the center is going. So now
Set
we
you up
come
for
and
picks.
pick the center.
There it is. Yeah.
Yep. And we wrap right around. That's the type of stuff that starts to happen.
So it's not just as easy as block that guy. It's double that guy. There's some other stuff going on. Got it. Noted. Go ahead, AJ.
Let's say you're playing a quarterback like a Lamar Jackson, a guy that can break the pocket and really kill you. How do you have to coordinate your rush all game? You can't just have 2 guys flying around the edge. You have to always make sure someone is wrapping around to secure the contain or whatever. Like, how difficult is that to do for 4 straight quarters?
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks, man. It's so hard, and he's so good at it, and he's so fast and quick. You really do have to try and condense that pocket. And a lot, like I said earlier, a lot of coaches will almost force their guys to bull rush to keep them in that pocket, which we don't love. And then you also run a lot of games. You'll run twists and stunts so that you have somebody looping out to the outside so that if he does escape, then you got somebody going for him. But, man, it's so tough. When he can do this, especially up the B gap, which is one of the toughest to stop, because you got to have a guy taking the A gap and pushing up the middle, and you have to have the edges. The only advantage to somebody like that, and I've been fortunate enough on it once, maybe twice with Lamar, is that they move so much that sometimes you can get lucky and he'll like spin out of the pocket right into you for a sack if you're too high up the field. And I got one of those, and it was beautiful.
Yeah, and Lamar feels like they are, right? I mean, if last week is any indication of anything, and I know DTR threw a ball backwards and they threw, there's a lot without Deshaun playing over there in Cleveland. But if you watch how Baltimore played there, offensively, that was the best game they've had in a long time. And Cleveland's defense has been at the top of the thing. Yep. I think there's a lot of optimism in Baltimore right now. A lot of optimism in Buffalo as well. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, JJ, it's supposed that, Von Miller might come back. He said on his show that it's about 90% chance that he'll be back and he'll be playing in London. What's it like for a defense, especially Buffalo, who just lost their number 1 corner in Trey White, to get a Von Miller back? And does that just make everybody's life in Buffalo 1,000 times easier because he's going to be the one rushing the passer?
Yes. A lockdown corner or a dominant pass rusher can make your defense so much easier. A lockdown corner can take away one side of the field, or they can take away one receiver and absolutely make the rest of the defense's job easier. A dominant pass rusher can do very similar things. Now you're forcing either protections to go your way to open everybody else up, or you're forcing that quarterback to get the ball out of his hands extremely quickly, which makes everybody's job easier. So a guy like Von, who's done it at such a high level for a long time and won multiple Super Bowls, it's really, really big for that defense, and it'll be fun to see him fly around.
He was defensive MVP conversation the first 10 weeks last year. And then they lose him and look like a different defense. Now they're playing great, and he's getting added to the mix. Good for Buffalo, good for Brandon Beane. Darius has the last question for you here, JJ.
Yeah, speaking of optimism, your former teammate, DeMeco Ryans, head coach, we get a little peek of like some post-game, speeches to the team and stuff like that. His team figured out with some backups on the O-line how to slow down a great pass rush. But what is it about DeMeco that he's got those guys rolling? Like, I know obviously they hit on C.J. Stroud, hit on Will, but Nick inherited a mess over there in Houston. So what is it with DeMeco that has those boys rolling?
Yeah, I got to sit in on meetings this week with DeMeco. Obviously, I've known him since I came into the league as a rookie, and he was my captain, and I got to learn and watch him. But sitting in his meetings was fascinating because he's brilliant. He's an extremely smart football mind and has unbelievable IQ. But more importantly, it's his communication skills. He has an ability to get that message across to the players and to share his knowledge in a way that they understand. Some coaches have all the knowledge in the world, but they can't relate it to their players and get them to comprehend it. D'Amico has the ability to do both, and it's really, really fun to watch when you sit in that meeting room, and he has such a young team, but he's getting them to understand this 20 years of football knowledge that he has, and he's feeding it to these young guys, and they're eating it up, and they're getting better every single day.
Hey, you're on CBS this weekend?
I am.
Let's go.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. You're in New York.
I will try not to drop an F-bomb there. I don't think it's the same rules over there.
Could you imagine in your suit just the first time? I'll tell you what, this team, Boomer's head might explode.
Seriously.
I couldn't even fathom it.
Here's a good story for you, real quick before I go. So my first CBS job, first week of the season, I'm going in the day before, and I'm just going through, and they're saying everything. And they said, hey, Boomer has his radio show every week. You should call in as JJ from Wisconsin and just mess with him. So I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. So they hand me a cell phone. I call in, and I'm on Boomer's show, and I'm like, hey, Boom, what's going on? And this is JJ from Wisconsin. And he goes, and I'm like messing around with him, and I said something like, oh, yeah, I can't believe all this shit you guys got to do every day. And he goes, whoa, like, whoa. I didn't know it was live on ESPN.
I think it's CBS.
So he came back to the studio the next day and he was like, hey, man, like, you can't do that type of stuff. He was like mad at me, and I was like, oh.
I'll tell you what, I've never met Boomer, but he heard of what we did one time,
Yep.
and his first reaction was, I work hard. I deserve that. And I'm like, all right, my work ethic is always going to try to be at Boomer's level.
Mm-hmm.
Please tell him we said hello, and tell that whole crew we appreciate what they've done for football, and good luck this weekend. Hey, let's keep winning to Burnley, huh?
Yeah, let's go. Up the Clarets. We got Chelsea on Saturday. Huge match.
Up the Currents?
No, they stink now.
Up the Clarets.
Oh, never mind.
Clarets.
Claret?
Claret and blue. Claret and blue.
Claret jug?
Claret.
What's a claret?
Steal one from those Chelsea
It's a
lads,
color.
JJ. Steal one. Steal one.
Yes. 3 points. We could use a nice 3.
Yeah,
So what? You guys
Claret.
going to go back down? You don't win? Is that how it works, right?
That's the word.
If we finish in the bottom 3, yes, the bottom 3 teams go down. The top 3 teams in the league below come up.
Yeah, but you guys aren't going to be in the bottom 3, right?
No.
Well, hold on now, JJ. Are you
You don't know shit about
Ladies and gentlemen, JJ Watt, thank you, buddy. All right, so what did we cover with him? We covered drinking de-icing stuff.
Yep.
He swore.
Dropped an F-bomb.
Yeah. What else? We buried his team, Burnley, there at the end.
Well,
Thank
Connor
you for doing
did.
that.
Yep, of course. I watched them, so once you guys get eyes on them too, maybe you'll come on
yesterday.
over to
They
the
won.
side.
They won. First
Yeah.
Premier League win yesterday.
Yeah,
Against
Luton Town.
Yeah, Luton Town. I mean, they've been relegated 8 different times. What are we talking about here?
Let's talk about some stuff going on around the football world. Some stats are coming out about the brand new Lions. Not only is Dan Campbell awesome, and Penne's, how old's Penne?
22, third year in the league.
So this dude's been dominating adults
Yeah.
since he's like 19 years old. And obviously Dan Campbell and them are helping shape him. You know what I mean? Because your college years, whenever you're 18 to 22, you're kind of developing. Penne is pretty much developed in Detroit under Dan Campbell's leadership and has set the tone for him. Let's talk about the defensive side of the ball, though. Stats have come out here. And if I'm reading this accurately, I would like to, through 4 games, the Detroit Lions, the brand new Lions. Run defense has only given up 243 yards, which is the least in the entire NFL. It marks the fewest rushing yards allowed by Detroit since at least 1945, and we just assumed that they lost track of the stats from before then. That's why they said at least. They're dominant, both sides of the line. That is winning football. As much as football has changed, football has remained the same. If you win the trenches on this Trenches Wednesday, you're going to win it all. Is Detroit poised to make an actual run? I mean, that stat is alarming. You would assume the Cleveland Browns, who have been so dominant on the defensive side of the ball, and you would assume some of these other teams that have been great on the defensive side of the ball would own this. Instead, it's not only Ben Johnson and the offense in Detroit that's doing it, the defense is dominating. How do you feel about him, AJ? And this feels like a stat that means a lot as opposed to some stats that mean absolutely nothing.
Yeah, when you are dominating both lines, the offense and defensive line, when you like listen to a lot of coaches, a lot of college coaches, like, well, I build my team through my line, the interior line, like D-line, O-line, and then we kind of build out from there. Because if we have those two situations under control, like, we're never going to be terrible. I don't think you can be a terrible team if your O-line and D-line is playing above average. You'll still be okay and win some football games. So this is for people like Foxy and Lions fans that have been struggling for a couple years, and and hoping and wishing for greatness. Like, this is a great stat for them, I think. Like, hey, no matter what happens, if golf has an off day, if something happens, if someone else has an off day where you have a few drops, a few turnovers, we have a good enough defense that we can win some games we probably would never have won in the past.
It's also great for, like, the team matching the city.
Yes.
Yep.
You know, like
as a human
everything.
being, as a fan of the Detroit Lions, I actually feel tougher when I watch this team and this offensive line just pound the rock down the field. And then the other team's trying to do the same thing, and they can't because our defensive line is so good. I actually feel tougher as a human because of it.
They represent the city of Detroit beautifully.
Oh, yeah.
They're doing incredible here early. Are they going to be able to sustain this, AQ?
I think so. I think I looked at it this morning. They're 5th in time of possession on offense, which helps these stats on defense. It's working hand in hand. We're playing team football now, and that's what they were not doing last year. They're running the heck out of the ball on offense, and they're stopping the run on defense. Keys to victory from every coordinator on Wednesday when they give their presentations: run the ball, stop the run, and they're doing that.
Always been football.
Yep, even still in 2023, defense is, hey, let's stop the run first, make them one-dimensional, and then when they do get in passing situations, Hutchinson is up at the top of the league with pressures. Kaminsky on the interior line, he is an absolute dog. You know, shout out to that coaching staff, man. Caught some heat a couple
AG,
years ago.
right?
AG,
Yes, sir.
Kelvin Shepard, our former teammate.
Trying to get out of town last year, weren't they?
What's that?
Yeah.
They were trying to get AG out of town, weren't they?
They were horrendous, though. The first 8 weeks, is that how long it was last year?
1 and 6.
Or 7 weeks, I guess.
Yep.
They were so bad. They fire a secondary coach.
Yeah.
So the corner, I don't know what this secondary coach is doing.
They were on pace to be the worst defense in the history of the NFL.
And if I'm that secondary coach that got fired, I'm trying to tell people that I'm not that person, but literally the removal of one person just completely spurred them to become this dominating force that they are.
Yeah.
So I guess you got to lose one to gain something everywhere else. But that one needs to not tell anybody that he was the one, because I don't know what he was doing in there. I don't know what message he was sending.
I'm thinking the Steelers might have to do the same thing here if I'm reading the room right. Just saying.
Whoa.
They've been drafting well, too. Drafting well, bringing guys in that fit their culture. Obviously, Brian Branch has been awesome. Sutton has been playing well, getting Moses
Ragnow
back.
is a center. Like, Ragnow is there, Jason Kelsey. Like, Ragnow is awesome as well. Watch that dude play. He's everywhere.
First round pick.
I think he played with a broken neck or something.
Yeah, he did 2 years ago.
Which, once again, makes Detroit even tougher.
Yeah,
exactly.
This has been Trenches Wednesday on ESPN. We'll continue on YouTube and ESPN Plus. The Hitman, Harrison Smith, will join us in about 10 minutes or so. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change your life. Goodbye. Yes, that thing's now 10 seconds off.
Oh
no.
Of that thing there. We got a new clock. It should get good, but we're trying to figure out how to.
Yeah, earlier we
actual
said
new
negative,
clock.
not positive, and it was really supposed to be positive, not negative.
Well, I think we were potentially speaking different terms with negative and positive. I think we were
Seems
potentially.
like it might be.
yeah, that's not.
There's because we got a 5-second delay because JJ and Darius
Right.
and Coach Pagano
Of course.
and everybody does their thing, so Dick Good's got to do his thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, trying to set the clock accurately is certainly not something that has happened thus far with our ESPN.
No, speaking of the clock and technology, make sure everyone turn off your phones and your Apple Watches, because if you hear the national emergency system, you will turn into a zombie.
Oh, no.
No, we don't have that. We're not saying people at home need to
What
do
if
this
you didn't get the?
because I think they're actually. I think this test is rather important. Now, why is this happening?
Well,
There's certainly some.
Got to be prepared, right? We got to be prepared. Is that why?
For what? It's been a long,
That's what I'm asking you a question. What are they preparing us for?
And conspiracy fodder is certainly heating up, but like for us on microphones, I guess if we run it and ours happens to go through microphone, then there's a government fine that comes alongside.
Yeah, and you don't want to mess.
So we're not saying that you watchers should turn off your phones, but we have been given a strong piece of advice that we should not be the ones who have our phones on through the microphone, because then you got to deal with the government and a fine that potentially comes through for a fake something, because obviously the show's recorded and put on the internet.
Right.
So it'll run again, not just right now when it's happening.
Uh-oh.
So we will be turning off our phones in a matter of moments, but I am interested on why this is happening right now. And I think we all are, but it's just for our safety.
Yeah. Once again, reiterate if you don't want to have the virus activated inside of your body, turn off your phone.
There's a chance that is true. And you got to be aware that sometimes that's what they're doing, but alien invasion. Duh.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Today, there will be a nationwide emergency alert test on cell phones, wireless devices, radios, and TVs. Okay, at 2:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's about to happen. Hopefully it works, by the way. Hopefully the test works.
I hope.
But I do appreciate the fact that somebody had to make a decision and be like, we should see, right?
Got to make sure.
Because they haven't done this with cell phones in a long time.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's FEMA.
So does this apply to Apple
Yes, it
Watches
does.
as well?
Yeah,
Yes.
I believe
It
everything.
does.
Everything. What about so like any computers? What about computers hooked up to iMessage or whatever?
Yeah, so like I got this iPad here. We got 2 computers here. We got a cell phone.
I'm on FaceTime here, so mine's going to go off probably, won't it?
Let me see.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Interesting. Gonna have to hang up on you at about 2:15. Don't want to be eating that.
That would make sense.
And then Harrison's gonna be on.
We should probably tell the Vikings.
So he has a
He's going to be on a
hard
he's going to be on a
2:20,
phone calling.
So we'll get him
Oh,
out.
this would be awesome.
We'll get him out
No.
2:19 because he has a
Nope.
hard out at 2:20. So we won't worry about the Vikings. You potentially are our only problem. So
Way
no
to
matter
go.
I
what,
can mute it. I can mute it if we have an issue. Don't
I
worry.
don't think that's possible. I think the muting thing is not.
Yeah,
Real.
I don't think you can mute it.
His mic.
Well, no, his
I can mute my microphone. I can mute my mic.
Yep,
There
we
it
go.
is.
There we go.
But is it going through your computer, not your microphone?
Yeah, do you
It
just like
shouldn't go
respond?
through your computer's microphone.
No.
Like even like if Harrison's on his FaceTime, it whenever you have an alarm, you don't hear the alarm on the other side.
The email was hilarious though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you guys,
Can't have it.
because we wouldn't have known if we weren't with ESPN. All of our phones would have went off at the same time. We would have probably started dancing.
Oh, yeah.
We're safe.
Yep.
And the thing, like we would have been the whole thing. And then we would just put the show up on YouTube. All right, we'll see who watches this later. And then it'll be like 2-3 weeks later, it'll be like, you now have a $175,000 fine from the government. For what? What did we do? Well, you guys had government warnings and sirens on a show that is now radiating through the entire internet. It's like, what do you want us to do? We're live, whatever happened. We don't care. Pay us or shut up. It's like,
To make sure, do you want us to just turn off the mics from back here so it's completely silent at 2:20?
I think we'll just turn off our phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like we're good with.
Yeah, let's not worry too much, guys.
Let's not overthink it. Just turn them off. Take a little
The
time.
email told me we should worry. The email that I read
A lot
told
of
me.
devices out there.
Yeah, because, I mean, we got Apple Watches on people's.
Where's Mitt?
Well, Mitt's locked up.
Yeah,
He's
that'd
in a
be good.
hole.
Tell
He
Mitt.
probably
That'd be good.
broke his devices recently.
Tell him it's a test.
So
it's not real.
Mitt is on 1-833-432-366. We're not going to answer any phones.
Nah.
We're packed, actually.
Yeah.
We got
Yeah.
Harrison and Scott Smith. Don't call.
Yep.
We got Scott Hansen and Harrison Smith. We are not. But Mitt's in the phone lab back there. And yesterday, we're having a pretty real conversation. I forget what it was. There was not a laugh point.
No, someone was on, I think.
It
actually.
was-
It's Rogers.
And
Yeah.
he's just popping, screaming like. And,
Was that him?
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
had to be.
I don't know what that
I don't know if
was.
there was a bird squawking in here. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? And then 2 minutes later, we're like, what is Mitt?
What
watching?
happened?
We don't know. I still don't know. We don't know if Mitt's watching another show.
I think typically he has the show up on like his laptop, and then he's got another little device, and he's always watching Tom and Jerry in there.
All right, let's get to a break. We'll be back on the other side. Big shot. I really enjoyed J.J. Watt on this show.
Yeah.
Me too. Aside from the F-bomb.
He's great.
He's a human. I actually appreciated the F-bomb.
Can't,
Let's not make it a habit.
can't have it. Can't win with it.
I got my one out.
One.
You got 1. I got 2. Gump's got 7.
Yep.
Chuck's got 1.
You want to make a scoreboard
No,
for that?
2. I only got 2.
This guy swears like a ship painter.
It does.
Hell yeah.
It's unbelievable. Not a bad little Wednesday here.
No.
There is some news coming out. The NFL has tweaked its gambling punishments
Yeah.
with the modern era, which is good news. We think smart news.
Yes.
There's still going to be people pissed, but I like the fact that the NFL has adapted a little bit with the modern times. Not their normal thing.
No.
We also have Harrison Smith joining us here in about 5 minutes or so. Cannot wait to chat with him after his historic Sunday.
Dominated.
His stats were bananas. And then 7 hours of commercial-free football host Scott Hansen will join us. I have no idea how long that convo will go.
We'll see.
Feel it out.
I've been spending a lot of time with this guy, though.
Oh, yeah.
I can't wait to chat with him. And he gave us a shout-out the other day on Red Zone.
Yep.
Which I'm very appreciative of. All right, be a friend, tell a friend something nice. We'll be back in about 5. Take 5!
5!
I feel really good. Like my body feels fresh, my
my mind clear. Like, I'm gonna go do it tonight, I think, you know? Like, I'm gonna go do it. 77,899 people going bananas. I thought I wouldn't be able to sleep last night. I thought that I'd wake up with high anxiety. That is not the case at all. I am so ready to get out there and do what I was put on this earth to do. I'll be walking out of that thing off.
This is a big night because 11 years ago tonight, I had my match with Jerry Lawler wrestling.
Come on!
Broadcast colleagues, same night, 11 years apart, could become the first undefeated broadcast team in the history of WWE wrestling.
Not could. We will become.
Only two superstars have actually commentated on the same WrestleMania that they had a match on. Pat McAfee joins that club tonight. Pontius is in and Party Boy's here. Pontius is here. Party Boy is in WrestleMania. Pontius' cheeks are out in WrestleMania. Now he's putting that thing up on Sami Zayn. I would like to say that that's the first time I've seen Pontius' ass, but that is not the case. Hey, look it. Weeman's here. Punches and bunches from Wee-Man. Wee-Man's so angry. Oh, look at this. Body slam. Wee-Man body slamming Sami Zayn. Wee-Man used to kick himself in the face. Are you kidding me? Now he's body slamming Sami Zayn.
You know, I've walked out that ramp into this setting probably 10 million times in my mind. There was a time where every time I walked out of a door, I was acting as if I was walking into a WWE arena. So tonight, whenever I feel that energy, just hoping that I don't have a heart attack immediately. I'm hoping that I don't get too gassed, and I'm hoping I put on a damn good show because I've been thinking about this for 23 years. Let's walk the grill and do this thing, huh? I'm prepared, I'm ready, I'm excited.
Hey, who do you want to see tonight?
I want to see Pat McAfee tonight.
Showboat, he looked Pat McAfee with a right hand to Theory, and Theory stunned early. And now McAfee up over the top. McAfee with a spinning elbow.
Moment.
Theory's in trouble. Hurricane. And McAfee driving Theory running over the announce table. Theory bouncing off the announce table, and Pat McAfee's beating the hell out of Austin Theory. Tim and Sally McAfee watching their kid beat the hell out of a douchebag.
You remember this?
Oh, a little payback from Friday night. Get him, Pat. Multitasking. McAfee.
Coming up, McAfee
Lands on his feet.
Austin Theory not sure what to do. Holy moly! I'm a sick
For the brand.
And so is this superplex.
The finishing maneuver. The A-Town down for Austin Theory.
He hits this, it's over.
McAfee rolls him up, shoulders are down. Does he have him? He does! McAfee wins! Yes! McAfee wins!
Dreams come true. Believe it, Michael. Your broadcast partner has earned himself a WrestleMania moment.
I can't believe it. This is absolutely incredible. Yes, Pat. Yes.
McMahon gets it so my God.
Oh, from behind. What the hell's going on? And then are you kidding me?
Get yourself the shot.
McAfee beat his little punk. Oh, yeah, that insulted.
I dreamt of being Steve Austin. I dreamt of being in a building when that glass breaks and all of a sudden the toughest son of a bitch on earth comes out. The fact that I never got to see it as a kid, then I get to watch his last match live, it was awesome. I got beer in my ears. Like, it feels like I got water in my ears. I got beer in both of my ears. But I just had the incredible opportunity and honor to chug beers with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Have a WrestleMania match that Vince McMahon was a part of. I'm living on cloud 50 right now, dude. This is sweet. What a day, what a dream, what a life. Now I'm gonna have a couple more Steve Weisers. What? Maybe a little whiskey. What? Maybe some carbs, because I've been ketoing for 4 weeks. What? Hey, fucking
Why?
Let's
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for. The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers, you pig! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Sport! Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Trenches Wednesday, October 4th, 2023. Hour 3 of this program starts now. Football is happening. That's A.J. Hawk, the all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers. The Toxic Table is here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. One half of the Hammer, Dahn. Cowboys Tone Diggs is here. 12-year NFL vet, Super Bowl champion A.Q. Shipley. 9-year NFL vet, Darius J. Butler. And joining us now live from the great state of Minnesota is a 12-year NFL vet out of Notre Dame, a place that we were able to visit a couple weeks ago. What a beautiful campus.
Beautiful.
What a beautiful campus. They didn't like Connor, but I loved everything about it. This past weekend, he had 14 tackles, 3 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, and a forced fumble against the Panthers in a game-winning attempt. Ladies and gentlemen, the Hitman, Harrison Smith. What's up, dude?
How's it going?
Hey, pretty good game, huh? Were you just seeing the field
Thanks,
well,
man.
or you're seeing the field well, or what happened there?
I mean, a couple of them I was a free runner, so I just got to make the play, and it was good though. It was a good team effort. We needed to win. We were 0-3, so kind of clawing back right now.
Okay, so how are the vibes over there? Because last year, and you guys know this stat, but you're the first Vikings player we've had on the show this particular year. We've been fans of the Vikings for a long time. You guys have been going through it this year, so we haven't been able to chat with everybody over there. Last year, 11-0, one-score games. This year, you were 0-3 going in this past weekend because of one-score games. Did it feel like the football gods were working against you guys because of everything that they gave you last year? Or what is the difference, you think, between this year and last year for you guys?
I mean, sometimes it feels like that, but I'd say the main difference is just the turnover differential. Not making enough on defense, not holding on to it as well as we should in those early games, special teams, offense. So we're working to correct that.
How do you feel? How's the body feel 4 weeks into this? Obviously, you just had is that the best game you've ever had? That feels like a historic game right there.
It's a big stat game. Like as a safety, sometimes your best games are low stat games. Like you cover well, you do your assignment. But from a stat standpoint, yeah, that one was pretty big, I guess.
Flying home, the PR guy probably hands you a sheet. Hey, did you know this is the shit you did today? Is that what happened after the game, or when did you realize it?
Yeah, that was in the locker room. I was like, yeah, that was a lot more than I realized. Because in the moment, you're just kind of doing your thing, making tackles, whatever, trying to get us in the right calls. It was fun. Those games are fun. We kind of when you get a lot of action.
Hey, 3 sacks. You just propelled yourself into top 10 in the league in sacks. Let's make sure we keep that up. TJ Watt, Khalil Mack got 6. Now Harrison's on. Hey, Harrison's on tail there. Myles Garrett needs to watch it. Got a safety in Minnesota doing his thing. Go ahead, AJ.
Harrison, you got to see Bryce Young up close and personal many times. What do you think of him? Do you think he has a bright future in this league?
Yeah, he made some plays that I was like, okay, this guy's got some juice. He can move around, extend some plays, and he's got a good arm on him. And it's hard to come in as a rookie, but he'll be just fine.
Hey, there's some stat. It's like a 30-20 stat that we saw this morning. It's either like 30 sacks, 20 picks, 30 stats. You enter this club. The only other people that have that are all Hall of Famers. 12 years into this, nobody ever talks about the hitman. Nobody. Ever. The only conversation that ever comes up about you is like, hey, the way this guy disguises stuff, it is remarkable. He's able to hide, appear. You don't know if he's going into cover two. You don't know if he's doing this. That's kind of only been the chatter outside of that. But as these stats continue to stack up and the years continue to stack up, you're putting together a Hall of Fame career and nobody knows about it really outside of Minnesota. Hate that, love that, realize that, and how do we change it?
Like that's something I honestly really don't worry about that. The disguise thing is probably your fault from when Rodgers was on the show. So I'm gonna blame you for that one. But yeah, I mean, I just try to stack up good plays and good games, and when I'm done, whatever it looks like, it looks like. If people like watching it, that's cool. If they don't, I still enjoy doing it. So,
well, you're good. Okay, you're really good at the football.
Hell yeah.
You're really, really good at the football. 12 years in the NFL. You feel old?
Man, sometimes I try to fight it. Like I'll start to catch myself being like, oh, back in the day, this is what it was like. So I try to avoid that as much as possible. I try to never think about like my body not feeling young again or anything like that. Just don't even consider it. Just keep going. Whatever I need to do to get ready for the next game, get it done, get ready to go.
What are we doing? Anything weird? You know, AJ drank his piss. Are you doing anything weird now that you're getting a little bit older?
I haven't drank my piss yet.
Smart.
I do some weird stretching stuff now for sure. Kind of like I saw some stuff like Ichiro used to do.
Oh yeah.
And so some like kind of open your body up on almost like a.
Hey, we got nothing but space here. Because I would like to maybe start doing this too. There's probably a lot of people watching. If you would like to show us, we'd love to kind of.
I don't have the machine. I don't have the machine with me right now, but it's basically like a pulley system. You attach your arms and your ankles and just kind of stretch yourself out and
Mr. Gray
work on your flexibility.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Where do you keep that
it actually
machine?
looks like that. People like. So I built a machine at my place in Tennessee and here in Minnesota, and everyone that sees them are like, "What are you doing?"
Hey, whatever keeps you going, man. And obviously, you're playing your best ball, and the boys have some questions for you. We'll definitely dive into that. What's Flores been like over there? What has it been like this year under the new system? Obviously, not the hottest start, but what have you learned from his style of offense that has made you better, and how do you think it's going to translate for the rest of the season?
He's obviously very aggressive, and he's kind of been that way his whole career. We're doing some different things here and there, and but the thing about Flo is like he's very straightforward. He's very determined. You kind of know where you stand. You know what he wants out of you, and that makes it pretty. I don't want to say easy, but it makes it like very black and white as far as what he expects out of us, and within that, the pressure stuff is fun. The way we're trying to do things is some of it's new to me. As long as I've been around, and it's fun to learn new stuff.
Yeah, I assume that's like refreshing. I assume like because you're old. Hey, you're old as shit, dude.
No, I know.
You got these pulley systems you're putting in these sex rooms that you have. I mean, you're getting old. You know what I mean? But having something like having to learn, I feel like that is probably refreshing for you. Is that kind of what you felt this offseason with him coming in?
Yeah, definitely. The first couple OTAs, I missed the first couple when I was watching it. I was watching the defense, and I was like, man, I need to learn this stuff because I don't exactly know what we're doing. And just like having to kind of press yourself that way, get out of your comfort zone a little bit. It does. It kind of sparks you a little bit, makes you feel a little youthful. So I think it's a good thing.
Hell yeah. Darius has a question for you.
You've been around for a long time. We just mentioned play for a few different coordinators with very different styles. So like if it's a younger player on either side of the ball watching, like how have you been productive? Like what goes into that preparation for you to be productive in so many different systems?
That's a good question. So taking it way back to college, I actually played some like Sam linebacker in a 4-3 in college. So I think that helped me just understanding like how to fit up runs and how the the front and the linebackers work and how the safeties fit into that. And then getting to the league, like my first couple years, it was more like cover 2, cover 4 system. And then with Zim, it was a little more aggressive, more matchy coverage.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ed Donatel, more like the Vic Fangio kind of shell defense, and now with Flo. So I've had some good experiences, but I'd say the main thing is like figuring out your main role in every play. Like what's the thing you need to take care of first, and where do you go from there? And I think working that way allows you to kind of take care of your job and then expand from there. No matter what's asked from you. The thing I love about safety is you can get involved in every level of the defense. It's not always just coverage. I always hated being described as like a box safety, even though I'm down there a lot and I like being down there, but I also like being back and blitzing and doing it all, because it just kind of all goes together. And then that's when you can make the disguises work for you and make it a little tougher with the quarterback.
Hey, your hair looks sick, though. You took the hat off in the middle of that thing. Good flow right now. You feel good about where your hair game's at?
Yeah, it was a little longer, so I'm trying to grow it back.
Oh, you're embarrassed.
But it's in a decent spot right now.
Yeah, it looks good. Looks good. You're playing great football.
Yep.
Hey, maybe keep it this length forever. AQ has a question for you.
Yeah, Harrison, with the college game infiltrating the NFL a lot more every year, with all the shifts, all the motions, all the eye candy, how do you let all that stuff not affect your eyes with your reads moving forward?
Yeah, it's hard. The game's changed so much since I got into the league. Like you said, with all the motions and we played Miami last year and Tyreek ran like the jet motion, and then he ran a post and was like on top of us so fast. I was like, that's not even like a play that exists. So there's like all these new things that are constantly coming about, just because guys are like, I don't know if it's guys are getting like more freaky fast and athletic, and then coaches are like realizing what you can really do with this stuff to make it hard on defenses. So kind of like I said with the playing in different defenses, like it always starts with like what do I need to take care of here? And sometimes it feels weird to not be affected by those motions and stuff. But
we muted him. Hey, we muted you right now because we've been told that we'll get like a multiple $100,000 fine if that thing makes its way through our microphones. Happy to hear your phone's working. You'll be safe if like an alien invasion happens, anything like that. Is it still still going off?
I think it's good now. We're good.
We survived.
Wow. Not a zombie.
They're 2 minutes
2 minutes
off.
early.
What's the deal? I was told 2:20. Is that clock on? Is it 2:18 where you are?
Yeah.
Or 1:18?
118.
119.
118 for me.
2 minutes early.
This government, I'll tell you what.
What time's this 2 o'clock meeting?
People lost their
Hey, better early than late.
Yeah.
What is the hell?
Punctuality.
Thanks a lot, Biden.
Better early. What's your problem?
It's on the government. Hey, look, it's on them. We're trying to prepare. You're screwing us up.
I mean, what is your problem? Sorry about that. You were in the middle of a great answer, and obviously the government said we're going to have to make sure everybody's prepared for whenever
they shut it down.
They shut it down. You shut it down, just like you've been doing all season. Is this your best season thus far? You feel like you're about to have your best season thus far going in?
I don't know. Just keep playing. I don't know.
Those first 3 weeks had to suck. I mean, those had to be absolutely heart-wrenching, like terrible, especially in your 12th year with what you guys were able to do last year. So whenever you have this Carolina game, I assume it's a very motivating thing for the entire building. Is that an accurate depiction?
Yeah. I'd say that's accurate. You can kind of feel that, and every year is like the rosters are so different, and the makeup of the team is so different that you don't know, if guys are used to winning or not used to winning. So being able to put a plan together and execute it and actually see it follow through, I think is good for us. Good for the young guys, good for the old guys like myself to just kind of get a little boost of confidence.
A lot of football left. AJ has a question for you.
Hey, are you still flying planes? I know last time we spoke, you're pretty experienced pilot.
Yeah, I haven't flown in a couple years.
Smart.
I flew for like maybe 6-7 years, pretty frequently. Had my I got a plane and everything. I had a Bonanza. I was flying around. Did some pretty cool stuff. But now I got into golf, as you guys know. Seeing you guys out in Tahoe. Yep. So golf takes up most of my time now.
We're happier on the ground, not in a Bonanza.
Yep.
Happier.
Yeah. Well, sometimes. But yeah, I figure that there's just not enough time right now to be as safe as I'd like.
Oh, look how cool you are.
What is happening?
That was a B-25 I got to fly in.
Jeez.
And like get down in the little the gunner seat when we were landing. It was pretty sweet. Fagan Fighters Museum in Minnesota. Hot spot.
Hey, shout out to Fagan.
People?
Yeah, did you shoot anybody?
Was it loaded?
It wasn't, but and they had the gun up.
Rooster flares!
Put your head out of the top of the plane. It was pretty sick.
Oh.
Did you have Hitman on your little suit onesie thing?
Ooh.
No, that wasn't around yet.
When'd that come?
Paul Allen, the guy that does our games, he was calling me that for a while. Maybe after my rookie year, I think I got kicked out of a game, and he gave me that hit or that nickname.
He's awesome. He's very
he's good.
Yeah, he is very talented. Yeah, we got the chance to watch Seahawks-Vikings preseason game.
Yeah.
In the NFL Network. It was on NFL Network, and home team was Seattle. They had Seattle's call on it, and then NFL Network was like, technical difficulties. Sorry, we're going to go over to Minnesota's coverage, and it was a Paul Allen showcase. He is a legend on a microphone over there.
He's good. He does horse races too, and he's
whoa!
You would love it.
I know you have to leave soon. Ty has a question for you, though, about this past week.
Yeah, Harrison, just curious. After being teammates with him for so long, did you find yourself at any point on Sunday being like, man, every chance I get, I just want to hit the piss out of Thielen. Just try to knock his block off every opportunity I get.
No, not really. It is kind of weird, like, when you get close with some guys, and then, like, I've never hit Thielen, I guess. Even though you practice against them all the time. But actually there was one play that we kind of got tangled up. His feet got tangled up. So I felt kind of guilty about it. But it's just part of the game.
Do you chat? You talk shit? On.
Not normally. If it arises, I'll participate. I'm not gonna not participate, but I don't like to give anybody extra motivation unless if that's what they want to do that day, that's what we're doing.
Yeah, you're a guy that shit talks, what I just heard. Darius has a very important question for you.
Very important. We kind of talked about it briefly when you're on the Man-to-Man pod. Kind of your experience being a white DB in those DB rooms coming up. Great Minnesota safety. I think he had 81 picks. Forget his name right now. He had John Lynch, but
Paul Krause.
Paul Krause. There we go. Are you the greatest white DB ever?
Oh.
No, I can't stake that claim, mostly because I wear Paul Krause's number with the Vikings. He had 81 picks. I don't think that will ever get broken.
Nah,
it's a lot. That record. So, I mean, that's like, I'm just glad he let me wear his number.
Was it retired?
And then you got John Lynch. It's not retired.
Jeez, racist.
So. Yeah, I'm very happy he let me wear it. John Lynch. Is there any other ones?
Seahorn was a dog.
Dick LeBeau.
Oh,
Dick LeBeau is a good one, and I don't think a lot of people know that one. Like the younger guys nowadays. He had a ton of picks.
Yeah, but in like
70 picks.
Yeah,
62.
Yeah, but in like 1915 though.
Yeah, they're barely even throwing the football.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's more impressive.
That's the debate of like, could he play in this era? Like, you got to just stick to the era they played in. And he was balling.
Yeah.
I'm on your side here, but I'm just saying, back in the day, a lot of white DBs.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of.
A lot of wing tees.
Hey, we're proud of you. We're proud of you. You need to know that. Everybody's proud of you out there. And I assume, I mean, you're 12 years in now. Those first couple years, there was a milk check on old Hitman on a regular basis. You got to prove yourself. And I think you've done that clearly. More than enough. You have to leave because you have practice. Weird, right? You guys have late practice. This is late practice?
Well, we're an hour behind you guys, I guess. So it's 2:00 practice. It's not. I don't know.
You like
this? There was a time too where we had two white safeties. with Andrew Sendejo and myself, and that was like
Sendejo flew.
we were always like, why don't people just bomb it on us?
They certainly were thinking about it. They were certainly thinking about it.
Maybe as Zibikowski.
Yeah, Tommy.
I caught him for a year. I was like my redshirt year. I watched him play a lot, and he was the most fun to watch at punt returner. Really, he was fearless back there. He was good.
Yeah, I think he's a firefighter in Chicago now. He's an undefeated boxer. And He sold out Madison Square Garden in college. That was when he had to do a full. Wow. Is he allowed to make the money off of the boxing fight in Madison Square Garden?
Imagine that now. With the NIL and that'd be cool now. Somebody's got to do that.
Big deal. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if anybody's got the cut of Tommy Zibikowski's gym, though. You know what I mean? You're going to have to come from a certain place to be a professional boxer and a safety good enough to play at Notre Dame. Last question. Notre Dame was awesome. Was there any other schools you were potentially thinking about going to? And once you got on the campus, were you just like, yeah, this is it? That was the most campus-y campus I've ever been on.
That's a good description.
It is. It really is.
You nailed it.
Okay, thank you. I'm happy I'm not the only, and I assume others have done that. But everybody there wants the football team to win. It felt like, some places, maybe the academia isn't on, especially at a place like Notre Dame. It felt like that whole campus was like a football campus. You felt that, experienced that? It was beautiful there. Was that the place you were going to go regardless?
It wasn't at first, actually. So I'm from Knoxville, Tennessee. Grew up like right by the university. So I really wanted to go there as a young kid. Just kind of as it unfolded, I just thought that was the best place for me to go. But I looked a few other places like SEC schools, Stanford. My grades were like marginal to get in there. They wanted me to take a couple more AP classes, and like it was too much. But if I was going somewhere in the SEC, it had to be Tennessee, and Notre Dame just seemed like the right spot.
Yeah, they're back, buddy. Oh, yeah. What a win. What a win.
They are back. In my opinion, this is like the realest team I've seen since probably since you were playing, AJ.
Then when AJ split jersey.
Back with Brady and them. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, the split jersey days.
Yeah, those were good days. Yep. Jersey's still alive and well. Had it on the other day. Have an incredible practice. Congrats on I think you got to be NFC Player of the Week, right?
I would assume so.
Has to be.
I don't think so. Witherspoon from Seattle popped off.
Oh,
he popped off.
Did he have
co-defensive player of the week?
14 tackles.
Have to respect that.
What you did? Yeah. 14 tackles.
Now, he had 2 sacks and a pick 6. So,
14 tackles, 3 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, and a forced fumble. A game winner, I think. Yeah, it was a game winner pretty much. I like your humility, but this is just the story of the hitman. Nobody cares. Let's not give him an award. And you just keep chugging along. We appreciate you, brother. Keep crushing it over there.
I appreciate you, man. Thanks for having me.
Hey, no problem. Ladies and gentlemen, Harrison Smith. Yeah, we have a good relationship with the Vikings.
Yeah, they're awesome.
And we just haven't been able to have anybody on because, heartbreaker. Right. Heartbreaker. Yep. It was like, damn, Vikings are in a bad spot. The football gods can turn quickly.
Oh, yeah.
And it seems like they have done that against the Panthers, it started to feel that way.
Oh, yeah.
At the beginning of that game, it was like, damn, dude, these football gods said, we gave you enough last year. You don't need it this year. And it's been pretty evident.
Yeah, the first score of the game, Justin Jefferson scores, calls back for a penalty, then Kirk Cousins throws a pick 6. That's how the game started.
99-yard pick 6.
Yeah.
And then there were some other deflections that popped off. It's like, damn, they are getting the wrong end of every bounce. Are we good? We're good to turn our phones back on?
I think so.
Yeah, I assume so.
But they got the Chiefs this week.
Yeah, so they'll be okay.
Bruce is sounds like if you turn them on, alarm will go off right away.
Oh, shit.
No, I just hit the button. I hit the button.
No.
Oh.
Mute.
Yeah, mute.
What is this for? Is this for alien invasion?
Yes.
No idea.
Alien invasion.
Nuclear war.
I mean, your phone goes off for Amber Alerts every day, I feel like. Don't they have this pretty dialed in?
Ohio's wild.
Ohio is a wild place.
Yeah.
What the hell?
That's different. That's not government sanctioned.
Kids missing Ohio.
It's not. Yeah, who's run the Amber Alerts then?
Probably Wexy, right?
Local police.
FEMA?
Yeah,
state.
Your guy.
All right, let's turn the phone on. I got know it. I will not be alerted.
Wait.
I got nothing right now.
Bruce is wrong? Is that what you said?
No, I didn't say anything.
Mine's been on for a while. It hasn't gone off. But Gumpy's did, which is alarming because he's Canadian. So,
oh boy,
they're coming for you.
Actually alarming. Get it?
Well, and he gets an alien text anyways.
Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a man who might be an alien as well. Because what he's able to accomplish every single weekend makes no sense. The human body is supposed to relieve itself of urine at least once every 4 to 5 hours, let alone 7 hours of commercial-free football. A man we all spend our Sundays with if we're not live at the game. Ladies and gentlemen, host of NFL Red Zone, Scott Hansen.
Guys, what's going on? Good to be with y'all. Did you cite a medical source for every 4 to 5 hours?
Yeah, I did, absolutely. Not alleged either. That's actuality. I talked to a doctor, just like Aaron Rodgers. Me and Dr. Joe Rogan chit-chatted about it. That is an impressive feat. Like Michael Cole, for instance, of the WWE. They'll have a WrestleMania that used to last 8 hours. And he would prepare for it, like the way he would drink, his intake, and I assume that's something you have to legitimately do. And I hate that this is the first question, but it is. We're all wondering it every single week how you do it. This is a full preparation? You kind of got it down now? And has there been a time where Code Red has popped off and you needed a cup underneath the table?
Okay, let's handle them one at a time. Yes, and by the way, I lean into this. I've studied sports broadcasting my whole life. I went to Syracuse University, graduated with honors, have tried to hone my craft. But I'm not. Yes, I know. I realize that's academic patting myself on the back. But I am known as the man with the most bladder integrity in all of sports TV. Maybe me and Mel Kiper, who obviously refuses to go during the entire NFL draft.
Easy there, Scott. I think I have you beat there. Okay, I think I could probably hold my piss much longer than you can, but I digress. Continue.
Top shelf right there. Well done.
A lot of those, yeah.
I dehydrate myself on Sunday mornings. The chefs at the network make me the same exact breakfast every single Sunday. I eat it at the same time, try and be a complete creature of habit on Sunday game day. And the reality is I could take a bathroom break if I wanted to or needed to. But here's the deal. And Pat, you know this, all you guys know this, that we have our earpiece in our ear, our IFB as it is called. And mine is wireless. So if I had to say, hey guys, I got to step away, I got to go to the bathroom for a minute, they would turn my microphone off and I'd walk down the hallway, go to the men's room, do my thing, but I could still hear the games in my ear. And I am convinced if I step away once and break my streak, that I will hear Jim Nantz or someone say in my ear, that is the greatest touchdown in the history of the NFL. and I'll be damned if I'm missing any NFL action on Sunday.
So you have never taken the liberty to go take a piss, ever? This is a...
I have. I have actually.
Whoa!
Question. Yeah.
Whoa!
What? Is this breaking news?
Pat, I was playing hurt. It was about 8 years ago. This is season 15 for us on NFL Red Zone.
Jeez.
It was about 8 years ago. It was late December, and I went skiing. I'm talking to you from Southern California here, and you can drive and go skiing in Southern California and parts of it in December. So I went skiing with my buddies, took a bad fall, and injured my ribs. And I broke my routine. That was like on a Wednesday. I broke my routine on Sunday, had a little too much fluid. And when I said, guys, you're not going to believe this, to my control room, I said, I got to go to the bathroom. I heard everyone in the control room go, oh, like that. And I went, did my thing, and I tweeted it. I was like, hey, gang, to my followers, I just took my first bathroom break in 7 years or whatever it had been at that time. I got a tweet from Twitter, X. I got a tweet from Twitter saying, congratulations, your tweet was one of the most viewed tweets in the United States of America on this day, because everyone was fascinated by the fact that I actually went and took a leak.
Yeah, your bladder moves the needle, pal. I mean, that is certainly something that you need to be proud of. Not everybody can say that. Go ahead, AJ.
Scott, what do you do the second that you sign off and you're done with your super long day? Are you like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson? You have a whole cheat meal situation and you drink all you want. Like, how does the night look on Sunday?
100%. Well, first of all, I pop my earpiece, and because there's been stimulation into my left ear for 7 straight hours with all the play-by-play guys, I literally have to balance myself. My equilibrium is off after 7 straight hours of being on the air. That always catches me by surprise somehow. But believe it or not, I do not run to the men's room right after the show. In fact, my bladder is so trained that I don't go to the restroom until about halftime of Sunday Night Football. And I'm on my own free time at then. I could go if I wanted to or needed to, but I just don't. But yeah, cheat meal, I allow myself to eat whatever I want, drink whatever I want, dessert, everything else. And then I'm such a junkie, I watch every snap of Sunday Night Football, and then I put on the NFL Network and ESPN highlight shows, and I kind of go through a mental checklist of, we showed that, we showed that, we had that, we told that story. And our free throw percentage is pretty high if I can mix a sports metaphor.
Yeah, I'd say you're 15 years at this, and whenever it moves to YouTube TV, and Google says, need to keep that, though, that's obviously a massive piece of the sell. A thing for me, you just talked about the story there. Do you feel pressure as the guy who's shaping a lot of narratives through the day for a lot of NFL fans? Like, legitimately, because I think there's some times where, like, we're keeping up with games, and you are recalling what has happened earlier in that particular game to remind people, but then narratives are getting built through you in your brain. Is that something you have to be cognizant of? And has anybody ever said to you, like, hey, Scott, pipe down?
Yeah, come on.
Has there been any teams said that?
Yes, actually. I am cognizant of it because all of my colleagues at NFL Media, if they're not working on NFL Sunday and they're either hosting or producing or working on shows all throughout the rest of the week, they're all watching Red Zone on Sunday. So I'm the prism through which my colleagues watch it. And then a ton of my friends in sportscasting at ESPN tell me if I'm not working on NFL Sunday, I'm watching NFL Red Zone. And these are the folks that are doing all of the different NFL talk shows throughout the week or any general sports talk show that's going to be doing it. So I'm very aware that when we show something or if I say something, outside of just disseminating facts, that it will shape a narrative. There was one time a player got cut. And I'm not going to name the player if you will allow me to not do that.
We're going to start guessing when you tell the story. Yeah,
you can guess. Player got cut on his forehead. And we all know, certainly in the wrestling world, that's how you can deliver a lot of blood by nicking your forehead. So a guy's helmet must have come down, maybe hit the bridge of his nose, and he was bleeding all through the front of his face. And I went on NFL Red Zone right after showing a highlight of another game where a running back went for like 25 yards, and this team was running for like 150 yards against their opponent in the first half. And I said, well, Joe Smith's forehead is gashed the way that such and such defense.
Oh,
nice. Now, yeah, that was edgy.
Edgy. No, I was about to say that's good. Yeah, that had to feel pretty good coming out.
You think?
Yeah.
Really? Okay. Well, the player's agent did not think it was that good.
Fuck
He
him.
called the executive producer
Jesus.
at NFL Media, and I got a notice in the studio almost in real time that was like, "What did you say? Did you say something?" I was like, dude, the guy was bleeding. He was fine. He wasn't knocked out. It was going to be something, anyone who's played football has had something like that before. And yeah, you would have thought I said, oh, this guy's dying on the field or something. So I have to watch. I do have to watch it. And that was probably one of my biggest pipe down moments.
I wish.
Did you figure the player out?
It's JJ, it seems like.
Has to be.
It seems like it's JJ Watt.
No, that's a great guess.
Cushing?
It was not.
Yeah, Brian.
Cushing?
Owen Schmidt.
Owen Schmidt
He was a
busted
star
his-
player, star safety in the league.
Oh, Hitman, Harrison Smith.
Yeah.
Nope, but close. I guess I'm going to.
White Sox.
I said I wasn't going to do it because I feel bad because the agent apparently went off to my executive producer and said his family was watching NFL Red Zone at that time, and you said this. Like,
well, if they were as tight, they'd be at the game. So
Guy
let's
plays
not.
football.
Yeah, and the guy's a suit. Yeah, to hell. Let's not worry
stinks.
about said suit. That's a great line. You should have felt. I think you should have got a raise for that.
Yeah.
Like that is. Especially in real time.
Oh, great.
Tying that together. I think that's the most impressive thing about you is we like being live, and we were considered a podcast because one of our versions of our show is a podcast. But podcast pre-recorded, I think gets edited. A lot of people's podcasts gets edited, and then they put it out. We like live action, because I think that's where you can really see the brains operate. Some people aren't meant for it, but some people. I think you, in the middle of it, being able to balance everything. So the fact that you came up with a blood joke, with a gash joke, with a running joke, like that is, I think your agent should have called and said, hey, we're looking at a raise here for this type of thing. Let the suits battle against each other, that piece of trash, and then your suit do his thing. Now, Red Zone has been incredibly successful. Connor has a question for you.
Yeah, Scotty, how do you feel about the other sports doing it? I know the NHL is doing a Frozen Frenzy version of Red Zone. Do you take that as like a badge of honor? Like, wow, I've done this so well that they're going to use this format in other sports? And have you reached out to any of the possible other co-hosts? I believe it's John Butchergross for the NHL.
Yes. Yeah, Bucci, I love his work. We occasionally cross paths, like at a Super Bowl or a draft or something like that. I wish them all the best in doing that. The issue there is I've seen most of the imitators and whatnot. The way the NFL runs, it's perfect for a Red Zone type channel for a few different reasons. One, it's the most followed sport in the United States. But two, all the games kick off at the same time, right? All within a matter of seconds of each other. Three, the nature of football lends itself to, a team's on their own 30-yard line. That's not a pressure point. We don't need to go there right away. A team is on the opponent's 18-yard line in the red zone. Yes, something dynamic is going to happen one way or another, a score or a stop. For the 40-second play clock, I can get you to a game, and I can sneak in, if assuming the quarterback is going to use the full 40 seconds before the next play, I can sneak in one or two other looks at another game or two other games before we got to go back to Miami to see Tua take the next snap. So all of those things are unique to the NFL and allow it to be really conducive for a red zone style show. But I'll tell you this, we have been imitated and or parodied by a number of different shows. Saturday Night Live did the Rosé Zone one time, where they had the best of all the Real Housewives show. Like, you don't want to see them talking before lunch and whatever. You want to get to right when they throw the wine in their face and pull their hair and whatnot. So they called it the Rosé Zone. And I someone texted me that when it was on Saturday Night Live, and I'm like, well, you've arrived when people are imitating you.
Yeah, we've been there. Yeah, we've been there as well. Not for a good thing. Yeah, it was the complete opposite side of that. But to your point about all of the games starting at the same time, that witching hour is fun. That's when wins become losses and losses become wins. I mean, it's a beautiful thing that you're cooking up there. And also, I seen a punt this past weekend. Hey, great punt. I saw it, Scott. It was beautiful.
I almost said McAfee's going to love this. Would you mind if I did that on a show at some point?
Don't feel obligated, but whenever I saw it, I'm like, well, here we go. House call on against a punter, and I'm like, gonna have to hate Scott. That's what gonna have to do it because you only show punters kind of get. But you showed a perfect pin deep, and at that point of the game, though, it was in the witching hour, was a big time play. So I appreciate you guys showing respect to it, but it does feel like I'm involved in every game when I'm watching with you. So we very much appreciate it, but more punts. You know what I mean? Good pins out there.
Well, hey, I don't know if you knew this or not, but I was a former member of the punt operation. I was a walk-on scrub at Syracuse University. Pat, I was a long snapper. A walk-on long snapper.
I see your ball tricks there. You got good ball tricks there. I see you moving that thing out there, Scotty.
I have too much nervous energy when I'm on the show. I'm like, I got to do something. So
what if you just pissed your pants right now?
That'd be sweet.
A guy makes it 7 hours every Sunday. Can't do 20 minutes on our show.
Can I address one thing? Your guy, Aaron Rodgers, okay? I saw his last appearance, 2 appearances ago, when he told you how much he loves NFL Red Zone and watching and whatnot. And Aaron and I have known each other since he entered into the league. We're not bosom buddies or anything. But Aaron's conspiracy theories about how I hold my bladder or how he says I stay young looking. Do you know what I'm recalling?
Yeah, drinking. Yeah.
Where he comes up with these ideas.
Well, it's that guy.
That guy next.
It's that guy next. It's
He's
that
a loose
guy.
cannon, Scott. We can't trust him.
Jeez, this guy drinks his piss.
Wow. He's got tricks. He's got props.
Tell Aaron I said,
drinking pee right now.
Garrett Dahl.
How's it taste?
Wow. This is awesome. What is that? What is that from this morning?
Like apple juice.
No, that was dehydrated. That was the last. That was the last piss on a Sunday.
Right.
That was. You need to get the championship
for a
color.
bit.
Yeah, all right. That's awesome.
Anything for a bit.
Scott, you're awesome, buddy. Tone has a question for you about
and guys, by the way, can I say one last thing? Because I feel remiss that I wouldn't say this. I appreciate you guys having me on because I know that for most of you, I'm entering into a Siciliano household as Andrew Siciliano and the DirecTV Red Zone did unbelievable work for a decade and a half and whatnot.
Well, Siciliano, we don't know if he likes us either.
No.
Yeah, we don't know if he's a big.
Oh, really?
Well,
That was NFL Network's fault.
We thought NFL Network set him up for failure a couple times. They had him on the far side of the camera. You know what I mean? He needs to be closest to the camera every single time. We were trying to stick up for him. We don't know if he took it that way or not.
No, he didn't.
So we're very thankful that you're here. You need to know that. Tone has a question for you, though.
Yeah, Scott, I don't think it's the case this week. I think there's 6 1 p.m. games and then 4 4 p.m. games this week. But the last 2 weeks, I think there's been 10 1 p.m. games and then 3 4 p.m. games. Do you like when it's like that, when all the games are at 1? Or have you written to the NFL and say, hey, can we get the 6 at 1 p.m. and the 4 p.m. games?
Yeah, well, you guys are broadcasters, so you probably get it. But speaking to your entire audience right now, people do not understand. Even a savvy NFL fan does not understand the way that the NFL stacks their early and late window. The last 2 weeks, we've had 9 in the early window and 3 in the late window. And when it goes from 9, hyperspace, hyperspeed, to 3, which feels like air brakes, everyone complains and fills up my timeline as if I made the NFL schedule. So just to clarify, the reason that the NFL does that is they want to deliver a massive audience to one of those games, one of their broadcast partners, Fox and CBS, that are involved in the early window. They had New England and Dallas, right? 2 of the biggest brand names there are. They wanted to make sure there were not many other competing games going on at the same time. So that's why they do it. Wait, is everyone? I love it. You guys are awesome. So that's why they do that. My favorite split is an 8-4 split. If I've got 12 games, I want 8 in the early window to fill up an octobox. I want 4 in the late window, which usually has pretty solid action. And that seems like a fun red zone day.
Yeah, I agree. Hey, Scott, I've appreciated the hell out of spending Sundays with you. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your glorious Wednesday. When do you start? Are you just preparing all week for Sunday? Is that what you're doing?
Yep. I've got my research going on right now. I've got to get home. By the way, when that emergency alert went off, I'm driving around in Brentwood, California, and everyone's brake lights went on simultaneously on the road. It was like everyone freaked out. Like people didn't know it was coming.
Hey, that's OJ,
But
right?
Whatever.
OJ? That's what OJ?
Yeah, it is.
No, Scott, watch it.
Scotty,
head on a swivel out there, especially if all the brakes are hitting.
OJ doesn't want to go back there because he doesn't want to see the killer, is what he said.
Well, I respect that. If he would have done it, it would look like different. Anyway, Scott, you're the only human that could do your job. I think that is very apparent, and we appreciate your service to the NFL, and we can't wait to see it continue. What do you got, another 20 years doing this? Is this the job forever for you?
It can be my final stop, Pat. But as you well know, in your still relatively young broadcasting career, things can change in a heartbeat based on a lot of variables. But no, I love it. I hope I've been as good to the NFL as they've been to me, and this can be my final stop.
You're a massive part of it, bud. Not a lot of people get to become a big piece of the NFL. You know what I mean? Biggest league on earth, and you're just a part of it. You are a piece of the league, and we're thankful that you joined us. Have an incredible Wednesday. We'll see you on Sunday, pal.
Awesome. I'll see you on Saturday. You're doing an amazing job. I absolutely love it,
Scott,
on College Game Day.
Hey, this last Saturday, I saw you. You talked about me fighting through some pain there, buddy.
How you doing?
I'm good now. Literally, as soon as I got it out, it was this. I think I had some bacteria from an apple that I had the night before, and it was. But as soon as it got out, I felt it. But I think about you. Imagine one Sunday you just walk in there and you happen to eat something that wasn't right, and it's like 7 hours of oh shit football.
Yeah,
that's pretty much what I did for College Game Day. You know what I mean?
I hope if it ever happens to me, I hope I can power through the way you did, man, because it was something.
Scott, you will. Ladies and gentlemen, the host of NFL Red Zone, and also Right now, to subscribe to NFL Plus, visit NFL.com/plus and get access to live, local, and primetime regular season NFL games on your phone and in your tablet. NFL Red Zone also available. And every Monday, I didn't know this, I just learned this, at 4 p.m. Eastern, NFL Red Zone Overtime streams on NFL Plus with Scott Hansen, reliving all the Red Zone action from Sunday. That's probably the highlights. Are you a part of producing that, or is that somebody else?
Brand new show, Red Zone OT, exclusively on NFL Plus, and it's basically taking 7 hours and condensing it down into 7 minutes. So check it out on NFL Plus.
Hey, you know whenever you hit that 7 out, you know if it's going to be a good day or not, huh?
Oh, yeah. Well, I think it's always going to be a good day because sometimes you look at the schedule of the games, and I've got my tablet down here with the games. So you look at the schedule of games, and you're like, that's a dog meat game. That's nothing. And those end up turning out to be the Boffo insane, everyone's talking about it on Monday game. So when you get 6, 7, 8 of them going at the same time, something's going to deliver in the witching hour. It always does.
Is that iPhone, or is that an iPad, or a tablet?
It is an iPad tablet, yeah. I paid with this for my own personal money. So are you trying to get me? We've had such a great interview.
Yeah, I know I am. You did it.
That's on you. By the product placement.
You're the best. Ladies and gentlemen, Scott Hansen. Thank you, buddy. Good ball tricks, boys.
Yeah.
I feel like we're all really getting after it. I wish I had that. Aaron has that.
Oh, yeah.
The front to back?
Yeah.
I can do the side one, but not the front.
Yeah, the front one is because it's like a balance. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like the top of the hand.
Oh, there it is. Boop.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like your fingers. You roll it over, like the back of your fingers.
Oh.
Yeah,
there it is.
Does Scott Hansen have a ball there? Red zone looks like he was pretty comfortable with that.
Yeah, he was.
He's got something there to mess with, right?
Well, he's got that piss cup. We saw him.
Yeah,
He should just take his phone in the bathroom, take a leak, and just keep the phone on his face and keep the show going.
You want another one?
That'd be cool.
Set it.
Hey. Oh, it's in.
Oh, that one looks
Set it.
great too.
A little high and outside, Derek. Don't worry about it. Just bury it. Oh. Set it.
Come on, ball.
Set it. Flat ball from the Masters. Oh. Set it.
From AQ. Got it.
Yep. Oh, my God. Give me a break.
All over it.
It's the witching hour. Has to be.
Man.
Sick of it. I'm absolutely sick of it.
What are their ratings? Red Zone has to have massive ratings, I would imagine.
Huge. And also, it was, I mean, there's not a lot of stuff that just goes alongside, like, hey, we're going to sell this, and then also you're getting this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that thing is its own content piece that they can probably forever kind of dangle there. It's got to be massive.
Yeah, it's not split anymore. Like him bringing up Siciliano, it's like, yeah.
Yeah, he buried them.
Yeah, he did. And now there's only one. So anyone that was split, they're all on Hansen's side now.
Good play, and I like the fact they're pushing NFL Plus.
Yeah.
For sure. That's a good sign-up reason.
Hey, Rappaport, we miss you, bub.
Well.
But also, you did this.
You did this to
How's it going?
Crushing.
I don't know. Have you seen any?
It's up 15% year over year, so yeah, it's doing well.
I'd say it's doing great. We appreciate Rappaport's ability and talent, but I think it was a bad decision to sign up for a daily show alongside the exact time he comes on this show.
Yep, which he does frequently, or did, rather.
Pretty selfish and narcissistic of us to say that, but like also, Rap.
Yeah.
Come on.
Last time.
Miss you, Rap.
The NFL has put a statement out about how they have handled the Taylor Swift situation. NFL statement to People magazine on all the Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift coverage. We frequently change our bios and profile imagery based on what's happening in and around our games, as well as culturally. The Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce news has been a pop culture moment we've leaned into in real time, as it's an intersection of sport and entertainment, and we've seen an incredible amount of positivity around the sport. The vast majority of our content has remained focused on the game, our players, and a variety of other initiatives, including our Toy Story Fun Day football altcast, the international games, and more. If you do remember, the NFL had Taylor Swift as a headline,
and
and
bio.
we've had a great time with you, and then a lot of NFL fans, not all, but a loud bunch of football fans were sick of seeing Taylor Swift, but we would like to let the Swifties know, happy you're in, happy you're here. Travis even chatted about it on the New Heights podcast, where he was talking to his brother about, love that it's happening, appreciative, be a part of it. People at the game, good, but I assume he's seeing the mentions too of people just attacking him for this whole thing. It's like, I'm not choosing. What do you want me to do? Here's Travis Kelce with his brother on the New Heights podcast talking about all of it.
Is the NFL overdoing it? What is your honest opinion?
I think everybody's just like overwhelmed
your feelings
with
for Taylor. What is your honest opinion on how the NFL is treating celebrities at games?
I think it's fun when they show who all is at the game. I think
true.
I think it brings a little bit more to the atmosphere, brings a little bit more to what you're watching. But at the same time, I think
they're overdoing it.
They're overdoing
Jason.
it a little bit, for sure. Especially my situation.
Right.
I think they're just trying to have fun with it, and a lot of the people
Jason,
watching. Go ahead.
let me
Let's
say
hear
it.
it.
I just think the NFL is not used to celebrities coming to the games. Like basketball has it figured out. They're all courtside. They're sitting there. They show them once or twice, and then they get back to the game. The NFL is like, oh, look at all these A-list celebrities in the game. Keep showing them, show them. Dude, listen. You show them once, let them know that they're there. Maybe after a touchdown, you get a little clip, but you can't be overboard with it.
Yeah.
People are there to watch the game, right?
Yeah, they're not there to get thrown on TV. I'll tell you what, though, it is because you never know. You get caught, just throwing a big old cheeseburger in, and you look like an idiot. You know what I mean? Like there's certain things that you just don't want to be on TV at all time.
Well, it was a lot.
I think Jason also being protective of his brother. Like, hey,
cool.
You guys are almost making people hate my brother because of this entire thing, and that's not the case. And I think they're both, they're two Ohio fucks who are football guys. And I like that Jason's like, you want to know my thoughts on this, Travis, so I can speak almost for us here? Like, they're making you look like a bad guy almost to football people, and that's not the case. And Travis is not the one in control of this. That ain't the way it is. But the NFL, and you think about TV producers, okay? Yeah. And I call them, I'm not going to say.
Well, you might as well.
But like TV monkeys, pretty much. These people see ratings. They go, I was told that this has ratings, so they're like, you know what? Let's do all of this, and then let's just bear it. Instead of thinking like, oh, maybe the reason why it spiked is because it's a nice little
taste.
little taste. Instead, they're like, this does well. Let's throw this every single time, and then it kills it. Then it just completely buries it. That's how TV producers. Not all of them, obviously, but that's how TV monkeys have operated since the beginning of time. So whenever they see the reaction of Taylor and the Swifties and the demos up, TV producers are like, well, yeah, we're going to do it better than everybody else. Even if we're 5-6 days late on this entire thing, we're going to and it's like a beautiful thing could happen here. You know what I mean? Like Taylor and Trav, now, I believe, are a very good simpatico.
Yes. Great couple.
I believe it is a solid matchup. If you just know Travis at all, about how Travis, into fashion, cultured, loves this entire stuff, doesn't mind the spotlight, and also not selfish enough to think that he needs to be the star. Remember, he hangs around Patrick a lot. So whenever you're dating like the biggest icon on earth who seems to be wanting the same exact stuff, it's like, hey, these two might actually.
Oh, yeah.
And if the NFL was to play this right, I don't think you would necessarily just turn off all football people. No. But we've already got to the point where football people are sick of hearing it. And us even talking about it right now, people are going to be pissed.
Oh, yeah.
People are going to be pissed to watch this. But I think it's a good thing, ultimately, in the end for the NFL. But anytime you have these robots that have only operated in one way, the number goes up and to the right when we do this right here. And then we're out of here and then... what's going on? We're getting a little. Is Wolverine up there? Who gives a fuck? Like that's how these people work. You know what I mean? It's just, it's sad because I think they're going to be a great thing, legitimately.
Oh, yeah.
But there's not a lot of people that feel that way here just 3 weeks into this potential public relationship.
Well, guess what? People are going to have to get used to it. And they're going to be even more pissed when these two get married and Travis doesn't have Kelce on the back of his jersey anymore. And he's Travis Swift out there.
Whoa.
Okay. Let that one settle in.
What? That's a sweet name. I like that name.
I agree.
Why are you muted? Yeah. What the hell's going on over there?
I don't know.
You have your own mute button?
He's self-muted because he's sick and tired of it.
No.
Tony.
All I know is I like being on the same side of greatness. You know who's great? Jason Kelce.
And?
Jason Kelce.
And?
His beard.
And?
I don't know what you guys are looking
Travis
for.
Kelce.
And?
Taylor Swift.
Boom.
Oh, yeah, they're all great. But I'm talking around this subject. Jason Kelce had the greatest words on the subject.
I would assume, and we don't know how that podcast goes, and it does feel like that has become a scheduled time for two brothers to talk to each other, which is a cool thing in the middle of a very busy time. And who knows how much Jason and Travis have talked about it. But like Jason, the older brother, just being like, I got to get this. It's too much. You guys are ruining a good thing here for my brother, potentially for a lot of people. I love it. I enjoy it. And I hope it continues to grow, but also ball.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Let's do some ball. That moment, though, where she was, look out.
Oh, yeah.
I you know what I mean?
They're in love. Fucking deal with it, people. Sorry.
Sorry. Two successful people found each other. Welcome to football.
Yeah.
Chivalry's not dead. You know that strong guy with the mustache?
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead and let one of those paparazzis pop off one time.
Bingo.
Welcome to football.
They could show her as much as they want on the TV broadcast. That didn't bother me. It was Sunday night football roundup show.
Football night in America.
Football
Come
night in
on.
America. That
NBC.
covered it every 3 minutes, and they're not, like I said, the exact pop icons to be covering it.
Anyways, we hope they fall in love more. We hope they get married. And we hope they're everything you want to be.
Absolutely. Maybe just show them once a quarter.
But I do appreciate Travis and Jason having a little self-awareness and being like, you guys kind of ruined this.
Yeah.
It's not Travis' fault. It's not their fault. They're just trying to live their life.
Yeah, and Travis doesn't want to be negative about it either because, he appreciates the fact that the Swifties and everything's going in there. So I assume it's a tough position for him to come out and be like, can we not show the most famous person on earth all the time? Whenever I did appreciate him saying, sometimes you're eating food and you don't know that I'm here to watch a game. I'm into football. And then all of a sudden, well, let's see what the fuck this person's doing. Caught me eating wings at the
at the Colts.
much smaller level of life, obviously. But yeah, that was an uncomfortable situation.
Right.
I paid 6 figures for this fucking suite. I can't even eat wings in public. Why?
Hang out.
Because you guys are just going to zoom in on my face, getting sloppy in here? I just want to enjoy a game. I was in the background of a sweet photo, though.
That was a great photo.
Stone Cold Steve Austin, both arms up from Mo Ali Cox.
What?
As he's scoring a touchdown. That was awesome. I enjoy it. Live games are awesome.
Yes.
Which means you need to go. Right now, SeatGeek. You go to SeatGeek.com or download the SeatGeek app. You can get 15% off all football tickets. All you got to do is punch in PAT15 and you will receive it automatically for all football tickets. College football, NFL football, you name it. Go and live and experience a live football game. It's a beautiful thing. But not only are you getting 15% off all football tickets, they also have tickets for every single event that is ticketed. They're the greatest ticket buying platform on planet Earth and the moon. We appreciate the hell out of SeatGeek. Been here since day one. This company right
Hell
here.
yeah. Different colors. Different colors. I mean, that's how long
Change
they've
our
been
logo.
there.
Yeah. World stoppage of events. Not selling tickets to anybody.
Nothing.
We thought SeatGeek was going to die.
Yeah.
For sure.
Damn, this is a good relationship. SeatGeek has helped us with travel before for vlogs. SeatGeek has helped us with everything throughout our entire existence post-NFL. They were the first people to say, yep, we're going with you to ESPN, and they're the greatest ticket buying platform. We are very appreciative of them. Go experience a live game. It's a blast. Going to these games every single Sunday with the Colts. Now, we paid a lot, so that is in the back of my mind every time I'm there. And as you're walking in and wide.
Hell yeah.
Mo's about to score a touchdown.
Who's that fucking guy?
Yeah.
That's actually me and you. They made that guy in a lab, and that's what they came up with.
Okay.
Yeah, they combined us.
That's one of that guy's Dirty's friend. Dirty, what's that guy's name? Dirty?
That's my boy Derek.
Derek.
Oh,
Derek's a good guy. He had good vibes, had good energy. The guy in the baby blue there, in the one next to us, he had a couple adult drinks, was saying a lot of stuff.
Yeah. He's got a sweet haircut.
I liked his energy, though. Bill McComas is right over Fuller's head there. And then I just knew this dude was scoring because Mo Ali Cox is a dog.
Yeah. What he does.
Great to see him get back in the end zone. And at that point, we're tying this thing up. The Colts are about to win this game.
Yeah.
It was an exciting time. Good brand of football. But only reason I can have that high with the boys and with the wife and with everybody is because we went and got tickets. You should do the same.
Hell yeah.
Don't just watch from the sidelines.
No, get in the game.
Go in!
Buckets.
Oh, well, that looked good.
They all do.
Every one of them.
That one, that's the one.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's the
Boom. Turn away. That was Steph Curry.
Yeah, coming out of the hand, that one felt really good.
You know.
what I mean? It's now time to do something that we get to do that nobody else really gets to experience. Oh, I got to turn this on because
Oh, because the
the
alert.
national alert.
You gotta do that one
See
too.
who else had an alert today?
Who's that?
Russia.
What?
They had their
what do you mean?
national alert test today as well.
Mother Russia.
Well,
What's that all about? Is that what this is
worldwide?
for?
What
Here
is
we
nope?
go.
Whoa.
What is that all about?
It's starting.
I like to say.
Look out.
What is it?
You know, the beginning of the end, baby.
What?
The Great Reckoning.
You want to dance? Come on.
What memes are you reading on the internet telling
These
you
aren't memes. These aren't memes. This is just stuff circling in the water, and they have been for quite some time. We'll see what happens over the next 3 weeks.
That's right.
3 weeks?
3 weeks.
Mhm.
What does that mean?
Yeah,
Keep
week
your eyes
7 of the NFL season.
Exactly.
By then, there's going to be pretenders and contenders. We're
Right.
going to have a much clearer picture of the playoffs.
Sure.
And who potentially goes on to win a Super Bowl? What team's going to remain healthy? Is that what you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about kind of the rationing, those type of things. Not,
Hell yeah,
not
brother.
Nothing to do with sports, my friend. All
Keep
to
your
do
head
with
on a
war.
swivel.
Amen.
Eyes open.
If you know any, Volkovs or, any Russian Malkins and any names that end in N or O or I, be careful of those people. Who knows what side they're on?
Sounds racist. I don't even know if it is.
No, it's about Russian people, so it's not.
Okay, because at this exact time, you're allowed to be.
Bingo. And 3 weeks from now, everyone's going to be saying it.
What's your problem?
I'm just telling you that's what they're saying on the line. You asked me what memes I'm reading and what I'm reading and hearing about. You just heard it right there.
All right, well, I'm going to keep my blinders on and act like that didn't happen.
I hope.
But I'll tell you what, them telling me we're going to give an alarm to everybody's phone just out of nowhere was like, that's alarming. Well, as somebody that doesn't pay attention to everything, this doesn't
that
happen every
decision?
year. This doesn't happen.
Who decides to do
ever
that?
seen
My
Red
question.
Dawn?
I know FEMA does it.
Secretary of Defense.
Is it?
I don't know. For my narrative, yeah.
Can we get Governor Hochul,
Yeah.
Please.
the lady from New York who said, you know what, if you want to booze during the Bills game, we'll open the bars at 8 a.m. Can we get her on the horn to figure out why this alarm just came out of nowhere on a Wednesday, October 4th, when this is not an annual thing? No. Because the TV one, they do the weather testing just in case.
Yeah.
Like, that's very regular.
Yeah.
This one just popping up with all the shit that's seemingly happening around the world in universe. It's hard not, even as a doofus that I am, that doesn't pay attention to all that stuff, it's hard not to be like,
Yep.
What's going on over here?
Well, great news, though. They give us an alarm. Let's say something happens. They send an alarm to our phone. Now what? What do you want us to do?
well, we're alarmed.
Yeah.
With
Use
instru-
your
it has-
bunkers.
Has instructions with it. If you make this much money, you go to this silo. If you don't make any money, you're left out in the cold to die.
So the internet's telling us that Russia was testing their nuke alarms.
Yeah, bingo.
Even better.
And guess what? We gotta sit tight here. I mean, T-minus 3 hours. We're gonna find out what the Chatcoms are doing. I know it's something. They're not just doing nothing. You know what country borders Russia?
What's that?
China.
It's true.
So be careful.
If this goes in, we're safe.
Okay.
Please make
Good. Yeah, good.
I need this one.
I've never had a bigger jumper in my
you
life.
have it. You have it.
And Bill's right in front of you. That doesn't help. You're basically on the front lines of the war. Looking.
Bill, you're in the shot.
Donardo
Bill's
right
hiding behind the
Bill's
thing.
always in the shot.
Bill's
Bill,
in
you
the
look-
trenches.
Hey, Bill had a big win today. We won't dive into it, but just know Bill won in the quarter law today.
Yeah.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he did. That made Bill.
Hell yeah, Bill.
It's a long time coming.
Long, that judicial system certainly takes its
Yeah.
time.
Boy.
That person in the stocks, like put him in the stocks in town square and we go throw rocks at him.
I wish we could.
That'd be
I
cool.
don't think that's the case. Yeah, something happened to Bill like 2 years ago, and
Did we get video confirmation?
justice has been served.
That's right.
Good for Bill. This is a
Yeah,
big deal.
Yeah,
we need this.
That's it.
Yeah, let's
Need
not
this.
talk about
I don't
It's
know
a
why you did
safety
this
shot.
to yourself.
I didn't do this for me, Foxy.
It's a big
I
safety
did this
shot.
for us.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Jeez.
Not for me.
Oh, no.
See?
No. Yeah, you get another one.
Board up your door.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. We're okay.
No, that's not how it works. That is not how it works. Hope you. Hey,
Didn't
go
see the
home.
first one. We didn't see the first
Hey,
one.
it's Wednesday, so there's no football on. Go home, watch the movie Red Dawn. Okay, we're
All
gonna be living in that in
Good movie.
very soon.
Mark Schler started it.
I'm going home and I'm watching film like Scott Hansen.
That's
You
right.
should.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, on how to stab Chatcoms and break down people.
I'm going to keep that all out of my life.
I hope so.
That's what I'm going to keep that all out of my life. And I'm going to let you read the memes.
Yep.
And everybody else keep me informed. And I don't know what that siren sounds like on my phone, to be honest, because we turned it off.
True.
But when I hear it, I'm putting a helmet on.
Bingo.
And I'm running towards it.
There you
Just want to let everybody know that.
Well,
Face front.
We're in Indiana, so we're in a great spot. We're doing really well.
All right, I'll probably
here.
hang tight.
Yeah, let's.
When they get here, though, I'm fucking staring them right in the face.
Yeah, heading to the Indiana border. Bingo.
It is alarming. I mean, as somebody that doesn't pay attention to much in that world,
Maybe it's that asteroid that's going to hit Earth.
in 159 years.
Come on.
Yeah.
Well, they got to test it now.
Fosso didn't seem, that worked up about it. He said, hey, just turn your phones off.
Yeah, Fosso
He would
works.
know.
Fosso would know.
Foss doesn't know shit about this. I already kind of broke him down. Tried to find out what he does know, if he does.
Oh,
know.
you're the alpha in the knowledge of this situation.
I'm just trying to gauge, who knows what here.
Foss is senior vice president for ESPN, who's been tasked with dealing with the repercussions of whatever we do here in Indiana, in Connecticut at ESPN.
And
he has a tough.
In this case, he's a mushroom. Okay.
What's that?
Yeah, they kept him in the dark and they fed him shit on this national alarm situation.
All right,
Bingo.
Let's.
Thank you, Tony.
Let's move. But they fed you all the information.
I'm just saying, I know where to look. Okay, I know what rocks to pick up, and I'm glad Tony just say that because now we got a new nickname for Foss, old Mushroom Mike.
What's your problem, AQ? Get your fucking shit together. We got to get in the trenches. This
Yeah.
matters.
Let's go.
In the trenches matters.
Yeah.
Now more than ever.
Right.
That's right.
I need to know who I'm running
Might
behind.
be the last one.
Bingo.
What's your problem?
3 weeks. We got a 3-week period. Relax.
3 weeks, we're good?
Well, no,
All right,
3
we got
weeks
3
is
more
when it
weeks.
starts.
So what do you say? To what starts?
21
Why
days.
is there a time frame?
Typically, as far as assimilating troops and getting them to the places they need to be, it's 3 weeks.
Listen, I've met. What have I said? I've met most of our troops. That's what was coming out of my mouth. I've had the opportunity to meet some of our troops,
if not all.
and I would like to let everybody know we're okay.
I feel good.
I've met one of our troops. His fucking gun's hanging up there.
Jack Carr.
We're going to be just fine.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Talk because he did get the Army haircut.
Well, he's
Yeah.
a colonel. He's not
Yeah.
just some foot soldier.
Our guy that edits our talks got a haircut for the first time since coming out here, and he said, "Give me the hoorah!" And I'll tell you what, he puts his headphones on, and it just looks like there is a Marine deciphering whatever other country's doing, and it's a beautiful thing. Shout out to you, Talk.
Shout out. Best part is he comes in here, he shuts the fuck up, he sits down, does his job, stands up, runs like he has, flippers on, and then he leaves.
Yeah, this guy, phenomenal.
He is a
Great.
machine.
He's an actual robot.
Yeah, this man is a machine.
He might be a plant.
Yeah, it's social media.
AI.
Sorry, not social media. Social network wired in. I've never seen anything like that close to it.
So there's people that watch our show strictly through TikTok clips. Like that's a real thing that happens, obviously, for an entire generation. And we just got one guy that's out there in the battle lines.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he's ever stopped editing TikTok videos since he's got here. Only to run. But while he's running, he's thinking
Exactly.
of how to edit TikTok
Yes.
clips. I've never seen a guy love vertical videos
Oh, my God.
as much as he seemingly does. And Talk, I have no idea how long you're going to be doing this for, how long your brain can withstand it and your eyes.
He's not hearing anything.
Yeah,
No,
he's wired in. He doesn't know what we're talking about.
That's 10
Oh,
hours straight
man.
every day right there. And then he gets up, takes that water bottle. He's eating carrots now because he found out on TikTok that it makes him tan.
Yep.
He just found out.
Let's
Way to come out for air. Way to come out for air.
Let's see that haircut, Talk.
Talk. Did you get a haircut this morning, Talk? No. He's got that.
Pop the cap off.
I was grown in a little bit now.
Show him,
Looks like
Commander.
He's an adult.
Pop the ball cap off.
He doesn't know how to interact with humans here because this is not normal.
Yeah, true.
Doesn't.
Still got his thumb.
Thank you, Talk.
Yeah,
Thank you, Talk.
My boy.
Guy's a fucking weapon, dude.
He is.
But we got a guy. We got guys that are like that, but in the military.
Yeah.
Bingo.
And we got to remember that. All they care about is handling whatever business you think is.
Killing commies, just like I like them.
Let's go to the trenches.
Here we go.
Hey, this is bigger than everything we just talked about. Remember
That's
that.
right.
This matters.
That's right.
In the grand scheme of things, this is a big deal.
Come
Let's
on,
go.
AQ.
Here we go.
Come on, AQ.
Come on, Koosh.
Here we go. We got the Baltimore Ravens. Who do we got over here?
Mark
Mark Andrews.
No,
Miles
who's
Garrett.
over?
Miles
Garrett.
Garrett.
Well, maybe
There it
he's
is.
a pointer,
But
right?
first, check it out. Mark Andrews is going to do what we've talked about. We showed it a lot last year where we do like a little fake like he's going to block because we don't want him on him. Not a good matchup. So let's arc him, get him, around. Sets it up for the block by the center. Let's go back if you can. Yep, perfect.
Center?
So, yeah, exactly. Typically on a counter, when you get this, it's going to be the guard pulling. But because there's a backside three technique, outside shoulder of Kevin Zeitler right there, Tough block for the center to go back. So we say, hey, we're going to pull the center here. When they make a car call or something like that to let the center to know he's pulling.
Motorcycle.
Boom. We man the backside, and then we get Moses around. AJ, tell me why the fuck this guy's blocking his own guy right here. What happens? He blocks his own guy.
AJ.
It's a good offensive scheme there, isn't it, AQ?
That's
to make
exactly
him do
right. Exactly right. And then you get Moses just leading them into the end zone. Awesome design. But here's the deal. This guy makes everything go. Because typically this guy would crash hard, but because there's this threat right there, he goes up the field thinking maybe it's play action, and every eye goes to Lamar Jackson, which sets up the block. All he's got to do is get a hand on him to get underneath for the end zone.
Wow. Walking in.
They're back, huh?
I mean, that's the funny thing. Why are we not talking about them more?
Well, because they lost to the Colts.
It's crazy to me.
Bingo,
They are
sure.
so
That's
good,
exactly
and they
right.
got everything. Their run game's clicking. He's playing well. Their defense is playing well. They're a wagon right now.
Left tackle.
Speaking of wagon, here is a wagon.
Love this team. As we know, every week we talk about it. But what we're going to notice here, first of all, we're going to highlight on the center. But we're going to talk about the scheme first. This is their version of getting to a toss. Everything they do likes to go to a run game, correct? But they're going to throw it here. But check this out. They're going to send him kind of in motion. All this play is the same play I showed last week that Miami ran, the fullback lead toss. They're just starting him, getting him out on the edge quicker, getting wider, and then we get a crack block here. The center has to get to number 3, but boom, we're going to get the crack block. Watch the center. Brent will get all the way around and get the block right there, which leads McCaffrey into the end zone.
Hey, him lined up over the tackle, fullback. That's pretty tell, right?
That could be, absolutely. He's already wider, right? Typically on the split back, he's behind the guard. Him wide right here could be a tell too. So you don't know. That's what you don't know as a safety. You're like, which way are they going? They might throw the swing this way, but then they short motion right there.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. They do so much shit.
They do so much stuff. Exactly. You can't ever get a beat on them.
Juice had a great block.
That's unbelievable in space, by the way. Like, you don't understand how hard of a block one-on-one with 20 yards of space that is, right, AJ? I mean, you see these guys out in space. You guys make one move and we all fall down.
McCaffrey.
He's got out downfield again, man. Look at it. It's almost like a wall return and punt here.
That's exactly right. And then you get him looping around and just kind of picking off anything from inside out, head on a swivel.
He's so good.
So good.
McCaffrey.
One-on-one with a corner.
Yeah, see you.
Good luck, buddy.
This team.
Audible.
Yeah.
Sorry.
This team right here.
Are they doing that?
They're doing that exactly.
Check.
One more. There it is. There it is. I love this play right
I'm sorry. I'm done.
Love this play right here. Love this play right here. Because check this out. Watch Van Ginkel. Watch the linebacker right here. Watch their eyes. Where is the ball going? Where is he going? Oh, we're going to hand it off to Cook right here. We called this play Tonto. We're going to get the tackle pulling in space. But look what it does with the fake handoff to Cook right here. And then you get Big Dawkins pulling around. But check this out. The key to this play is Chubb out here with 6 yards of space, essentially, between him and Spencer Brown, the right tackle here. He's got to go out under control. Now, Chubb has a three-way go. Can take him down the middle, can take him inside, can take him outside. And my man gets his hands inside, runs his feet, widens the hole enough to create this space right here for Dawkins to get around and get that. And then Josh Allen just walks in there. A little taunt, right? A little taunt on the way in the end zone.
Gumpy, what's going on out there?
We didn't have the mutant Jalen Phillips out there, the best player on the field if he was out there. DeVinci had a bad game too. Got to be better, DeVinci.
I mean, he's looking. He sees all kind of shit. He's looking over here. You don't know what's going on. Widens out over here because they actually ran this play a lot last year. I love this play because you get so much eye candy. So many offensive linemen are working back this way on the gap scheme. Plus, with the back going back there, it freezes everybody to that side.
There's a lot of movement, and I saw people asking this on Twitter too. Why don't, on all these plays where there is disguise, why don't they just follow the O-line? Because every single time the O-line pulls, it goes that way.
It's a great point. I was going to bring that up because I think there's more stuff going on later. You'll see it. AJ, you can speak to this more. Why are we allowing all of the eye candy to affect everything? Because if we just read the double team front side as a linebacker, you should be scraping over the top, sitting in the B gap. Same thing here. You read this and you can see peripherally this guy pulling. Why is he not sitting here? Why are we freezing? Why is this guy, right? Like, there's so many things. AJ, do you know why this eye candy kind of freezes it up?
I mean, because like D-Butt said, there's so much going on every snap, like pre-snap, there's so much movement, there's different things. Yeah, like players are probably thinking about their responsibility. Okay, if they do hand this off, who do I have here? And then I didn't see that pulling tackle or the pulling guard. So, I mean, this is why offenses do that. So they get all that stuff in your head pre-snap and the ball snaps, and you just, even if you take one false step and get you out of position, and boom, touchdown.
The quarterback run, you always pick up that extra blocker essentially too. And like I think Aaron mentioned it yesterday, reading your keys with every position. He was talking about from the quarterback position, but it's usually you see a little, you see a lot. Like you read one key, maybe two guys, and you go off that. But this is tough though. So it's definitely easier said than done.
Yeah. Well, and there's a chance that they're running that misdirection on purpose and they just take it back the other way.
And then you get this, right? You get Van Ginkel down the line, and now he hands it off, and he walks in for a touchdown around the edge.
Yep. Damn. Tough to stop. That's a Miami to Miami right there.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's a Miami-type play towards Miami. Speaking of, this offensive lineman is got you worked up. What did Baker say about that one play? Anyways, same type of situation there for you guys, right?
Yeah, something a little 6 to midnight, right? Something along those lines.
Yeah.
But hey,
Rocked up.
What do we got over here? We got all tight ends over here. We got unbalanced over here. Another thing, don't really understand what's going on here because we get all these people knowing that we have this. It's 3rd and short. The ball's got to be coming this way, right? We get some fly motion going this way, and everybody's like, oh shit, let's bump back in. Here we go. And then we get the ball going exactly where all the big beef is, and there's nobody there. You get Donovan Smith doing a gator roll tackle. Is
that legal?
If it doesn't get called, everything's legal.
No.
Great.
Amen. That ain't how the game works.
It's only a call if they call it, right?
Well,
highly illegal.
But in this space, awesome, just kind of it's unbelievable. And look at Trey Smith. This could have been on the big bumps, but I wanted to highlight this for the running. Another Chiefs play on the big bumps later. Wow. Check this out, though. I mean, boom, just lays out Jordan Whitehead, one of my favorite safeties in the league, former teammate, Pittsburgh guy, having a great year, had 3 picks in one game early in the year, but he's got no chance when 320-ish is coming around the corner.
Moving.
Boom!
Checo runs so funny.
So hard.
I love how he runs.
Somebody said
finish through the goal line.
Somebody said he's trying to curb stomp the ground with both
we
legs
saw that, yep.
at all times.
So angry.
So awesome.
Mosley can't get him because he looks like he's running slow because of how hard he runs. It's like, damn, I'm watching every step seemingly in slow motion.
Yeah.
But it's just his style of running is so angry.
And he is fast.
Yeah, I'd say.
He can move.
You.
He can move.
Beast.
Awesome
Speaking
stuff.
of being able to move in a beast.
Listen, and this is, again, another way. Darius and I talked a little bit about this. AJ, tell me if you've seen something like this. This is a play, when I was watching this, I had to send this to like 5 different people because I haven't seen this play. It's like typically when you turn it on, you've seen the concept over and over again. You've seen it in some way, shape, or form. The way I'm seeing this is if you put this tight end on the ball, it basically would become a deuce formation with a gap scheme. But the thing that kind of screws everything up, you put the tight end in the backfield and you put him right downhill on the wheel. Everybody else is working a gap scheme, and they're booking the backside backer, hoping that this jab step, if you watched Henry from the start, jab step, freezes him, gets him downhill, flies him downhill, sets up their block where they can book him, and then you get Henry out the backside of the weak side here. What's amazing here is Derrick Henry being 6'4", 250 pounds.
Yeah, but they're all going this way.
Everybody's working that way. It's selling that way, but that's what you do in a gap scheme. The difference is there's no puller. You put this guy here and that jab step, it sells them. So I think part of the reason they're able to do this is because they're heavy zone. They sell quick little zone that way.
Man.
And this guy breaks 400 tackles on the way to the end zone.
AJ, is Logan Wilson on a run blitz there?
I'm going to see. That's what I was trying to watch. Run it.
It doesn't look like a cross dog, does it? And there's no way that's a cross dog.
I think he's just shooting it. I think he thinks he can like shoot the backside gap and make a play.
Yeah, because if he thinks they're going right, too.
White, yeah. That was.
I mean, that's a hell of a play. That is, you're right, AQ. How the tight end, if he's on the line, that's a very difficult block to try to get him kicked out at all. But when you create that little offset,
create that little space.
Man, that's a beautiful play.
Genius.
It's pretty cool.
Vrabesy, baby.
It's almost like a weak side ISO bob that you would say, but typically whenever that happens and you got the fullback in the backfield, you would fan the lineman front side and show zone to that side, and they're not doing that. So they obviously got a beat on what they did, and it was really cool, and obviously Henry did what he did. That's
Hey,
why.
don't look now. Everybody in the AFC South 2-2.
Ooh,
heads up.
Solid.
Everybody in the AFC South was supposed to be
Heads up.
absolute trash and crop. Beat the Steelers, dog shit out of them. Beat the Bengals. How you doing? Take the Rams overtime.
Those two teams.
It's not saying much. Not saying much.
Beat the
Yeah,
Ravens.
not saying much.
Oh, Bengals, really good football team.
Yeah.
We should have got the Toy Story version of this one, but
it would have been neat.
It would have been neat, right? It would have been really cool.
Thanks a lot.
Hey, pause it real quick. Brandon Sheriff, right?
Where'd he go?
You tell me.
University of Iowa.
Attaboy.
Oh, that was back when Iowa was.
Yeah, that was back.
Not getting beat 31-0 in a whiteout.
Quarterback got hurt. Okay, bad weather. Jeez.
Penn State's back.
Yeah, they're good.
Penn State's a good football team right now.
Here we go.
Not as
Here we
good
go.
as Sheriff, though.
Hey, watch Sheriff. Now, if we can pause this right before, this guy. I feel bad for this guy because watch. Now let this thing run and just watch my man's head snap back. He's got whiplash right now for sure. Bam! Boom!
Jeez.
Oh!
Hey, guy's got a
That
family.
feels like hands to the face here.
No. He's coming with the flipper, the old flipper. Boom! With the right.
That feels like
they
that
teach
hurts
that.
right here,
That was
though.
an uppercut.
The finish hurts when he's like on a knee and he gets planted in the ground. That's what
yeah.
hurts the worst.
So it's the initial shock, and then Sheriff, boom! We just make it that much worse, and you lay on top.
In London.
In London.
Is that a penalty? Is it all those flags?
I
Look at the finish. Run it back. Look at the finish at the end.
That's really a
Yeah.
penalty on the offense.
Yeah, the tight end gets a little finish on the end, too. I think that's who they called the penalty on.
Do they usually motion towards the run like they do with Ridley here? Is that normal? Because isn't it usually the opposite?
It usually is the opposite. That's definitely a screw up.
He's a blocker.
Okay.
Well, yeah, but
Or
they
they-
didn't
or
let
they
him get
add
to
him.
the point where he was blocking.
Oh, yeah, we got a nice one there.
Oh, sorry. Kill shot. Let's get
That's a
to
good
it.
question there.
Yeah, because Ridley doesn't even make it to the spot. I feel
No.
like he
Correct.
snapped it a little
Typically,
early.
you would fake the handoff here or hand it off, and then you got the motion going that way to
Yeah,
kind
the
of
opposite.
eye candy it. Yeah.
Yeah, he's running backwards whenever.
Maybe
There's
they're
gonna be
run
some-
the
there's
old
gonna be
fake.
something off this,
They're going
though.
to run the fake, AQ. Didn't Tyreek do that where he's going to take it and he's going to reverse pivot back around the other side?
Or
Yep.
pitch.
Could
Could
do
run a
that.
little option.
Yeah, you get a little option out of that.
Yeah, they actually,
ETN and Ridley, come on.
They
Now
bring
we're just
24.
drawing plays up in the dirt,
Yeah.
in the trenches.
You're-
Let's go.
You're welcome, Doug.
Yeah.
Well, Doug.
Yeah, he's
Oh, yeah, that's right. He doesn't really do anything.
press.
Is that,
What?
is that tight end on
On
Calais
offense.
Campbell out in space?
Oh, Calais.
And then Grady Jarrett getting pissed? Let's go.
Long way from home, eh, pal?
Hey, boys, we got a little double bump on this
Whoa.
one. We got these two getting up here. We got Trey Smith. Obviously, he's always in the mix. He plays the game, a physical brand of football. Now watch this. He's going to start this thing. He's going to get a little piece on him, and then watch Taylor kind of finish this thing off out in space.
boy.
A little 2-for-1. CJ's got no chance.
Oh,
He's got no chance.
Oh,
Come on.
He's got no chance.
you love it.
Let's watch it one more time. This is
both
really
these
good.
guys' eyeballs are directly on him. Come on. You don't need to double team him.
Didn't CJ have 2 picks?
Target locked. Target locked. Look at him.
Well, they missed.
Could
We're
have
just-
blocked
number
Whitehead.
three.
Yeah.
block
we
number
don't want
jeez.
to. We're just going to end this thing.
They missed Whitehead.
That feels like the Chiefs didn't really. They were just taking shots here.
Yeah, just looking for blood.
They're trying to get on big bump.
What the hell
That's
is
what
that
they are.
about?
Sure, that's exactly right.
I mean, a double bump.
Double bump.
I mean, it's like a triple D here. One throws him up, the other one takes him down.
Yeah.
What
It's like Dolphins O-line circa 2010.
Jeez Louise.
How awesome is that, huh?
Well, it depends.
I
who
mean-
you
How
are.
awesome is that, huh?
Looks good. It's good football.
Pretty cool.
Appreciate you, AQ.
Boy, AQ.
Yeah, boys.
Let's speed right into something that makes us much better. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time.
Gotta get a mic.
Right
Handheld
Right
right here.
here. Right here.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Everything DB with Darius Butler.
Mike, let me get that AQ.
Yeah, AQ.
Yeah.
Kish, let him professor. Bro.
It's on?
Hey, Q.
Oh, yeah, it's on.
Okay,
Here
here
it
we
sound
go.
great.
Let's get right to it. As Hitman talked about, Devon Witherspoon, having a great rookie year so far. Top 5, top 6 pick. You'll see Daniel Jones just stare this down. When you get down here in this red area as a DB, you want to guard this goal line like your life depends on it. You see him, don't sink. That's I hate that as a DB coach, as a DB guy. Don't ever sink in the end zone. Always stay on that goal line. He's going to look right at you, stick route. He's going to bounce back. Boom, get it in your hand, make something special happen.
What you gonna do
He
with
does. Get to the crib, house call. Athletic quarterback.
Danny.
Got to cut back. Paris Campbell fast. Got to outrun him. Big play. for the Rook on prime time. Let's get to the next one.
Is Danny Dimes a problem?
Danny Dimes a problem, but he ain't the only problem. There's a lot of problems. The O-line's terrible, health, but you can't stare down guys, which he does. And I can't blame him because you barely can get to the second, third guy when you.
This was the one that Dable threw the Microsoft Surface. What do he
what are you looking at? Because there was a guy that I think it was Waller that came late at the back of the end zone, but
everyone was saying he was wide open also, but he really wasn't. What do you think about that?
It's a different view. Like AQ says, everybody's got the answers in the AC and the clicker in their hands, but that I wouldn't say is necessarily wide open. Bobby Wags is in the window, but with Witherspoon sitting right there, you know that flat defender is there. You can't just throw it right at him.
Hey, this Witherspoon kid's real deal.
He's special. He's special. Coming out, I think in the House of Comps, it was Vontae Davis and Winfield.
He was great on draft night. He was 5 overall, I think, right?
Yeah.
5 overall out of Illinois. This is now, last year there was 2 rookie corners in the Pro Bowl.
Yep.
So this guy probably going to be another rookie corner. Why is this happening?
I mean, they're good. They're just coming in ready to play. Sauce came in ready to play last year. Stingley, he went, 3 last year?
Yeah,
he's been banged up. Guys are coming in. Tariq Woolen was a 5th-round pick, 6th-round pick. He's had damn near all-pro season. Guys are just coming in ready to play. Speaking of ready to play, Micah Hyde and his whole Buffalo Bills defense, like they obviously study film. Sean McDermott got them flying around. They're multiple. They play zone. They play man. They blitz. Right here and there in the zone coverage is 2 deep shell coverage. And you can tell Matt Milano, one of the best coverage linebackers in the league. Tua wants Tyreek early, right off that quick motion. He wants him early. Milano said, you know what, every drop I'm going to try to get some hands on 10 when I can. He gets hands on him early. Tua goes backside, and because of Terrell Bernard, if you rewind a little bit, watch 4-3. Incredible, 2 deep. So you got 2 deep. He's the middle run through, relating to number 3, the passing strength up top. He's going to get under this number 3 receiver so that Tua has to put air on it. And if you put air on it, the safety on the back end got to make the play on the ball, which Micah Hyde does. We talked about it, I think, on Monday, how comfortable he looks with the ball in his hands. I love when the DB put that thing in one hand like that.
He's very, very comfortable with a football in his hand.
But everybody been on the same page underneath defenders. I talked about it earlier. Miami does a great job of having short routes but hitting this intermediate window. Milano's getting his reroute, and then the safeties being when they are. Tips and overthrows, talk about it all the time. This is an overthrow. Got to catch the ones they throw to you.
Obviously, not everyone's as good as the Bills, but do you think they perfectly put the book out there on how you beat the Dolphins?
Nah. I wouldn't say the book is out because, like you said, what the Bills have on defense, personnel-wise, you got Bernard, who's been unbelievable this year, Matt Milano, and then you got a group of guys up front that rotate and get after the quarterback. So I think Tua was sacked, 4 times this week and had been touched pretty much.
3 times all season.
Yeah.
4 times this week.
Yeah.
So notice what they were in right there as well. Empty.
Yep.
Not a back in the backfield. All their success in the pass game this year has come off play action. When they get behind, they got to go to this, and it comes drop back.
Yep.
Oh, maybe that's the book.
Interesting. Get a lead.
Maybe that's the book. Maybe that is it.
Did this ever have a chance, D-Butt? This ball ever have a chance?
On somebody?
Did this ball? He doesn't have here. Sorry. Did this ball ever have a chance, AJ?
You don't have to run it back.
No, I couldn't hear him, but no. He couldn't do it. The only way he could do it, he could just throw that one away because that Terrell Bernard was in such a great spot. Like that receiver, if you got like a big 6'6" tight end running down the middle of the field, maybe. But you put that air on it, which 4-3 makes him do it, and you can see him communicating, so they're on the same page. But yeah, you're not getting that ball to Chosen at all. Maybe if you lead them this way, but then you got that other backside safety you got to worry about. I don't think, and you can kind of see Tua's already got a clock on him. You see Rousseau coming off the backside, and then when this defense gets, I know they lost Trey White, which is a big piece. But when you add Von Miller to that front, I mean,
Jordan Poyer too not playing.
Poyer coming back, I only expect this defense to get better for sure.
Here's a win in London.
Hey, quick game. Now, this is when you talk about quarterbacks who, young quarterbacks, they're not going to do much that comes off the script. You're going to kind of, Darius Williams been in the league for a long time. He anticipates this. He know, hey, AJ, you know this route, slant flat up top, stick route down bottom. This is like day one install, preseason, game one type stuff from Ritter and his offense. 3 deep defense, but this corner said, you know what, I'm taking the chance. Even though it's a post safety in the middle of the field, I'm taking the chance. Slant flat, I'm jumping this slant, and I'm cribbing it. Boom. Great play from Darius when anticipating that formation, the motion, and when you'll see it from the back copy, Ritter is no, look off, and this is a quick game, so he got to get back to his, back foot, make this throw quick, but as a corner, if you're anticipating this, like, hey, this is the one. You get this Bijan motion, And I mean, it's like everything's a snap, look, throw,
pick,
bum.
You've watched the tape.
Great
What do you think about Desmond Ridder? Do you think
Young.
he's the guy in Atlanta?
Still young. If you ask me right now, I wouldn't say he's the guy long term, but it is very early. He can definitely turn things around. And I like his coach. I like Artie Smith a lot. I like the personnel. I mean, Jonnu Smith had a big day, the tight end they brought over. Where's the production from Kyle Pitts? Drake London, you obviously hit a home run with Bijan, so you got to get more production. The Joker hasn't really been involved yet. You got to get more production out of those. But it always starts with the quarterback. We talked about it yesterday. It always starts with that position. All right, so kind of theme of the week, that was a good D. Now we're on to bad D. You guys had a front row seat to one of them, but bunches, man. Bunches. Pause. If you rewind it a little bit, communication is the key to defending and being in the right place with bunch sets on offense. And the reason why offenses get into bunches is to create confusion for the defense. So most of this communication you want done during the week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, you're talking through it, and you already know we can all be on the same page of what we're going to do once we get into once we're facing a bunch. So right here, this is 3rd and 7, I believe. And you can see the nickel right here. He's signaling to his guys, right? And now, as a nickel, if you rewind it all the way to the beginning, as a nickel, and I played nickel for a lot of my career, coming out of the huddle, we're already going over, hey, if we get the bunch, we're going to this. Because right now we're in a formation where this guy down here is off the ball. He's looking inside. If I'm a nickel, I already know he's motioning down. Lattimore's been around for a while. He should know as well. So before this guy even comes inside these numbers, we should already know what we're doing once they get into it, right? They're talking about the 2-man. Now it becomes a 3-man game. He'll go behind his back, signal to the safety. He gets it to the corner. But pause it. Right now the rules are messed up, right? Because they kind of zoned it out, but he's matching it. So he's matching the 1. He's kind of matching the 2, and he's sitting in there. When he put that signal behind it, to me, that's like a spot call where you're almost zoning everything off. So 1, you take low inside corner, you got deep. Safety, you got deep as well. These guys get matchy. They cut Chris Godwin loose, which running a late return route. Baker sits in the pocket, makes something happen, gets the ball on him. Big play.
Jeez.
And that's how it happens. So as a DC, you feel good about your call, but now the players on the field have to make the right adjustments to what's coming on the field.
Is Godwin back?
God was good. Godwin's back. He's back. He's playing more outside this year than previous years. Been playing more inside, but he's back. And he's been great on 3rd down. You see a lot of these throws on tape, too, where he's standing there taking hits and still delivering the ball.
Baker, super smart.
Yeah.
Didn't it? That was surprising.
Yeah. That's
to hear.
true.
Not that I thought he was, a dumb guy, but
McVay said it, and now Jason Light's saying it. It's like, it feels like we have not talked about that enough. Baker's got that high football IQ.
Yeah, and coming from Cleveland, too, where it's a lot of, Ivy League, smart guys, GM.
Maybe he was too smart.
Yeah, maybe that's why.
Maybe you would think, you would have heard that before, but it's interesting. But he's playing good ball.
Maybe it's because he was too smart, and he's from Oklahoma, and the Ivy Leaguers
probably
didn't like it. They felt a little disrespect.
Putting it together.
It was because he planted the flag in Ohio.
Oh, when he was at Oklahoma.
On the turf field. Yeah.
That's where it all started.
Once you win a playoff game in Cleveland, that should.
You would think forever.
Yeah, that should be. He should have a damn statue
Instead.
outside. Right?
That was weird.
Stefanski was pissed he wasn't there for it.
That was weird, by the way.
Very.
And then the one you guys saw firsthand.
Just a great play.
Puka Nacua down. Obviously the go-to guy on this team. But once again, defensively, you're getting a bunch. This is overtime. This is 3rd and 4. And now this is like communication is one thing. You hear it all the time. We're all wrong, we're all right. They didn't have whatever plan. Believe a corner got hurt, Flowers got hurt, so you're going to have different guys in there. But rewind it to the beginning, you can see communication once again between the nickel and the corner. And then post-snap, you see communication, which is never good. And also what the Rams do here a great job of is this point guy. Usually the point guy in the bunch is the guy running the deep route. And then the guy off the ball, one of the guys off the ball, are the guys running the short routes. But they switch it up. He kind of hesitates and goes shorter, and Puka goes deep. And you'll see how it causes confusion. 2 guys end up on 1. You see him communicating pre-snap, right? All right, we're doing this. And then post-snap, it kind of goes to, hey, we're doing that. And that's not what you – boom. So you can't have it. You can't have it. So you end up 2-on-1. Stafford, that's the number 1 guy he's looking at anyway. You see the delay from the point guy. You see Puka going inside. You see Tutu Atwell, clearing it out, speed guy. not what you want as a defense.
D-Bud, how hard is
Especially
that?
for the game, for the gusto.
How hard is that when they stack each other?
Gets in there. But once again, those bunch
Hey, how hard is
formations-
that whenever they stack each other, says AJ?
Oh, that's tough. That's really tough because once again, they're doing it for a reason. And at 3rd and 4s, you can anticipate. And once again, though, as a DB, especially as a nickel, that's why usually young guys, you don't put them in there because of so much communication, so much preparation. That's another reason why Devon Witherspoon getting bumped inside and playing so great is a big deal. But there's so much communication that goes on for that nickel. And for me, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, anytime we're in meetings, anytime we're in walkthroughs, anytime we come out of huddle, I want the defense and the DBs and linebackers to get used to hearing my voice. Same thing with linemen, with centers and guard. Like you hear those guys talking. Hey, he's the mic. Oh no, he's the. Hey, no. Hey, shut. No, 50. We're going to 50. So like you need to have that kind of command over what's going on in the back end if you're that nickel to avoid, indecision because you got to have conviction about what you're doing. I have a
Also,
chance.
overtime. Guess who's not on the field?
Oh, that's weird.
Shaq.
5'3".
He was introed last, but when he came out starting defense, introed last.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Wasn't on the field 3rd down or 4th down.
Also a big deal.
But ramping up, he's going to be good by mid-November. So
That's what they said.
That's what Gus Bradley said, right?
Yeah.
That's interesting. This is your guy that's making, 20 a year, which he earned, walking turnover every time he's on the field.
Yep.
And he missed all last year, right? And kind of some of the year before, so you would expect him to be back healthy. I guess they're trying to move him along slowly, but hate to see that. Got to see 5'3" on the field.
Agreed. There was 3rd downs, and I'm like looking on the field scanning, and I looked at the sideline, and he's standing right there. I'm like, it's 3rd down. There must have been a package. They must run hurry up. And then there was a 4th down play. I'm like, okay, here we go.
Yeah, go.
This is not on the field still. I'm like, what this guy just got introed last.
Yeah.
What the hell is happening?
Highest paid players you got.
I guess he's still getting back into it. I don't know if he feels that way. I assume he thinks he should be out there. I hope so. But Colts got a good football team. Yeah. And we got a good show, is what people were saying.
Oh, yeah.
Who knows how long that'll last? I guess
Probably not.
3 weeks.
Yeah, probably not that long.
Don't be putting your little scare shit.
I'm just telling you what people are saying. You're asking what memes. Look, if you don't want to know what I know, then you shouldn't ask what I know.
Mark Caboli's reporting out of Pittsburgh. Najee Harris not happy with media blaming coaches. It has nothing to do with the coaches. It's players. We have to play better. We just can't keep looking at the coaches or whatever you guys keep putting out there. It's just stupid what you all are doing. Players play, coaches coach. All right, Najee, you had one good game. Let's
I like it, Naj.
Let's keep moving. You know what I mean? Well, I like Naj too. Like, he was on our show, he had a good personality, but also like he was a part of him and Jonathan Taylor after terrible years were like Josh Jacobs, us. It's like, all right, a little self-awareness, first of all, about where you're at. And I appreciate Naj doing his thing, and he has to stick up for his coaches and everything like that. But like, Naj, I don't know if you're watching film on the rest of the NFL. Your guys' offense is an embarrassment.
Yep.
Okay, it is a stale embarrassment. I appreciate you got your blinders on for this entire thing, but also you have no idea how fucked you guys are by your own coordinator. What's wrong, AQ?
I just love your take. That was an impressive take right there.
It's real. It's as I'm reading, I'm like, Naj, I can't. Because Naj and Jonathan Taylor this offseason, late, whenever all the money's already been spent, start acting like they're Josh Jacobs. It's like, you're not. So neither of you were last year. So let's just get good at football again before we start talking about it all. And in Pittsburgh, the offense has been a joke for years now. It's like, I don't know. But I appreciate him taking a little ownership on it.
I do too. I like that it's because it's not just coaches, it's definitely every single person.
Yeah. Jonathan Taylor's back, by the way.
Yeah, he is.
Practicing today for the Colts. I wonder how that's going. Hopefully he's back to 2 years ago.
Cooper Kupp also back. I mean, that Rams team. Huge. You add Cooper Kupp, maybe Nakua isn't as.
They got a good culture over there.
Yeah.
Like a bunch of young guys trying to prove himself, and then a lot of old vets that have the chips on their shoulder about being kind of shooed off and everything like that.
And you said Stafford still got it.
But that was beautiful. That was a thing of beauty watching Matthew Stafford throw the ball a couple different times. It's just like perfect spiral, and then it's in a place, and then the shots that are coming immediately after a catch. It's like if that ball is a half a foot off, like not even yard or anything like that we're talking about with some of these younger quarterbacks. It's like if that ball is 6 inches off. That guy's getting killed. That's a pick going the other way. And Stafford just lets that thing. I mean, it is.
Just
He can sling it, man.
It is filthy what Matthew Stafford does with a football.
Effortless. It's effortless when he throws too. I know how frustrating it is from playing against the guy. Like he makes it look easy when he makes those tough throws too.
And he's tough as a son of a.
They had no chance in overtime. Right when they won that coin toss, game was over.
Yeah, and we've heard about Matthew Stafford operating the 2-minute drill and just kind of walking right down there and doing it. Let's remember that. Let's remember that I made that shot, so we're good.
Yeah, there's the second one.
Thank you.
That's right. Let's remember what one it was.
That's right.
You know.
Yeah, it was any ball left was the.
That wasn't the.
Do you want this thing again? You want the universe?
No, it's up to you. Hey, look, you're the one with the ball in your hand. I'm just reporting facts.
This is the universe. This isn't me. This is Matthew McConaughey.
Right. Okay.
Letting the moon operate through him.
Triceps.
For the good of the universe, ball. Go home. We're dead. All right, sweet.
Good run.
See you guys tomorrow. Hopefully we're still around.
That is Red Dawn, the movie where USA gets invaded.
Yeah, it's a bit dated.
It is.
No, there's a new one.
There's
They
a new
remade
one.
it.
Yeah.
Charlie Sheen's like 12.
They
There's
remade
a new
it.
one with Hemsworth.
Look at Swayze.
Oh, how's the new one? Is it any good?
Yeah, it's really good.
No, it stinks.
All right,
Doubt it.
let's get out of here. Hopefully it's not reality every time soon. I'll stay out of that world. And if you know me, don't give me any information.
Okay. Good to know.
It's football season, so just let's keep it locked in on football.
Okay.
Yeah, if they could not invade until
How's my fantasy?
March.
Yeah, exactly. Tell everybody to relax until after release the Super Bowl. How's my fantasy team?
Fantasy team is good. We are actually 4th in points, which is awesome. We are 1-3 because Joe Burrow's biggest week has been 8.
4th in points. Thank you. I like the way stats are always on our side.
Well, we had a Joe Burrow situation, and that's going to happen.
Has he been
sometimes.
benched?
No, keep in mind that Connor spit in Graham Gano's face last year in our fantasy draft, so there was no chance of this team.
Graham
doing
Gano
well.
still got it, by the way. He hit from what, 56 the other night?
Yeah, and I made the playoffs in that league, Foxy. So pipe down back there.
Graham Gano, 36 years old, 37 years old, just murdering 57-yarders. And then Matt Prater last week hit a 62-yarder, laces straight at him.
Yeah.
That's like a 75-yard kick. Well, it's at altitude. Is that Arizona? That's like a 69-yard kick.
Still bomb.
Yeah, still the record.
Laces straight at him. It's like, that's banana. What these dudes are doing to footballs right now with their legs, some of the OGs and some of these young guys, like, I don't want to say humbling because I would be acting like I could still do it. I can't, but like what they're doing, they're destroying footballs right now. I don't know what's in the water. I don't know what these fuckers are doing, but I love watching it. And maybe we need to pay attention to it a little bit more as a football fandom. AJ, thank you so much for today. You're the man. Boys, great work. To everybody that watches this show, thank you. Obviously, a lot of the numbers got released today. We don't know any of them mean.
Nope.
We don't know any of them. Nope. But we do feel like we're very lucky to be a part of the sports media on the day-to-day in the fashion that we are. And we'll continue to do our thing until, I guess, we're not able to.
Yeah, bingo. Unfortunately.
All right. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice. Like, everything's going to be okay.
Everything's fine.
It might change their life. Goodbye.